Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 583 Possessing Wisdom. You can still yell, let's use another formation talisman, Fang Qinggran said to the dancing scholar with a smile. The long sleeves of the painting book flicked. A foreshadowing appears. He held the pen and the tip of the pen fell behind Su Exingheng. Between operations, complex black runes are formed. After that, he entered Su Exingheng's body. The talisman array enters the body. The mother of decay in Su Exingheng's body, looking for a way out, suddenly felt dizzy. Su Exingheng roared in pain. His face was distorted, and he said in a bone-chilling voice, "Despicable and shameless human race, I will definitely turn you all into vessels." Mother of Decay appears to be completely at a disadvantage. In this regard, Fang Qinggran, Danqing Scholar, and Xiao Haituan still did not relax their vigilance. All the emotions of the Mother of Decay are expressed through Su Exingheng. They have no way of peeping into the true emotions. Still need to be extremely careful. Fang Qinggran took back the sky-opening axe and moved away from Su Exingheng. The Painter Scholar also took advantage of this moment to throw out dozens of talismans. The talismans floated in the air, surrounding Su Exingheng. The next thing needs to be left to the sun. The Painter Scholar and Fang Qinggran retreated to a safe distance. The Mother of Decay's madness was dividing within Su Exingheng's body. As a result, Su Exingheng's skin quickly dried up. Only a layer of skin was left clinging to the bones. Fang Qinggran didn't feel anything when he saw the scene. Reap the consequences. Not worthy of sympathy. Xiao Haituan stood opposite Su Exingheng, closing his eyes as if falling asleep. At this moment, its spirit had entered Su Exingheng's body. In search of the true Mother of Decay. The Mother of Decay frantically wanted to leave Su Exingheng's body. But Su Exingheng's body turned out to be like a maze. No matter where it reaches, there will be a fog and a wall ahead. It cannot escape from Su Exingheng's body. The Mother of Decay is extremely regretful. If it had ventured into Fang Qinggran's body just now. There is no such situation as now. Mother of Decay realized at this moment that they had no intention of saving Su Exingheng. Zhu Zhao's soul destroyed countless insect bodies differentiated from the Mother of Decay. Zhu Zhao was very patient, cleaning up the decay in Su Exingheng's body bit by bit. As time passed, all the vitality in Su Exingheng's body was exhausted, leaving only his soul bound in the sea of consciousness. The Mother of Decay felt panicked as the candlelight approached it a little bit. The Mother of Decay decided to break the contract and attack Su Exingheng's soul. Only by using the power of Su Exingheng's soul can it find a way to break out of the body. The Mother of Decay quickly penetrated into Su Exingheng's sea of consciousness. A villain who looked like Su Exingheng was staying there. The villain looked horrified when he saw the Mother of Decay. What do you want to do? The Mother of Corruption was unable to make a sound and directly wrapped around the villain. The contract talisman appeared on the villain's body, and he was covered in golden light. If you really swallow my soul, the plan of the decay spread will fail, and everything you have done before will be in vain. The Mother of Decay endures the pain of the golden light. How can I control so much at the moment? If it dies, its body will lose 1/3 of its power. Compared with the corrupted soul, the true body must be more important. Corrupted souls is a long-term plan. It is also a plan that requires the support of the ontology's strength. Once the body loses 1/3 of its strength, the body may be exposed. The corrupted soul cultivated by then will lose its meaning. The Mother of Decay consumed most of her life force and completely erased the contract sigil. The body of the Mother of Corruption overflowed with black mist, eating away at Su Exingheng's soul. After swallowing most of Su Exingheng's soul, all the vitality that the Mother of Decay had previously lost returned, and the insect body even became as thick as a wrist. The villain weakly begged for mercy. Spare me, I can tell you what the Buddha's weakness is. The Mother of Decay paused in her devouring movements. Apart from the human race, they hate the Buddha race the most. The Buddhas are the only beings who cannot become their parasitic vessels. The Buddha's light produced by the Buddha family can also inhibit the growth of decay. If the Buddha can really be eliminated, then the entire Buddhist clan will fall apart sooner or later. The Mother of Decay slapped the villain with her tail, signaling him to speak faster. The villain trembled and said, "Let me go first and sign a Tao Guardian contract with me, and I will tell you." Ordinary contracts can no longer bind the maddened Mother of Decay. Only the covenant of Tao can restrain corruption. It's just that making a Tao contract means paying a greater price. Although he can be protected by decay, he also has to endure more. Even if he is reincarnated, the constraints of the Tao contract will always exist. But in order to survive, Su Exingheng no longer cares about so much. When the Mother of Decay heard Su Exingheng's request, she bit the villain hard. The guardian contract of the Tao. It's so beautiful. They're such a powerful clan, how can they be permanently bound to a soul? The Mother of Decay decided not to listen to that secret. It wants to eat the soul completely. It pounced on the villain and continued to eat. The villain said in pain, "It's okay if you don't sign the Tao Guardian contract. Just let me go and I'll tell you the Buddha's weaknesses." The Mother of Decay stopped biting the soul. It didn't stop because of the villain's words. But it suddenly realized that its IQ had increased. I also learned to think. Something is wrong. They have eaten countless souls, but have never gained the wisdom of the soul. Why was it that only after eating Su Exingheng's soul did he gain his wisdom? The Mother of Decay carefully observed the soul in front of her. There is no difference from the souls it has eaten before. The Mother of Decay bit the villain again, and the villain screamed in pain. The Mother of Decay was so annoyed. Hold, stop, feet, scream. Now both the villain and the Mother of Corruption were shocked. Li, Yu, father of Ning, Ling, ruthless soul, Zong, middle, thick, Yu, Sen, what? It was extremely difficult for the Mother of Decay to finish her sentence. The villain regained consciousness and understood that it was asking, what is in your soul? Single quote dot. Was it his soul that allowed the Mother of Decay to evolve? The villain thought for a moment and said, I don't know, but I can think about it slowly. The Mother of Decay still wanted to speak, but she noticed that Zhu Zhao's soul was coming here. Li, you, jump, escape. After the Mother of Decay finished speaking, she quickly disappeared in front of the villain. The villain suddenly realized that the Mother of Decay wanted him to escape on his own. But when he just breathed a sigh of relief, the Mother of Decay came back and wrapped her body around him. He begged for mercy, don't kill me. Not only do I know the Buddha's weaknesses, I also know how to completely control the underworld. The Mother of Decay ignored him and quickly kneaded him into her body. The Mother of Decay originally wanted to deal with Zhu Zhao's soul first and create a chance for Su Exingheng's soul to escape. After all, his soul is vital to the decay. Just pass out the secret of his soul. There is no need to work so hard to plan parasitism when it comes to decay. They just need to cultivate a few more souls like Su Exingheng. By then, the decadent race will surely have the wisdom to compete with the human race. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 584, Illusion Killing Talisman Array. But the Mother of Decay left halfway. Then I thought about it, what if Su Exingheng's soul escaped and disappeared? Or maybe he was accidentally burned by a candle. What about the decadent future? So the Mother of Decay gave up her fight against Zhu Zhao. Decided to take Su Exingheng's soul out of this body. The Mother of Decay used Su Exingheng's soul aura to cover up her own aura, and avoided Zhu Zhao's soul through another meridian. After Zhu Zhao's soul entered Su Exingheng's sea of consciousness, there was a strong smell of decay. It's just that the smell is slightly different from the decay it has smelled in the past. In the past, decay was a fishy, putrid smell. Therefore, no matter where they're hidden, you can accurately find them and remove them. But there is a faint fragrance in the decaying smell at this moment. The aroma is not pleasant. Zhu Zhao immediately realized something was wrong. Decay must have evolved new abilities. I'm afraid the previous methods won't be able to deal with them. Zhu Zhao Yuanshan quickly left Su Exingheng's body. Su Exingheng's body no longer changed. The things crawling under the skin have long since calmed down. This also means that the Mother of Corruption no longer robs him of his vitality. How could the Mother of Decay suddenly become quiet? Feng Qingren's message sounded, Zhu Zhao, Su Exingheng is dead. Has the Mother of Decay been found? After Su Exingheng dies, the formation in his body will soon become ineffective. It stands to reason that there is a contract between the Mother of Decay and Su Exingheng. It would not kill Su Exingheng easily. Then why did Su Exingheng die? Master Phoenix, the Mother of Decay is still in Su Exingheng's body, and it has swallowed Su Exingheng's soul. Zhu Zhao said in a serious tone. Decay devours the soul and can only temporarily replenish vitality. And it will lose the cover of the body. At that time, even if it was separated from Su Exingheng's body, the sunfire would still be enough for it to eat a pot. In addition, we are in the domain at the moment. There are only two parasitic beings, Fang Qingran and Danqing Scholar. Once it fails to parasitize, it will be exposed. Miss Fang, what should we do next? Scholar Danqing's attitude was slightly respectful. Fang Qingran didn't notice this respect. Zhu Zhao took a deep look at the Scholar Danqing. Master Ken, could you please help me draw some talismans? Fang Qingran said and handed the Scholar Danqing some white talisman papers. A look of shock appeared on the painting scholar's face. Miss Fang, what is this? Talisman masters all know that white paper is the most difficult thing to turn into a talisman. White and pure. Mo is extremely black. One black and one white, equivalent to one yin and one yang. The power of the drawn talisman will be greatly reduced, and it may even become ineffective. Fang Qingran handed Danqing Scholar another talisman pen. Talisman pens only have a barrel and no peaks. Fang Qingran looked serious. I will recite the talisman, Mr. Ken will just draw it. The power of her soul is far inferior to that of the painting scholar. It is impossible to draw the Tai Yuan King talisman required to arrange the illusion-killing talisman array. She couldn't explain to him the doubts about the painting scholar. The painting scholar was stunned for a moment, then took Fang Qingran's things and asked no more questions. Start the stroke. The talisman pen has no tip and falls on the white talisman paper. The paper looked empty. The painting scholar was momentarily distracted. Fang Qingran said, don't worry, just paint. On the side, Zhu Zhao paid close attention to the changes in Su Exingheng's body. The Danqing Scholar drew the runes read by Fang Qingran on the paper. The paper is obviously blank. However, the painting scholar felt that the power of his soul was being consumed very quickly. Only now did he confirm that the runes had landed on the paper. It's just that he can't see it. The painting scholar looked serious. After all the talismans were drawn, the power of the painter's soul was almost exhausted. Fang Qingran picked up the talisman and handed a piece of fruit to Scholar Danqing. Thank you. The painter scholar looked at the dragon immortal spirit fruit in his hand and said nothing for a long time. Fang Qingran threw an array disc at Su Exingheng's feet and sent a message to Zhu Zhao. Don't worry, as long as the illusion array is activated, you can test whether the Mother of Decay has evolved. If the Mother of Decay is still the same as before, the phantom formation will be useless against it. If it has wisdom, then the phantom array will activate, trapping it within it. The Mother of Decay, who was hiding in Su Exingheng's body to observe the situation, felt a sense of crisis. Fang Qingran would not throw out the formation disc for no reason. She must be thinking of new ways to deal with it. But the outside is full of solstice fire, and it's even more dangerous to go out. Su Exingheng's soul spoke, there is a way to save you, which is to summon more corrupt spirits to come in. The Mother of Decay stumbled and said, Goose, me, will, die soon. It's just summon them to die. The more decay comes in, the more chances you have to escape. Do you want to die here? The mother of decay in the past was not afraid of death. But now it has wisdom and can think, but it has a fear of death. The mother of decay didn't know how to express her feelings at the moment. It cannot yet speak human language fluently. I don't know if it swallowed half of Su Exingheng's soul, or because of other reasons, Su Exingheng was able to feel the thoughts of the mother of decay. Su Exingheng said, "You can just summon them." At the same time, inside the jungle, Su Yanran, who was in a coma, jumped up suddenly. The secret guards were so frightened that they were at a loss. The toxins in Su Yanran's body obviously invaded her consciousness, so she shouldn't wake up. Su Yanran turned around stiffly without looking at the secret guards around her. "Princess, princess," Mu Chanjue tried calling a few times. Su Yanran acted as if she hadn't heard anything and walked forward. The secret guards looked at each other and followed. Mu Chanjue stepped in front of Su Yanran, wanting to observe Su Yanran's condition. Only then did she realize that Su Yanran's eyes were dull, like a puppet on strings. Mu Chanjue was shocked. How could Su Yanran become like this? "Princess," Mu Chanjue called again. Still no response. Mu Chanjue's eyes dimmed and he raised his hand to stop her from moving forward. But the moment he raised his hand, a terrifying force erupted from Su Yanran, and he was ejected far away. Su Yanran said in a cold and biting tone, "Anyone who stands in my way will die." After saying that, she continued walking forward. Pooh! Mu Chanjue spit out a mouthful of blood. When he recovered, he saw that Su Yanran had already walked far away. The group of secret guards behind her also gradually appeared, following Su Yanran step by step. At this moment, Mu Chanjue thought of decay. Su Yanran and the group of secret guards were obviously manipulated by corruption. Mu Chanjue followed Su Yanran closely, observing her situation, and did not rush forward to stop her. About half an hour passed. Mu Chanjue stopped when he saw Su Yanran. There was a purple token in her hand. The aura on the token felt very familiar to Mu Chanjue. But before he had time to think about it, he saw Su Yanran slowly raising the token. Click. The formation barrier was broken. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 585 4 Ancient Divine Beasts. The moment the barrier shattered, Wen Wanjun looked up as if sensing something. Then he saw Su Yanran standing there quietly. When Wanjun's previous dullness was swept away, Yanran. Su Yanran did not give Wen Wanjun a look. She raised the purple token in her hand and muttered something. Several ancestors stopped applying talismans to the heavenly soldiers and stared at the token in Su Yanran's hand. That is the order of the law that they long for but cannot ask for. Swish, swish, swish. The heavenly soldiers raised their hands and tore off the talismans on their foreheads, all facing Su Yanran. When Wen Yun saw this scene, she immediately teleported behind Mu Chen. Mu Chen looked at Ning Xiyu with interest. But when Mu Chen's eyes fell on Ning Xiyu, the heavenly soldiers suddenly opened their mouths and spat out a black worm on the ground. It is the spirit of decay. Ning Xiyu's strength was simply not enough to deal with the spirit of decay. Hei Muchen moved his fingertips to get rid of the rotten spirit that was about to parasitize Ning Xiyu. Several ancestors flashed into the jade scenery formation to seek shelter. Shaman quickly set up a barrier to prevent the spirit of decay from harming it and the goddess Qingqiang. Then, everyone saw a scene that frightened them. All the decaying spirits crawled towards Su Yanran, and then all crawled towards her body. Su Yanran's body was covered with dense armyworms, with only a purple token exposed. At this time, a strange light flashed. Su Yanran and the spirit of decay all disappeared. Su Yanran entered the domain with the help of the power of the law order. Passing through the Jiang fire, he slowly walked towards Su Exingheng's body. "Master, be careful, they weaken the power of the sun fire," Zhu Zhao warned. Fang Qinggran pinched the last talisman in her hand and said, "Zhu Zhao, cooperate with me. Once she reaches Su Exingheng, immediately block her escape." Fang Qinggran looked at Su Yanran with sharp apricot eyes. "It's time to end it. Su Exingheng has been eliminated. Only Su Yanran was left." When Su Yanran walked to Su Exingheng, Fang Qinggran threw out the last Tai Yuan King talisman. Each of the 7 talismans falls into the 7 positions of the array. The illusion-killing talisman formation is formed. At the same time, thunder suddenly sounded in the sky above the fairy world. Thunder shook the sky. Then the sky changed drastically, a hurricane roared, and colorful auspicious clouds appeared. The auspicious clouds are flowing, the sky is full of divine clouds, the Taos rhyme is layered, and it is sacred and magnificent. The shadows of 4 ancient beasts suddenly appeared in the sky. The dragon's roar shakes the sky, and the universe is mighty. Suzaku bathed in fire, burning the sky and the earth. The white tiger steps on the clouds and roars for 9 days. Xuanwu is unparalleled and powerful in all directions. Immediately afterwards, the shadows of ancient saints flashed past. The terrifying coercion enveloped the entire fairy world. At this moment, all the immortal cultivators in the 7th heaven of the immortal world trembled in their souls, but they were not afraid of the pressure given by the saint. Instead, it was like breaking free from some kind of shackles. The whole person's soul has been extremely sublimated. They suddenly felt that the usually obscure skills seemed much simpler. Many immortal cultivators have never noticed that the black marks on the backs of their necks disappear after being bathed in the auspicious light. Those cultivators who have never soaked in the immortal river can feel the immortal energy pouring into their bodies. If it weren't for the 4 huge shadows in the sky, some cultivators would have jumped up to practice. This auspicious scene lasted for 3 hours. After the glow disappears, the shadows of the 4 great beasts did not disappear. Instead, it slowly solidified into an entity. Then it fell in one direction. All the immortal cultivators watched as the 4 ancient beasts went to the first heaven. Countless retreating masters came out one after another and rushed to the first level. You must know that no ancient beast has appeared in the fairy world for hundreds of thousands of years. If you are lucky enough to contract an ancient beast, it will be the best help. Obviously, when such a phenomenon occurs in the fairy world, other worlds will naturally feel it. The first to bear the brunt is the realm of gods. The gods in the divine world saw the 4 great beasts appearing in the fairy world from the mirror of heaven and earth, and they all became excited. All major families summoned their children to return. Spirit world. Feng family. Bang bang bang. There was a quick knock on the door. Mr. Fenge, the master of the house has given an urgent order, asking you to rush to the meeting hall as soon as possible. The boy's voice was extremely loud. Crunch. The courtyard door was opened. A young disciple frowned and said, "There are always important things to do in Feng Pavilion. Go tell the head of the family and he will rush over as quickly as possible." The boy's face turned pale and his body trembled. "No. The head of the family has ordered Mr. Fenge to put down whatever he is doing and rush to the meeting hall immediately. It is related to the overall honor of our Feng family." The disciple remembered what Elder Feng Jie had said before, but still did not dare to disturb Elder Feng Jie. What happened to the Feng family? My identity is not worthy of knowing the details. The head of the family only said that Fenge will not be able to survive within a quarter of an hour, so I don't have to go back alive. The disciple thought for a moment and decided to call Mr. Fenge. After all, the head of the Feng family is still the master. If he offends Mr. Fenge, he will at most be punished. If he delays the head of the family's important affairs, he may be kicked out of the Feng family directly. The disciple glanced at the boy and said, "Wait here." The disciple closed the courtyard door, walked to Elder Feng's door, and said cautiously, "Old Fenge, the master of the family has called you urgently and wants you to go to the meeting hall within a moment." As the disciple finished speaking, he suddenly felt an extremely terrifying attack falling on himself. Boom. The disciple's body hit the wall. Boom. The disciple fell to the ground and vomited several mouthfuls of blood. "Get out." Old Feng's hoarse and extremely cold voice came out. "It's like being disturbed. Extremely unhappy." The disciple heard the displeasure in Elder Feng's tone, raised his hand to wipe away the blood on his mouth, knelt down on his knees, and repeated again, "Old Fenge, the servant next to the master of the family has come to invite you personally, saying that it concerns the Feng family. I require you to rush over within a quarter of an hour." There was a moment of silence inside the door. Mr. Fenge flashed in front of his disciple and stared at him coldly. "This is the best." After Mr. Feng Jie finished speaking, his figure disappeared. Boom boom boom. The courtyard door was knocked again. The disciple stood up tremblingly and opened the door. The boy standing outside the door was still the same boy from before. When the young man saw his disciple in a state of embarrassment, surprise flashed through his pretty fox eyes. "Are you okay?" The disciple shook his head. "It's okay. Mr. Fenge has gone. You can go back and recover." The boy looked at the disciple with concern and handed him a pill bottle. "I have some healing pills here. You can try them. It's all my fault. If you hadn't pushed me too hard, you would be fine." "I don't blame you." The disciple took the pill bottle and showed a forced smile. His status seems to be one level higher than that of the servant. In fact, it is just equivalent to Fenge Lao's dog. "How about I help you heal your injuries? I have practiced a technique before that can help people heal their soul wounds." The young man said worriedly. "Can you see the wounds on my soul?" The disciple was surprised. How could a young boy with low strength have such high strength? Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 586 The Outrageous God Realm. The young man said, "To tell you the truth, although I am not very good, I have practiced the method of repairing the soul for a period of time, and I know a lot about it." After hearing this, the disciple said, "Come in, Mr. Fenge probably won't be back for a while." After the disciple finished speaking, the barrier blocking the young man disappeared. The boy walked in, apologetic look flashed in his eyes. The boy helped the disciple up and put his hand on his meridians. "Your soul injury has been delayed for too long. If you want to completely repair it, I'm afraid." When the boy said this, he paused and seemed to be embarrassed. "What are you afraid of? Just say it." "I'm afraid Hunyuan Dragon Ginseng needs to be used, otherwise there is little hope of repair." Hunyuan Dragon Ginseng. The disciple glanced at a certain room subconsciously. The boy immediately noticed the room. His fox eyes narrowed slightly, and he continued, "Hey, brothers, we are connected by the same fate. My foundation is damaged, and it is extremely difficult to improve my divine power." "You soul, oh, it's so difficult. The Hunyuan Dragon Ginseng is something that people like us cannot imagine. I'd better find other ways to heal your injuries. Don't worry, even if there's no way to completely repair your soul, I will try my best to find something to reduce the damage to your soul." "How many doses of Hunyuan Dragon Ginseng are needed to heal my injury?" The disciple's hands hidden in his sleeves trembled slightly, and a bold idea came to his mind. "It's hard to say, it depends on the level of Hunyuan Dragon Ginseng." The boy said, patting the disciple on the shoulder, "Brother, I can't even think of using Hunyuan Dragon Ginseng as medicine." The disciple gave the boy a look and signaled him to close the door. The boy let go of his disciple and closed the courtyard door. The protective formation was activated again. The disciple's eyes flickered. If there really is ancient Hunyuan Dragon Ginseng, how much dose is needed? The boy opened his mouth wide and seemed surprised. "It's about as many as fingernails." The disciple suddenly stared at the young man. "You swear in the name of heaven that you will be able to use Hunyuan Dragon Ginseng to heal the wounds of my soul, and you must not spread what you saw and heard in this courtyard, otherwise my soul will be scattered, and even a trace of it will be lost. Don't even think about it in this world." The boy pretended to be shocked. Brother, are you crazy? The disciple said with a fierce tone, swear quickly. The boy raised his hand helplessly and swore. The content of the oath is of course the same as what the disciple said. At the end of the oath, his mouth opened again. The disciple didn't see the boy's last movements at all. Follow me. The disciple's voice was excited, but also a little scared. The boy followed the disciple into a room. Immediately, I felt the aroma lingering on the tip of my nose. The floor is covered with purple silk and satin. When the boy saw the clothes on the ground, his eyes darkened and he clenched his fists. The disciple didn't care about stepping on the clothes and walked forward. Follow my pace, don't make mistakes, and no matter what you see, don't be surprised. The boy tried his best to suppress the anger in his heart and said as calmly as possible, Brother, is there a mechanism in this house? Do not ask. Okay, I won't ask, I'm just curious. Why is Fengge still addicted to women at this age? This woman is different. Mr. Fengge cherishes her very much. You must not have any evil thoughts later. The disciple's voice was full of warning. The woman in purple was unconscious when she was brought back. He only glanced briefly. It was just that look that he could not forget for a long time. The woman's features were clear and her face was very cold. Even in deep sleep, her otherworldly temperament was still clearly visible. Brother, is there anything special about this woman? The more the boy walked in, the more worried he became. I told you not to be curious, why do you still ask? The disciple seemed a little dissatisfied. Brother, I'm really curious. You also know that the war between men and women in our divine world is very serious. It's difficult to meet a woman on weekdays. The boy said these words to find a sense of recognition. Outside practitioners don't know. The world of gods they envied was filthy. The etiquette in the divine world is very complicated. Very much like those backward little worlds. They also followed the feudal system of honor and inferiority. In an upper realm where cultivation is paramount, only the god realm values identity and strength. Identity comes first. If you have status but no strength, the strong men in the god realm will not dare to touch you. Those who have strength but no status can only become slaves of the big family, otherwise they will be ostracized by the big family and find it difficult to move forward in the god realm. Moreover, in the divine world, there is not only the hierarchy of status, but also the hierarchy of men and women. Women can only go to Biluo sect to practice. There were all women there, not a single man. What's even more outrageous is that there is no such thing as female virtue, female training, etc. in the divine world. When the boy thought of this, he couldn't help but feel happy. Fortunately, he was the only one who accidentally ascended to the god realm. If fifth senior sister and little junior sister also came to the god realm, their situation would be extremely bad. It is indeed rare to see women in the god realm. The disciple just answered softly and said no more. In a short distance, the two of them walked for a quarter of an hour. The disciple stopped in front of the bed. The gauze curtain on the bed was put down, and the woman could only be vaguely seen lying inside. There were also some women's underwear scattered beside the bed. When the boy saw this scene, he gritted his teeth and restrained himself from swearing. The disciple's eyes fell on the table not far from the bed. A plump ginseng plant sits on top. The disciple was so excited that he hurried over and stretched out his hand to pick up the ginseng. The moment he was about to encounter ginseng, the ginseng suddenly bounced and landed in the hands of the boy behind him. The disciple turned around, looking shocked. The boy smiled and said, Brother, I'm sorry for betraying your trust. The disciple felt as if his body was imprisoned and could not move at all. You just swore you would cure me. The boy shook his head. I swear that I will definitely heal your soul injury, but the condition is that you never hurt an innocent person, otherwise this oath is invalid. You, despicable. The disciple's voice trembled angrily. I'm despicable. Can you swear that you never killed innocent people indiscriminately? I was forced to do that. The disciple still wanted to defend himself. But the boy waved his hand, as if he didn't want to talk nonsense with him. Boom. The disciple fell straight backwards and fell into coma. The boy lowered his head and looked at Hunyuan Longshan. How is your master? Hunyuan Longshan's chubby limbs were almost twisted into twists, and he suppressed a sentence, Master. Master, I can't beat that old man, and I don't dare to look at him, I'm a boy. The boy took a deep breath and his eyes turned cold. It seemed that the third senior sister had really encountered something unexpected. How should he explain to everyone in Lingyun sect? Hunyuan Dragon Ginseng is also showing signs of depression. I don't know what to do. It's all because it's too weak. Failed to protect the master. When the master wakes up, if he knows that he was given to such an ugly person, give. Ouch. Suddenly the cry of the sky fox came from the gauze tent. Hunyuan Longkan and the young man raised their heads at the same time and looked at the gauze tent. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 587. Are you hanging? Ouch. The cry of the sky fox inside the gauze tent was even more impatient. It was banned by Mr. Feng Ji and could not speak human language. The boy and Hunyuan Longshan looked at each other. The boy asked uncertainly, does it want us to go in? Hunyuan Longshan said awkwardly, I don't dare to go in. The boy shook his head helplessly, closed his eyes, took Tianhu out and put it on the table. I am not strong enough now to lift the restriction imposed on you by Mr. Feng Ji. You right. Tianhu dipped his paws into some tea. The magic weapon the master was wearing hurt the old man, so he tore the master's clothes to pieces, but he didn't have time to do anything, so he left in a hurry. The young man and Hunyuan Longkan were relieved when they saw this sentence. Hunyuan Longkan's voice was filled with tears. It's all because I'm too weak to protect my master. Tianhu erased the previous words and wrote again. Quickly extinguish that incense. That incense is not a good thing. The boy looked at the distance between him and Xiang, and decisively took out a gas mask-like thing and put it on. It takes too long to extinguish Xiang. Please take third senior sister away first. Go and wake her up quickly. Hunyuan Longkan said sadly. The master has no way to wake up, her strit is too serious. The boy's face darkened. How could third senior sister be so seriously injured? No. We must take third senior sister out of here first. He was not strong enough to compete with Elder Fenge, so he could only take third senior sister to find that person for asylum. He took out a set of bright yellow clothes from the space and handed them to Tianhu. You put this on third senior sister first. Tianhu was stunned for a moment, picked up the clothes and jumped back into the gauze tent. Hunyuan Longkan said curiously, I remember that Ning Shiyu loves bright yellow, right? The clothes you prepared. How long have you been talking nonsense? A blush flashed across the boy's face. Hunyuan Longkan returned to normal and said, by the way, how did you get into the God realm? And who gave you this mask? It's not surprising that a human skin mask can change your face. It can even cover up a person's own aura, which is by no means a simple thing. If it weren't for Bailey Wenyu's distinctive pair of fox eyes, it would have been impossible for it to recognize him at a glance. As soon as I opened my eyes, I was in the God realm. I don't know how I got here. Bailey Wenyu touched the mask. As for the mask, after I woke up, I accidentally saved an old man with a white beard who was about to go crazy. It was a thank you gift he gave me. This mask is called Qian Huan. Just a drop of someone else's blood can transform you into the person's appearance. Even its breath can be reproduced. Are you, this inappropriate male protagonist script? Hunyuan Longshan was surprised. In the book I read before, the main character in it all encountered strange old men inexplicably. Then it skyrocketed from there. Hey. Compared with Bailey Wenyu, the master's luck is as good as in the world or in the sky. Male protagonist. Bailey Wenyu dragged his chin, seeming to have thought of something, and smiled proudly. What is the strength of the person you rescued? Can he protect you? Hunyuan Longkan interrupted Bailey Wenyu's fantasy. Let me tell you this, his strength is at least among the top 5 in the God realm. He gave me a token and said that if I encounter difficulties, I will take the token to the Jiang family to find him. As long as it is not a catastrophic disaster, he can help me settle it. How credible is what he said? I don't know, but this token makes me feel that what he said is true. Bailey Wenyu took out a purple token. Hunyuan Longkan almost jumped when he saw the token in Bailey Wenyu's hand. Damn it, are you cheating? If you save any old man, I will give you the Order of Law. Hunyuan Longkan's tone was filled with deep jealousy. Why doesn't its owner have such luck? As soon as the master entered the fairy world, he was chased by heavenly soldiers. He finally escaped to Qingqiong Temple and was treated by the goddess. As a result, half of them were saved, and goddess Qingqiong was going to save the fairy world, causing more injuries to the owner. Later, its beautiful owner was targeted by a bad old man. Still a little bit short. If the chubby little man transformed by Hunyuan Dragon Ginseng had eyes, he would probably be able to stare a hole in Bailey Wenyu at this moment. Bailey Wenyu heard Hunyuan Longkan's words and looked at the token. What is the Order of Law? Is this thing awesome? Hunyuan Longshan gained weight again and seemed to be angry. The Order of the Law. You don't even know, it's normal. Let me tell you this. If you take this, the gods of the gods will respect you. You sure? I'm very sure. You can use it to walk sideways in the god realm. No. Bailey Wenyu immediately put the token away. Why did you put it away? If you take it and lead the owner out of Feng's house, that bad old man will not dare to stop you. This thing can't be used. It's something that even heaven is in awe of. If I show off my strength on the market, wouldn't I be willing to die? Not only will this fail to save third senior sister, but it will make her situation even more dangerous. Bailey Wenyu's fox eyes dimmed slightly, wondering what the person's purpose was in sending him this order. Hunyuan Longkan fell into silence. It was not unreasonable for Bailey Wenyu to survive in the crisis-ridden god realm. He thought more carefully than that. By the way, is the Order of Law really that powerful? Bailey Wenyu asked solemnly. Yes, but law orders are also divided into strong and weak ones. The power contained in the piece in your hand is at least mid-level among the 7 law orders. It seems that the person who saved you is sincerely grateful. Not necessarily. We have to change our plan. We can't go to him. We go to the Vowel Holy Land instead. Bailey Wenyu felt that he had lost that sense of ease since his ascension. There are so many things to consider when doing anything these days. Hunyuan Longkan didn't understand and asked, where is the Holy Land of Vowels? Bailey Wenyu explained, there are 5 major sects in the god realm. The Holy Land of Vowels ranks first, and there is a special peak there. I have a way to make him accept the third senior sister as an exception. Hunyuan Longkan shouted excitedly, how do you know this? I met them by chance and got to know them. I gave them a casual helping hand and got to know them. It's strange that you, a person who has just ascended, always meet people who need your help. Hunyuan Longkan muttered in a low voice. Bailey Wenyu's eyes flashed slightly when he heard this. I don't know if it was his misunderstanding. Since he ascended, he has been under a lot of pressure, but his luck has been surprisingly good. Even if you have a barbecue, you can meet a noble person from the divine world. Bailey Wenyu observed the Hunyuan Dragon Ginseng and decided not to talk about it yet. Did they also give you a token? Hunyuan Longkan asked. Yes, Bailey Wenyu took out a black token. When Hunyuan Long saw the black token, his whole ginseng felt a little numb. The master, the 6th junior brother, was definitely the chosen one. Tokens are divided into 9 levels. Red, orange, yellow, green, cyan, blue, black, white, purple. Among them, purple is the highest level. Due to the restrictions of the law, all refiners are unable to refine purple tokens. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 588. The colors of the remaining tokens change and the difficulty of refining gradually increases. The person who can take out the black token must be respected. Han Yuanlong thought about this and grabbed Bailey Wenyu. This person was definitely the master's thigh, so he had to give him some sweetness. A purple fruit appeared in Bailey Wenyu's palm. Han Yuanlong said, "As long as you rescue the master, I will give you better things in the future." It was too afraid of the scene in Qingqiong Temple reappearing. Bailey Wenyu said, slightly displeased, "She is my third senior sister. I don't need anything from you to save her. Take it back." At this moment, the Sky Fox screamed. Bailey Wenyu returned the fruit to Han Yuanlongshan and couldn't wait to see Qin Hanyan. Qin Hanyan's face was bloodless, and there was a broken Bu Yao beside him. Bailey Wenyu remembered clearly that this sway was given to Qin Hanyan by Ning Shi, and it was also Qin Hanyan's favorite one. He raised his hand to pick up the broken Bu Yao and put it into the space. Then, he took off his mask, and his whole person instantly changed from an ordinary boy to a majestic being. He first put the mask on Qin Hanyan's face, then took out a porcelain bottle and dropped a drop of blood on the mask. Qin Hanyan's face and body changed. Bailey Wenyu's face darkened slightly when he saw the delicate face in front of him. "What's wrong?" Han Yuanlongkan jumped over and asked anxiously. "No, Fang Yuxi of the Fang family is not like this, but I obviously took her blood." Bailey Wenyu was very puzzled. Fang Yuxi is the foster daughter adopted by Mr. Fang Ji, and she is not at Fang's house at the moment. Just in time, third senior sister can transform into Fang Yuxi and walk out of Fang's house. Could the wrong blood be taken? No, Bailey Wen couldn't figure out what went wrong. Although third senior sister's appearance at the moment does not look like Fang Yuxi's, her delicate and frail temperament, like a small white flower, is exactly the same as Fang Yuxi's. Bailey Wenyu gritted his teeth. "It's too late, I can only try this first." He took out a veil and put it on Qin Hanyan, and drew a pair of eyes for her. As long as she didn't look close, she would look like Fang Yuxi herself. Bailey Wenyu said, picking up Qin Hanyan and walking out. Tianhu took a step behind and breathed out towards the sleeping disciple. "Wait until you reach the courtyard." Han Yuanlongshan entered the medicine garden space and hid. Bailey Wenyu supported Qin Hanyan, and Tianhu jumped on Qin Hanyan's shoulders to control Qin Hanyan's limbs. "Ouch. Tianhu, you don't need to pretend." Bailey Wenyu shook his head. "No, the Fang family is so large that a servant like me is inconspicuous. You must control third senior sister and don't reveal your secrets. Tianhu, keep it with me." One person walked in fear for half an hour, and finally approached the back door of Fang's house. Sky Fox's hair stood on end uncontrollably. The more Bailey Wen gave it a look, the more completely the hair on its body exploded. "Bailey Wenyu, isn't it said that foxes are the smartest and good at disguise?" "Tianhu, foxes are smart, but they're also afraid of death. I only have the strength of an ordinary beast, and all these guards can strangle me to death. You still say you are no better. Stop shaking your hands." "Bailey Wenyu, I don't want either. It has its own ideas and doesn't obey orders." Tianhu rolled his eyes. "If this continues, we will be finished sooner or later." Bailey Wenyu, "Not necessarily." They all lowered their heads, as if they were afraid of third senior sister. Tianhu immediately looked over. The guards bowed their heads respectfully without any intention of raising their heads. "Tianhu, then what are you waiting for? Why don't you go faster?" Bailey Wenyu, "No, walking fast is not like Fang Yuxi. Fang Yuxi loves to put on airs." One person and one fox walked carefully, for fear of being spotted. They didn't notice at all that there were 3 people watching their every move in the dark. There were 2 people in the dark dressed similarly to Bailey Wenyu, both dressed as boys. Another man in scarlet robes had a noble demeanor, and he looked like he was no ordinary person. A servant sent a message to the man, "Young master, there is something wrong with these 2 people. They are not gods or immortals at all. They have no marks on their bodies. Do you want to stop them?" The man shook his head and remained silent, his extremely deep eyes shining with an unpredictable light. "Here." Bailey Wenyu's heart was still high until he stepped out. "Congratulations to Miss Yuxi." The guards' voices suddenly sounded. Tianyu's fur that had just softened suddenly exploded again. Bailey Wenyu stumbled and almost fell to his knees, but luckily he controlled his body in time. He straightened his back and helped Qin Hanyan continue walking. The guards looked surprised and puzzled each other. What is so strange about Miss Yuxi today? Guard, yes, if the servant had made such a mistake in the past, he would definitely not be able to survive. Guard, Miss Yuxi is so low-key today. Guard 3 narrowed his eyes slightly. Do you feel anything is wrong? Miss Yuxi seemed to be helped by a servant. The 4th guard suddenly thought of something. No, isn't Miss Yuxi in the Biluo sect? How could she come out of the Feng family and use the back door? The faces of the 4 changed suddenly. The guard reacted as soon as he came to his senses. 3rd and 4th, you go and chase the person. I'll report this to the head of the family. 2nd, you stay here and watch. After hearing this, the 3rd and 4th children immediately went after him. Bailey Wenyu noticed that someone was following him, picked up Qin Hanyan and started running. When the guards saw this, they were even more sure that the guess was correct. He turned around and walked towards the Feng family meeting hall. But he bumped into a young man in scarlet clothes. The guard took a step back and saw clearly who he had bumped into. He knelt down in panic and said, "Young master, spare your life. Get up." The man's voice was clear and mellow, like a mellow wine, which left people wanting more. The guard trembled and stood up. In the Feng family, anyone who contradicts the young master can be executed immediately. The gold embroidery on the man's fey clothes is exquisite, making the whole person noble and elegant. The man spoke slowly. What's going on in such a hurry? Back to young master, 2 suspicious people just left the Feng family. I happen to be going to the meeting hall. Such a trivial matter is not worth your trip. Guard Yi was flattered and said, "Young master, could you please tell the head of the family that someone pretended to be Miss Yuxi and walked out of Feng's house?" The man waved his hand gracefully, "Yes. After the man finished speaking, he turned and left. As soon as the guard regained consciousness, a voice came to his ears, "Young master, if you spare him like this, will it damage your majesty?" Young Master Feng's clear voice sounded, "It doesn't matter." When the guard looked up, he realized that there were two young boys following young Master Feng. It was enough to show that the strength of the two boys was much higher than his. The guard watched young Master Feng go away, his heart completely relieved. As soon as the guard wanted to walk back to the back door, his legs felt weak. The second guard came over to support him. "You scared me to death just now. How could you hit the young master?" The guard shook his head. "I don't know, I always feel." "Feel what?" "Nothing." The guard shook his head. He took a deep look at the place where young Master Feng left. It always felt like the young master arrived very early, and the young master bumped into him on purpose. He didn't dare to say these words. After all, talking about the young master of the Feng family is a capital crime. Entrance to the assembly hall. A voice sounded, "You two go deal with the two chasing guards." Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 589 Death of Tianhu. Spirit World. The streets are a little deserted. Only occasionally a few figures would suddenly appear. And disappeared quickly. At this time, a handsome young master was carrying a girl on his shoulders. Run quickly into the quiet street. He ran wildly towards the other end of the street. Even though he is running with his legs at the moment, it still does not affect his cool and unrestrained temperament. I saw the young man running some distance away. Two guards caught up with him. The guards chased and shouted, "Stop, if you run again, I will shoot you without mercy." In fact, both of them were out of breath. Heads poked out from various shops on the street, looking at the situation. A shopkeeper asked strangely, "These two people look like they are the guards of the Feng family, and they're not weak at all. Why can't they even catch up with a pretty boy?" Another shopkeeper said, "Who knows? This is the first time I have seen this kind of scene in the god realm where he runs away and he chases. Why don't they use the teleportation technique? These two guards seem a little weak, and they can't outrun the pretty boy. Did the pretty boy just ascend to the god realm? TSK, TSK, TSK. He offended the Feng family when he first came to the god realm. This pretty boy probably won't survive for a few days. Why are they chasing the pretty boy? The beauty carried on the pretty boy's shoulders seems to be Feng Yushi from the Feng family. I guess the guards are trying to save Feng Yushi. Shush, you don't want your life. Feng Yushi dares to talk about it. Even if it is really Feng Yushi, we have to pretend not to see it. Let's break up quickly, otherwise we will suffer the same consequences if someone from the Feng family comes again. For a time, all the shopkeepers returned to their own stores with a tacit understanding. The figure of the guard also disappeared at the end of the street. The two guards also realized at this moment that they should not subconsciously run to chase people. The two looked at each other, and one of the figures disappeared on the spot. Boom. Bailey Wenyu bumped into a guard. Bailey Wenyu stumbled backward and held Qin Hanyan in time to prevent him from being thrown out. Before Bailey Wenyu could calm down. Zhang. The guard drew his sword and pointed it at Bailey Wenyu. "Put down Miss Yushi and tell me honestly why you showed up at Feng's house." Bailey Wenyu had a smile on his face. "Brother guard, what are you talking about? The person on my body is my distant cousin, and I have never been to Feng's house." Bailey Wenyu's main thing is to refuse to admit it. "Don't talk nonsense, be careful to become a dead soul under my sword. Brother guard, you can't just rely on your strength to be stronger than me and just kill innocent people indiscriminately. I really don't understand what you are talking about." Bailey Wenyu was betting that the guard was afraid of the person on his shoulder and did not dare to attack. Sure enough, the guard's hands shook, as if he was angry. He has never seen anyone more shameless than Bailey Wenyu. The guard stared at Bailey Wenyu coldly, seeming to organize his words. At this moment, Bailey Wenyu felt an extremely cold aura wrap around him. Immediately afterwards, powerful pressure fell, imprisoning his body. Bailey Wenyu froze and became nervous. At this moment, many things flashed through Bailey Wenyu's mind. Especially what Feng Qinggran said, "Sixth senior brother, I hope you will never understand the powerlessness of disparity in strength." Single quote dot. He got it. But this time no one could help him. Bailey Wenyu forced himself to calm down and think about countermeasures. He knew that he couldn't panic. Third senior sister couldn't return to Feng's house. Third brother, why don't you bother talking to him? Just take it down. Anyway, the person on his shoulder fainted, and she doesn't know what we are doing. An extremely cold voice came from behind Bailey Wenyu. Another guard also chased after him. Bailey Wenyu was extremely worried, but he tried his best to hide his panic. The guard behind Bailey Wenyu raised his sword viciously and stabbed him in the back. The sword failed to hit Bailey Wenyu as expected. Tianyu saw the guard's movements and immediately rushed forward to block the sword. Ouch. Tianyu's screams of extreme pain rang out. The guard's furious voice came, "Damn beast, a little ordinary beast actually tried to hurt me." Boom. Bailey Wenyu looked sideways and saw Tianyu's body hitting the wall. He fell heavily to the ground again. The snow-white fur on Tianyu's body was now dyed bright red. Ouch. Tianyu, we must take the master away, there is only so much I can do. Bailey Wenyu's eyes were slightly red and moist. Stay alive, don't die. Bailey Wenyu's voice was extremely soft and full of powerlessness. He could do nothing but pray at the moment. Why didn't he work hard when he practiced in the past? If I had worked harder, how could I have faced today's situation? HMPH, if you don't eat the toast, you'll have to drink wine as a penalty. Seeing Bailey Wenyu's appearance, the guard deliberately stepped forward and stepped on the dying Tianyu. ZZ. Several streams of blood came out of Tianyu's body and sprayed on the wall. Let it go. Bailey Wenyu roared angrily. The guard smiled proudly. He liked to see people being helpless and furious. It's not that I want to kill it, it's that it wants to die for you. Of course I have to fulfill it. The guard said, with a little more force. Bailey Wenyu regretted at this moment that he did not listen to Hunyuan Longshan's method and use the order of the law. If he had used the order of the law, Tianhu would not have died. But at this moment, he had no choice but to take out the order of law. Fourth, stop playing around and take this person back quickly. Another guard urged. Okay, let's take the third child back to receive his reward. The guard let go of Tianhu and walked towards Bailey Wenyu. Just took a few steps. The guard went back again, picked up the body of the sky fox, and said with a sinister smile, the fur of this kind of fox is not bad. You can peel it off and make it into a scarf. Bailey Wen couldn't help but tremble all over, his fox eyes burst out with sharp light. Let it go. The guard asked mockingly, are you not clear about your identity? Bailey Wenyu repeated, let it go. At this moment, something in Bailey Wenyu's bloodline seemed to be awakening and breaking through its confinement. At the same time, above the void of the distant universe, a Chaos Supreme Beast slowly opened its eyes and looked at the plane where Bailey Wenyu was. The aura of the Supreme Beast is restrained and looks very ordinary. But it just glanced at the plane where Bailey Wenyu was. All the hidden ancient ancestors on the plane were awakened one after another, with frightened expressions on their faces, and knelt down in its direction. The ancient ancestors used their spiritual consciousness to explore the plane. No abnormalities were found. How could they provoke the Supreme Beast if they didn't understand their plane? The eyes of the Chaos Supreme Beast are deep and deep, as if the sun and the moon are passing by, extremely gorgeous. It murmured to itself, do I still have blood there? No, I don't remember that I have never touched a female beast. That's weird. After the Chaos Supreme Beast finished speaking, he glanced again, and the breath of blood disappeared. It seemed like everything just now was an illusion. I must have been confused. Forget it, I have to hurry up and sleep. Soon, the universe will be in chaos. I'm afraid I won't be able to sleep peacefully. The Chaos Supreme Beast looked away, lowered his head and continued to sleep. All its actions took less than half a quarter of an hour. But it brought unprecedented panic to the ancient ancestors of the plane. The ancient ancestors knelt there, not daring to act rashly, let alone leaving the territory to disturb the Supreme Beast, so they could only kneel with high vigilance. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 590. The ancient ancestors had no idea at all. The Chaos Supreme Beast would notice this plane just because of an extremely small person. The scene returns to the alley of God Realm. The guard held Tianhu with one hand and patted Bailey Wenyu's face with the other. Young boy, no matter how loud you scream, it's useless. You're a useless waste with no strength, and you only deserve to be stepped on by me. Bailey Wenyu watched helplessly as Tianyu's blood kept dripping down. Powerless. Defeat. Humiliation. Reach the extreme. The light in Bailey Wenyu's fox eyes disappeared and became deep. How do you want to let it go? I have many sacred stones that I can give to you. The guard pretended to be surprised and said, you want to buy its body just for a few sacred stones. Another guard frowned slightly and urged in a low voice, Fourth, don't be too playful. I'll blame you for wasting time. Let's. Third brother, you are just cowardly. We are here to catch fugitives. What are we afraid of? Let's play for a while. The higher-ups don't know. The fourth boy interrupted the third boy. He was used to groveling in the Feng family. Finally enjoy the feeling of being high above. How could it end so easily? Release your control on me. I have many sacred stones, and I'll give them to you. Bailey Wenyu lost all the arrogance he had before and begged humbly. Tianhu became like this to save him. He couldn't watch it die. You don't think you can escape if I release my control on you, do you? Lao Si laughed sarcastically. I won't run away. HMPH, I don't want your sacred stone. If you kneel down and beg me, I will let it go. The fourth child said and shook Tianhu deliberately. Okay, Bailey Wenyu said happily. Ha ha ha, the fourth child smiled wildly, you. Swish. The fourth child didn't have time to say the rest of his words before his head fell to the ground. Blood splattered. Bailey Wenyu's blue clothes were dyed bright red. Gurgling. Lao Si's head rolled to Bailey Wenyu's feet in shock. The fourth child's body was still standing upright. In an instant, the sky fox fell from his hand. The restraints on Bailey Wenyu were also released, and he hurried forward to catch Tianyu's body. Fourth child, the third child shouted in horror. Boom. The fourth child fell to the ground. The third child stopped and looked around. Who dares to touch my Fang family? Get out. Swish. Another sharp sword energy struck. The third child's head fell to the ground, still maintaining an incredulous look in his eyes. Bailey Wenyu put Qin Hanyan and Tianhu down and thanked him in the dark. Thank you, senior, for saving me. Can you please leave your name? I will definitely repay my kindness in the future. A vague voice came into his ears. How do you know we are here to save you? Not here to kill me. Senior, if you want to kill me, you can do it. I just ask you to let go of one person and one fox on the ground. They are not a threat. Bailey Wen said, neither humble nor arrogant. You are kind and righteous, but it's a pity that you have strength. Remember that the strong never lose heart. Thank you for your teaching, senior. Leave quickly. The voice was impatient. Bailey Wenyu picked up Qin Hanyan, picked up Tianhu, and left quickly. After Bailey Wenyu left, two people dressed as servants appeared. One of them had a serious look on his face. Xiaobao, we could obviously take action earlier, and that Sky Fox doesn't have to die at all. Why are you delaying? Xiaobao raised his round face. Xiaobei, you still don't understand. Since he dares to break into the Feng family without permission, he has to pay some price. Otherwise, he would think that the Feng family is easy to bully. Xiaobei seemed puzzled. Then why did you want him to stay for even half a moment in the end? The god's soul must have sent his portrait back to the Feng family. The young master asked us to save him, but we would kill him if we did this. The young master only asked us to kill the gods, but he did not ask us to protect him. After I do this, if he wants to enter the Feng family in the future, he can only serve our young master. Xiaobao smiled very cutely. Xiao Bei looked at Xiao Bao's smile and felt a chill running through his body. No wonder Xiaobao, who only has the strength of a god, was favored by the young master. He doesn't have this kind of calculation or brains. Xiaobei was still in a daze, while Xiaobao had already disposed of the bodies of the two gods. When Xiaobao was about to deal with the blood stains on the wall, he paused and said, "No, why does this blood smell like Jinxiang Jade Qiluo?" Xiao Bei was surprised and said, "How come the breath of an ancient divine plant like Jinxiang Jade Qiluo appears here? Are you smelling it wrong?" No, it's just the smell of Jinxiang Jade Qiluo. Take off this piece of wall and I'll take it back to the pharmacist to smell it." Xiaobao pointed to the wall. Xiaobei looked extremely reluctant. He didn't want to damage the wall. This was damage to public property and required compensation. "Hurry up. If you don't buckle, I'll reveal your love for Shizuka." "You? How do you know?" "I obviously." "Obviously what? Do you think you are hidden? Every time you see Shizuka, your eyes are almost glued to her body." "Can I tell?" Xiao Bei's face turned pale. "You didn't tell the young master, did you?" Xiaobao put his hand on his shoulder. "Young master doesn't know for the time being." "I'll buckle." Xiaobei raised his sword and took out the blood-stained piece. If the young master knew his thoughts, both he and Shizuka would die. Xiaobao put away the wall. "Well done, I will keep your affairs a secret, but I suggest you end it as soon as possible, otherwise you." Bailey Wenyu used the teleportation talisman and took Qin Hanyan to the back mountain of Yuanyan Holy Land. He put down Qin Hanyan. Then he put Tianhu down tremblingly. Tianyu's body has become completely cold. Bailey Wenyu whispered to Tianhu, "I'm sorry." Hunyuan Longshan jumped anxiously in the contract space, but it couldn't come out at the moment. If it comes out now, it will cause even greater trouble. But the master was asleep again. It cannot convey the message that Tianhu can still be saved. Tianhu is the companion beast of Jinxiang Qiluo. Born from the Golden Jade Qiluo, as long as the Golden Jade Qiluo is found. Plant it back again, and then give Tianhu the soul-calling pill and Hunyuan pill to make Tianhu come back to life. However, Tianhu, who came back to life, had a blank memory, just like a new life. Hunyuan Longshan was anxious to tell Bailey Wenyu this. But Bailey Wen couldn't hear its words anymore. Bailey Wenyu adjusted his mood, took out a shovel, and started digging a hole. He wanted Tianhu to rest in peace. Let Tianhu be buried here relatively safely. The mountain behind the Val Holy Land is a forbidden area, and generally no one comes here. "Who is there?" came a deep voice. The voice fell, and the terrifying pressure struck, and Bailey Wenyu lost the ability to move again. A powerless fear quickly spread to Bailey Wenyu's heart. Bailey Wenyu said tremblingly, "Senior, I don't mean to offend, I just want the contracted beast to rest in peace. Please forgive me, Senior." Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 591, Money and Other Possessions, additional update. "I have never seen such a cruel master like you." The old man sighed. "Senior, what do you mean by this?" Bailey Wenyu's fox eyes flashed with light. "This contracted beast of yours is a companion beast. Even after it dies, it has a chance to be resurrected. If you bury its body like this, aren't you giving it up?" Bailey Wenyu's face was full of surprise. "Please give me some advice, Senior." "Ha ha ha, you are destined to be with me today. I will give you a clear path. Find the things that accompany it, plant it again, and then give it the soul-calling pill and the Hunyuan pill, and then put it next to the companion thing. Next to it, it will be reborn in about 10,000 years, but..." The old man hesitated to speak, seeming helpless. "Senior, no matter what you say, I can accept anything." Bailey Wenyu said anxiously. "Although it has been reborn, it is no longer what it is now. Its memory, experience, and strength will all become the original state, just like a person is reincarnated after death. Do you think it is still the same?" The old man's voice was slightly sentimental. Bailey Wenyu was stunned for a moment, and then said firmly, "It doesn't matter if it is it or not, as long as it can survive." There was a long silence over there. It was so long that Bailey Wenyu thought that the old man had disappeared. "Ha ha ha." The old man laughed suddenly, with a hint of sadness. "Yes, as long as she is still alive, why didn't I figure this out back then?" When Bailey Wenyu heard this, he felt particularly uncomfortable. He wanted to comfort the old man, but he didn't know what to say. Bailey Wenyu finally couldn't help but said, "Senior, the past is irreversible. All we can do is live well in the present, and live a good life for her who regrets it." There was another long silence. After a quarter of an hour, a long sigh came. "Young man, you will become a great person in the future with your character. Today we are destined to be together, and I will give you a blessing." "Senior, I..." Bailey Wenyu hasn't spoken yet. A flash of golden light flew into his sea of consciousness. After he regained his composure, the technique of Void Seal appeared in his consciousness. Bailey Wenyu didn't know that after the technique entered his body, the originally loose restrictions in his body were strengthened again. Only the breath of Void Seal was left to dominate his soul. "Young man, this technique was created by a saint during the Hongmeng period. After cultivating it to the 9th level, you can step through the void, pick up stars, and change the laws of time at will. You must concentrate on your practice. If you don't become a great master, you should keep a low profile. After you become a great master, don't do anything. Do evil. Thank you, Senior, for your guidance." Bailey Wenyu bowed his hands and thanked him. But there was silence again. Bailey Wenyu thought that the old man was thinking and waited quietly, but an hour passed. Still no sound came. Bailey Wenyu shouted tentatively, "Senior." No one paid any attention to him. Bailey Wen became more and more unsure whether the old man had left. After waiting for a while, there was no sound again. Hunyuan Longshan only heard the conversation between the two in the space medicine garden, but did not see what Bailey Wenyu got. But this does not prevent it from understanding that Bailey Wenyu has a great opportunity. What a cheating man. Master, if your sixth junior brother had half of your luck, you wouldn't have fallen like this. Master, if not, forget it, this guy likes Ning Shiyu in his heart, and he is also half of you. A brother-in-law. Hunyuan Longshan's tone was sour. It's really hard not to be jealous of people like Bailey Wenyu. Bailey Wenyu was completely unaware of this. He carefully found the box to put Tianyu's body in, waiting to save it later. Right now, he is taking third senior sister to find the master of Qingyun Peak. Bailey Wenyu looked at Qin Hanyan's appearance at the moment and decided to wear Chanhuan for her. After all, Mr. Fengge was quite powerful, so he should keep a low profile. He carried Qin Hanyan out of the forbidden area and walked towards the outside. The entrance to the forbidden area is extremely desolate. He could only choose a direction at will and continue walking. After walking for about 3 hours, Bailey Wenyu saw several disciples in white who were practicing sword practice. The disciple immediately saw Bailey Wenyu. The main reason is that it is difficult for people not to notice Bailey Wenyu like this. Carrying a girl on my shoulders. Although the clothes on his body were clean, his hair was messy. Senior brother Qin, the direction he came to seems to be a forbidden area. A disciple said. Did the Holy Lord send anyone to the Holy Land? Qin Zixuan asked with a frown. No, since that incident, the Holy Master has not allowed people to approach the forbidden area. Then why don't you catch him quickly? Qin Zixuan said angrily. All of them have no brains, just ask them to move. Yes. Several disciples stepped forward to surround Bailey Wenyu. Which peak are you a disciple of? Qingyun Peak. Of course Bailey Wenyu would not say that he was looking for someone from outside. Several disciples stared at Bailey Wenyu with strange expressions. Qin Zixuan glanced at Bailey Wenyu. Are you really from Qingyun Peak? Bailey Wenyu noticed something was wrong, but at this moment, he couldn't get off the tiger, so he gritted his teeth and said, yes. Qingyun Peak in the Vowel Holy Land. Correct. Tie him up and take him to see the Holy Master. Qin Zixuan directed several disciples. Bailey Wenyu tried his best to remain calm. Why did you tie me up? You are a member of the Vowel Holy Land. Why are you here at our Taichu Holy Land? You must be here to spy on the situation, and I will definitely tie you up. A disciple explained. Bailey Wenyu. He entered the forbidden area of the Holy Land of Vowels. How could he end up in the Holy Land of Taichu? Do you believe me when I say I went to the wrong place? Bailey Wenyu asked cautiously. Of course I believe it. After all, the Holy Land of Taichu and the Holy Land of Vowels are connected, and new disciples often go astray, but don't worry, new disciples who go astray will not have the chance to go back. The disciple said, smiling evilly, holding the rope and trying to tie up Bailey Wenyu. Wait a minute, give me a chance. Look at these sacred stones. It's disrespectful. Bailey Wenyu decided to implement the method of persuading if you can't beat them, and buying them if you don't. Several disciples opened their mouths wide and stared at the mountains of sacred stones. 1, 10, hundreds, thousands, 10,000, hundreds of thousands. Boom. One of the excited disciples fainted. Qin, senior brother, why don't we stop binding him? A disciple swallowed his saliva and asked. Qin Zixuan was originally calculating the sacred stones. When he was interrupted, he coughed and said seriously, what nonsense are you talking about? We must not let go of any disciple of the Vowel Holy Land, otherwise the Holy Lord will kill us. What about these sacred stones? Of course I will put it away first and then hand it over to the head of the law enforcement hall. We can't be bribed by such petty profits. Qin Zixuan said righteously. But our disciples only have 3 sacred stones every month. These many sacred stones are enough for us to squander for a lifetime. Snapped. Qin Zixuan slapped his disciple on the head. We are short-sighted, we are cultivators, these things are all external to us. A smile flashed across Bailey Wenyu's face. Hey, since you don't want it, I'll put it away. Bailey Wenyu said, raising his hand. Wait. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 592 One Hammer Trading. After Qin Zixuan shouted, he threw the sword to a disciple, put his hand behind his back, walked around Bailey Wenyu, and asked again, are you really a disciple of the Vowel Holy Land? Bailey Wenyu was a little surprised and didn't understand what Qin Zixuan meant by asking this. Just as he was about to explain, he saw Qin Zixuan winking at him. Bailey Wenyu understood instantly. Brother Qin, I was joking before. I am not from the Vowel Holy Land. Qin Zixuan nodded with satisfaction. This guy is very good. You lied, you are from the Vowel Holy Land, otherwise how would you know? A serious disciple said. Qin Zixuan's smile broke and he slapped the speaker on the head. Qin Zixuan said with an air of dignity, this brother said he is not from the Holy Land of Vowels, why are you still blubbering? Besides, if he is really from the Holy Land of Vowels, is it possible that he has so many sacred stones? A disciple echoed, yes, as we all know, the people in the Holy Land of Vowels are all poor. This young master is definitely not from the Holy Land of Vowels because of his majestic appearance and appearance of wealth. Junior brother Lu's words are reasonable. In that case, Qin Zixuan's eyes fell on Bailey Wenyu again. Bailey Wenyu immediately smiled and said, thank you very much for your strength, brother Qin. The sacred stone on the ground will be regarded as my meeting gift to brother Qin. Immediately, Qin Zixuan's mouth almost reached behind his ears. He immediately realized that this was not going to work. He stopped smiling and pretended to be serious. It's okay if you make a mistake once. If you make a mistake again next time, it has nothing to do with us. Do you understand? Qin Zixuan said this to tell Bailey Wenyu not to tell anyone what happened today. Bailey Wenyu said wisely, Brother Qin, don't worry, you and I have never met. Okay, you go out from this path, and then go north, and then. Qin Zixuan said in detail, because he was afraid that Bailey Wenyu would meet other people again. Bailey Wenyu wrote them down one by one and walked towards the path. Qin Zixuan immediately walked to the pile of sacred stones and said, come here, you guys. We earned this by ourselves. We will share it equally. After we leave here, no one is allowed to mention what happened today. Senior Brother Qin, thanks to you bringing us to practice swordsmanship, we were able to get the sacred stone. It would be unfair for you to share it equally. A disciple said flatteringly. What's unfair? It must be divided equally, otherwise you will be unbalanced when you go back and there will be more things. Qin Zixuan pointed it out directly, which made several disciples scratch their heads in embarrassment. After Qin Zixuan finished speaking, several people just stood there in a daze, not moving. Qin Zixuan said loudly, Shark, hurry up and count the sacred stones, separate and disperse as soon as possible. Oh. Only then did several disciples react. Qin Zixuan took a deep breath, what a bunch of donkeys, twitching and moving. Hey, wake up. Qin Zixuan kicked the sleeping disciple awake. The disciple rubbed his eyes, jumped up, and stammered, Qin, senior brother, I saw many sacred stones in my dream. Turn around. The disciple obeyed and turned around. Ah, the disciple opened his mouth wide, turned around stiffly, and pointed at Qin Zixuan, Shen. Sacred stone, I know, hurry up and get to work. Qin Zixuan said with great disgust. No, it's, the disciple still didn't put down his hand. Qin Zixuan realized something, turned around and saw Bailey Wenyu retreating step by step. Qin Zixuan frowned slightly. Is this person regretting it? Due to the angle, Qin Zixuan did not see anyone forcing Bailey Wen to retreat step by step. Qin Zixuan said, Brother, it is useless to regret. We are a one-time deal. What kind of one-shot deal? A deep voice came. The disciple counting the divine stones looked towards the path in horror. Qin Zixuan subconsciously wanted to run away. Qin Zixuan, if you dare to run away, Si Guo Ya will find out more. Qin Zixuan was about to cry, but said, Uncle Shen, I don't want to run away, I just want to stretch my muscles. He is also unlucky. How could he meet Uncle Shen, who has been in seclusion all year round? Uncle Shen is always unpredictable in his dealings. But one thing will never change. Master Shen will give priority to the interests of the Holy Land in everything he does. Qin Zixuan's whole body slumped down. He didn't want the sacred stone, and he might even be punished. Bailey Wenyu retreated to be side by side with Qin Zixuan, and Elder Shen stopped. Elder Shen was dressed in brown brocade clothes, with one hand behind his back, and his demeanor was solemn. The pair of black eyes are deep and sharp, and the appearance is quite handsome. If his face were not too serious, it would really look like an elegant and immortal person. Everyone looked at Elder Shen and remained silent. Although Bailey Wenyu did not detect any malice from Elder Shen, he was still in a nervous mood. In large sects, few people reach the status of elder and are true and kind. Elder Shen obviously saw the pile of sacred stones in the distance. What's going on? Qin Zixuan lowered his head, not daring to look directly at Elder Shen. They let Bailey Wenyu go without saying a word, and even took away his sacred stone. It could be said that they were deviant, and even being expelled from the sect was an exaggeration. Bailey Wenyu took the initiative and said, Senior, this junior accidentally broke into the Holy Land of Taichu, so he deliberately put down a pile of sacred stones to attract their attention, and then took the opportunity to escape. Qin Zixuan and several disciples stared at Bailey Wenyu dumbfounded. This brother is so loyal. He actually wiped them all out. Take full responsibility. Isn't it a little unethical for them to lie to him? Elder Shen looked Bailey Wenyu up and down. They told you that this is the Holy Land of Taichu. Bailey Wenyu asked strangely, Isn't this the Holy Land of Taichu? Elder Shen said seriously, This is the Holy Land of Vowels. Bailey Wenyu. He looked at Qin Zixuan. Qin Zixuan looked away with a guilty conscience. Bailey Wenyu still doesn't understand anything now. He was not angry. After all, Qin Zixuan pointed out the way to leave for him. If he had not met Elder Shen unluckily, he might have walked out of the Vowel Holy Land by now. Qin Zixuan, tell me what's going on. Elder Shen's strict voice sounded. Uncle Shen, we just saw the clothes he was wearing, and he said he was a disciple of King Yun Peak, so I deliberately lied to him that this was the Holy Land of Taichu. I swear, I just wanted to scare him, and I didn't do anything. Exclamation mark quote. Qin Zixuan raised his hand and raised 3 fingers. Hands down. Okay, Master Shen, whatever you say will be whatever you say. Qin Zixuan said with a playful smile. Elder Shen said to Bailey Wenyu, Did you hear that? Bailey Wenyu nodded without any expression. Elder Shen's eyes showed admiration. He was a good prospect, but he didn't know his identity. Elder Shen asked, Aren't you angry that they deceived you? Bailey Wenyu shook his head. They didn't really hurt me, there's nothing to be angry about. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 593 The peak has been sealed for tens of thousands of years. Bailey Wenyu told the truth. Since he entered the God realm, he has indeed met several noble people. But most of the time, he was looked down upon and bullied by others, especially during the time when he sneaked into Feng's house. He tasted the warmth and coldness of human relationships. What Qin Zixuan and others did was a prank at best. He really wasn't angry at all. When Qin Zixuan heard Bailey Wenyu's words, he was filled with guilt and stepped forward to hold Bailey Wenyu's hand. Brother, I'm sorry, I will never lie to you again. If you have any difficulties, just come to me. Qin Zixuan, stand still. When Elder Shen's voice fell, Qin Zixuan immediately let go of Bailey Wenyu's hand. Elder Shen looked at Bailey Wenyu. Why did you appear in the Vowel Holy Land? Bailey Wenyu said truthfully, this junior wants to find the master of King Yun Peak. Elder Shen's eyes became cold. What do you want from him? The Peak Master once gave me a token and said that if I am in trouble, I can come to the Vowel Holy Land to find him. Bailey Wenyu took out a black token. When Qin Zixuan heard this, he winked at Bailey Wenyu. Brother, can you tell a decent lie? Otherwise I won't be able to save you for a while. King Yun Peak has been sealed for tens of thousands of years. At that time, the world of gods was in chaos, and all kinds of evil spirits were wreaking havoc in the world of gods. The master of King Yun Peak took all the disciples of the peak and forced the master of evil spirits into a secret realm, and they all entered the secret realm. Since then, the secret realm has never been opened again. The fate of everyone in King Yun Peak can be imagined. Just 10,000 years ago, the last life tablet of King Yun Peak shattered. After the Holy Lord announced the news, the entire Vowel Holy Land was in a slump for a long time. Therefore, in order to commemorate everyone in King Yun Peak, the Holy Master and others decided to engrave the names of everyone in King Yun Peak and leave them in King Yun Peak. From then on, King Yun Peak became the second inaccessible place in the Holy Land of Vowels. That's why Bailey Wenyu mentioned that he was from King Yun Peak, and they showed the expression, and they immediately knew that Bailey Wenyu was not from the Holy Land. They decided to play a trick on Bailey Wenyu. Then they tied him to see the Holy Lord, but unfortunately Bailey Wenyu gave him too much. They decided to let Bailey Wenyu go for the sake of the sacred stone. It's not. The end of greed was to attract Elder Shen. Elder Shen used to be close friends with the master of King Yun Peak, but this little brother just talked nonsense in front of Elder Shen. Isn't he looking for death? Qin Zixuan looked at Elder Shen carefully, but found that Elder Shen's reaction was different from what he expected. Elder Shen was seen staring at the token in Bailey Wenyu's hand, his body trembling slightly. Finished. Elder Shen was so angry that he was shaking. Qin Zixuan didn't care so much and stepped forward to grab the token. Little brother, where did you get the counterfeit token? It's quite real. Qin Zixuan suddenly felt stopped by a force. Someone took the token from his hand. Elder Shen's excited voice sounded, You, where did you get the token? Is he still alive? Bailey Wenyu was a little puzzled. Of course Master Ji is alive. I don't know where I met him. I only remember that it was by a creek with unique scenery. Can you tell me the detailed scene when you met him? He and his 53 disciples seemed to be injured. They seemed to be performing an extremely important mission, so I gave them some healing elixirs, and then they gave me many things. Bailey Wenyu omit the part where he takes out the Fushi Chin. At that time, the circumstances under which he encountered the group of people were strange. Each of them was seriously injured and dying, but they were relieved when they saw him, as if they were sure that he could save them. He hesitated for a moment and then used Fushi Chin to heal their injuries. Afterwards, they told him many things and gave him many treasures before leaving. He fell asleep while chatting. When he woke up again, he was in another place. Has he ever mentioned anyone to you? Elder Shen's voice was choked up. He mentioned a person named Xu Li and told many interesting things about them. Bailey Wenyu paused. Elder Shen's eyes were moist at this moment, and he completely lost his strict look. Qin Zixuan. Several disciples. Mother. They actually saw Elder Shen crying. They won't be silenced, right? Qin Zixuan suddenly realized, didn't Elder Shen's name mean Xu Li? So Bailey Wenyu really met the master of King Yun Peak. Only then did Qin Zixuan look at the black token seriously. What is engraved on the back of the token is, Ji. Could it be that Peak Master Ji is not dead? Qin Zixuan's eyes lit up. If Master Ji had not died, he would have chosen King Yun Peak next year. Elder Shen quickly adjusted his mood and returned the token to Bailey Wenyu. Follow me. Elder Shen left with Bailey Wenyu. Several disciples and Qin Zixuan looked at each other. Qin Zixuan glared at several disciples. What are you looking at? Why don't you hurry up and follow me? Several disciples immediately followed. Qin Zixuan looked around, raised his hand and put all the sacred stones into the space, and then he could keep up with the others with satisfaction. The entrance to the Holy Lord's palace. The two young disciples guarding the door saw Shen Shuli from a distance. This man is wearing elder clothes, but the color is not right. I have met all the elders. He is definitely not from our Vowel Holy Land. Do you think he is someone from Taichu Holy Land pretending to be a troublemaker? The Holy Land of Taichu likes to harass us every day. It must be them. The two looked at each other and had an idea for each other, when Shen Shuli and Bailey Wenyu approached. One of the gatekeeper disciples said, The Holy Master has gone to the Holy Land of Taichu, please come back. Of course Shen Shuli knew that it was impossible for the Holy Lord to go to the Holy Land of Taichu. After that incident, Taichu and Yuanyin completely broke up. From then on, the two holy places became incompatible with each other. Shen Shuli said seriously, Go in and report that I have something important to see the Holy Master. The disciple shook his head and said, I told you that the Holy Master went to the Holy Land of Taichu. Go back and look for him. Don't cause trouble. It happened that Qin Zixuan was waiting and rushed over at this time. The two disciples recognized Qin Zixuan at a glance. Qin Zixuan is the direct disciple of the Holy Lord. Senior brother Qin, this person. Qin Zixuan stepped forward and glared at the two of them. You are really blind. You dare to even block Master Shen's way. It's uncomfortable for the outer disciples. You can become the handyman disciples. The two of them turned pale with fright and hurriedly knelt down in front of Qin Zixuan. Senior brother Qin, I really don't know Senior Uncle Shen. Uncle Shen, they have only been in the sect for 100 years, and they haven't heard of your name yet. What should they do? Qin Zixuan also indirectly begged for mercy on behalf of the two of them. Shen Shuli obviously didn't want to waste time here. Open the door. Qin Zixuan kicked the two of them. Why don't you thank Elder Shen for not killing him? In the Holy Land, the following offenses are punishable by death. The two disciples looked pale and said, "Thank you, Elder Shen." Qin Zixuan stepped over the two of them and opened the door. "Uncle Shen, please go in quickly. I have already sent a message to the master and he is waiting for you." Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 594 The feud between two holy places, more updates. Shen Shuli walked in without hesitation. Qin Zixuan was a step behind and walked with Bailey Wenyu. "Brother, don't worry, my master is very kind and you will not be in danger." Bailey Wenyu remained silent. Qin Zixuan lowered his voice and said, "Brother, I'm sorry, I didn't lie to you on purpose before. Can you forgive me?" Bailey Wenyu said seriously, "I didn't blame you." Ah, Qin Zixuan was very surprised, feeling even more guilty. "Brother, are you tired of carrying someone on your back? Can I help you carry it?" Qin Zixuan stretched out his hand. Bailey Wenyu turned away. Qin Zixuan retracted his hand in embarrassment and slapped himself. "Brother, I'm sorry, I was so nervous that I forgot that a woman's chastity is very important. Brother, our Val Holy Land does not accept female disciples. I'm afraid you and her will be separated." After Qin Zixuan finished speaking, he continued, "But don't worry, I have people I know in Biluo sect. I can help you open up connections and send this girl in." Bailey Wenyu was silent again. His thoughts were a little confused at the moment. Shen Shuli and Qin Zixuan didn't say anything explicitly, but he vaguely sensed that Peak Master Ji seemed to have fallen. The group he saw might not be human. It might be the remaining souls of Peak Master Ji and others. But the things they gave him actually existed in the space. Bailey Wenyu didn't know how to explain it. And that black token was also given to him by Peak Master Ji himself. What does Peak Master Ji mean by repeatedly asking him to join Qingyun Peak? Could Master Ji treat him like this because he and Master Ji both come from the land abandoned by the gods and are both from Qingyun Prefecture? Bailey Wenyu always felt that everything was too logical. Instead, it made him slightly uneasy. "Hey, brother, what are you thinking about? We're going in." Qin Zixuan bumped into Bailey Wenyu. Bailey Wenyu suddenly woke up. The three of them walked into the house. Sitting on the main seat was a tall, unassuming man. "It is the Holy Lord of the Val Holy Land." When the Holy Master saw the three of them, he said, "Zixuan, make a cup of tea for you too." "Got it." Qin Zixuan took action immediately. After Shen Shuli bowed to the Holy Lord, he opened his mouth. The Holy Lord stretched out his hand to interrupt him and looked at Bailey Wenyu. "Sir, you can put the girl on your shoulders in the side hall first. This is the Holy Lord's hall. No one will come in and harm her." "Thank you, Holy Master." Bailey Wenyu thanked him politely. Qin Zixuan rushed to Bailey Wenyu's side and said diligently, "Brother, come with me." After the two left, the Holy Master dodged to Shen Shuli, grabbed his hand, and said excitedly, "Is there really any news about Master Ji Peak?" What he said doesn't sound like a lie. I'm afraid that my joy will be in vain again. I'm even more afraid that he is from the Holy Land of Taichu. You don't know how excessive those bastards are. You have been in seclusion all these years. You have no idea how many pitfalls I have stepped on. ! The Holy Lord complained, completely losing his majestic look just now. "I will bring them all back." Shen Shuli's eyes were sharp. When Lao Ji and his disciples entered the secret realm, the entrance to the secret realm was immediately sealed. They want to open the entrance to the secret realm as soon as possible and go in to save people. But 7 gods are required to open the secret realm. There are only 3 deities in the Holy Land of Vals, and 1 from each of the other holy places, except for the Holy Land of Taichu. Taichu Sheng said that he was not willing to do anything. As a result, the entrance to the secret realm collapsed and could no longer be opened. From then on, the relationship between the Holy Land of Vals and the Holy Land of Taichu was forged. Over the years you have been in seclusion, I heard that there is another god in the Holy Land of Taichu, one more than us. The Holy Master said, very unhappy. Not bad now. Holy shit, have you been promoted to a god? It's only been years, right? Have you been promoted from a main god to a god? The Holy Lord was shocked and looked at Shen Shuli with strange eyes. The levels of cultivation in the divine world are divided into minor gods, mysterious gods, heavenly gods, main gods, superior gods, divine kings, divine emperors, divine gods, and holy gods. The divine soul cultivated in the divine realm. It is tens of thousands of times more difficult than cultivating immortality. A person who is extremely talented and has sufficient resources to cultivate immortality may be able to cross several great realms in thousands of years. But this situation rarely exists in the divine world. Compared with cultivating immortals, the resources required for soul cultivation are in the sky and on the ground. Of course, if the soul is powerful, the benefits will be even greater. Those with powerful souls can have more clones to assist in the battle. In particular, the God Lord can even summon 7 clones of equal strength, instantly increasing his combat power by 7 times. Therefore, gods who reach the level of gods are perverts. The Holy Master glanced up and down at Shen Shuli again, wanting to test the difference between himself and the Divine Lord. He has been stuck at the peak of the God Emperor for thousands of years, but he has never found an opportunity to break through. But recently there is news from the fairy world. It was said that an alchemist had refined a god-level soul-replenishing pill, and he was going to dress up in disguise and take a picture of the pill. The Holy Master patted Shen Shuli on the shoulder. Since you have reached the level of a deity, the Holy Land will be handed over to you. I am going to retreat for a while. I was promoted to the half-step Holy God, Shen Shuli said calmly. The Holy Master's eyes almost bulged out, and he was so excited. What did you eat to get promoted? Did you leave some for me? Shen Shuli couldn't help but twitch the corners of his mouth. The Holy Master folded his hands and paced back and forth. Half-step Holy God, there are only 2 Holy Gods and 1 half-step Holy God in our God realm. Now that you are promoted, you are the 4th one. Our Val Holy Land has half-step Holy God. Holy God, ha ha ha. The Holy Lord laughed crazily, as if he had thought of something beautiful. Cough, cough, cough. There was a slight cough. The Holy Lord flashed to the upper position, sat down, and straightened his posture. Qin Zixuan then led Bailey Wenyu out. The Holy Master glared at Qin Zixuan. Why do you brat, take the honor of being your master? Qin Zixuan was innocent. I've been behind you for a quarter of an hour. Who knew you hadn't finished talking yet? The Holy Lord's eyes flickered, and it seemed that he had strayed from the subject. The Holy Lord sat upright and looked at Bailey Wenyu with a majestic expression. How will you meet Master Ji and what Master Ji said to you? Please explain in detail. Yes. Bailey Wenyu began to tell. He entered the divine world for the first time and broke into an unknown place. The place was originally extremely eerie. Until he met Peak Master Ji and others, everything changed. In the middle of Bailey Wenyu's narration, Qin Zixuan specially moved a stool for him. The Holy Master glared at Qin Zixuan again. This brat was not even so kind to him. The Holy Master was only distracted for a moment, and soon his attention returned to Bailey Wenyu. When the Holy Master heard Bailey Wenyu preach, they said they would continue to destroy evil spirits, so I must go to the Val Holy Land to find them when I have time. The Holy Lord couldn't hold back at all and burst into tears. After Bailey Wenyu finished speaking, he stood quietly. The token given to you by Peak Master Ji is actually the Deputy Holy Master's order. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 595 Li Wenyu's Identity Arrangement. Bailey Wenyu suddenly felt that the token in his hand was like a hot potato. Deputy Holy Master. Qin Zixuan exclaimed, looking at the token with burning eyes, Master, with this order in hand, can I be the Deputy Holy Master of our Holy Land? The Holy Lord and Shen Shuli looked a little unnatural. It stands to reason that Peak Master Ji passed this order to Bailey Wenyu, and Bailey Wenyu should inherit the position of Deputy Holy Master and Peak Master of King Yun Peak. But Bailey Wenyu is not even an immortal now. How can I assume the position of Deputy Holy Master? Brother, can you sell me this token? I want to try what it's like to be the Deputy Holy Master. Qin Zixuan put his hand on Bailey Wenyu's shoulder and said earnestly. You brat, get over here and stand. The Holy Lord roared. Qin Zixuan curled his lips and walked towards the Holy Master, while looking at the token reluctantly. This is the closest I have ever been to the position of the Deputy Holy Master. Alas, I will probably never encounter it again in the future. Qin Zixuan stirred things up, and the Holy Master and Shen Shuli came to their senses. The Holy Lord regained his majestic expression. Young Master, you. Holy Lord, my surname is Bailey. I would like to use this token in exchange for Holy Lord to make an exception. Bailey Wenyu was very sensible and did not embarrass Holy Lord. What do you want, Mr. Bailey? There was a dark color in the Holy Master's eyes, and his eyes briefly met with Shen Shuli's. Bailey Wenyu said respectfully, let the girl in the side hall worship into the Holy Land of Vowels. The Holy Lord's expression became solemn. Shen Shuli looked deeply at Bailey Wenyu, his eyes darkened dark. He thanked Bailey Wenyu for bringing the news about Lao Ji, but asking the Holy Land to accept female disciples meant that the Holy Land would have to confront the alliance. Qin Zixuan winked at Bailey Wenyu. Brother, please change your request. They will definitely not agree to this request. Bailey Wenyu pretended not to see Qin Zixuan's hint and remained firm. Qin Zixuan was extremely anxious. Brother Bailey, you are obviously at a loss for making this request. The Deputy Holy Master's monthly salary is equivalent to 1,000 sacred stones. Give all these sacred stones to the girl, and then find a place for her to live. She'll do fine. Bailey Wenyu thought of the strict rules of the God Realm and did not agree with Qin Zixuan's proposal. Bailey Wenyu presented the token with both hands. Holy Lord, I have already made a request, and the token should be returned to the Holy Land. What he meant by these words was to tell Holy Master and Shen Shuli that he only made requests and whether they agreed or not was their business. The Holy Lord sighed and raised his hand to set up a barrier. Actually, it's not that I don't want to promise you, but that I can't promise you. There is a purge alliance in the God Realm. People in the alliance act without scruples and are not bound by any legal principles. They had a rule. If a woman from the God Realm wants to practice, she can only enter the Biluo sect. If other sects dare to accept female disciples, it is equivalent to going against the alliance. Once the Suppression Alliance takes action, they will fight to the death. If I really accept the woman from the side hall, I will put the entire Holy Land in danger. The Holy Lord finished the story with a helpless expression. Bailey Wenyu fell into silence. He knew that the divine world was feudal, but he didn't know that there was an alliance that specifically targeted women. But what third senior sister is best at is refining alchemy, so sending her to Biluo sect is absolutely unacceptable. Biluo Palace does not teach women any real skills. The first thing a woman entering Biluo Palace does not do is test her qualifications, nor does she teach how to practice. They must first be domesticated. They have to learn various etiquette restraints, the 3 obediences and 4 virtues, and the female commandments. They can only practice spells after the edges and corners of their bodies are smoothed, but most of the spells they practice are auxiliary. They are absolutely not allowed to practice offensive techniques. As for such respected existences as alchemists, women will not be allowed to come into contact with him at all. Bailey Wenyu raised his head to look at the Holy Lord and asked, why is the God Realm so harsh on women? It's not like some of the higher-ups are incompetent themselves and are afraid that another Feng King will appear and resist their rules, so they cut off this possibility from the source. Qin Zixuan complained. Zixuan shut up. Holy Master and Shen Shuli scolded at the same time. After Qin Zixuan said the name, Feng Qingwu, they already wanted to stop him, but if Qin Zixuan hadn't spoken too quickly, they didn't have time. When Qin Zixuan heard the scolding from the 2 men, he was not afraid, but even more dissatisfied. Am I wrong? It's just that the upper level people are incompetent and are afraid of being robbed of their position, so they suppress the lower level cultivators in various ways and try their best to squeeze their value, causing the world of gods to become a mess. The Holy Master and Shen Shui looked at Qin Zixuan in shock. He, a junior, could see so clearly. Bailey Wenyu's fox eyes were deep. Why was Fang Qingwu so similar to his junior sister's name? The Holy Lord rubbed his brows. Zixuan is right, Mr. Bailey. The higher-ups in the God realm are afraid of women becoming stronger, so they intend to control every woman's life trajectory, so that women can always cling to men. In fact, not only women, but all lower-level gods, if they don't have special opportunities, will probably be similar to women throughout their lives. Why don't we want to resist? It's a pity, after all. The Holy Lord's eyes were filled with helplessness. The Lord of Heaven was not here, and their power was too weak after all. Just by wiping out the strong men in the alliance, they can be crushed. What's more, those superiors are backed by powerful powers in the sky. How could they resist? They do not have the strength of the Lord of Heaven. Not to mention the desperate courage of the Lord of God. I understand. Please accept it from the Holy Lord. I will leave the Holy Land now. Bailey Wenyu raised the token and bowed deeply to the Holy Lord. Token. Master, I have a way to keep that girl. Qin Zixuan said. The three of them looked at Qin Zixuan at the same time. Qin Zixuan's eyes turned and said, how about this, I recognize that girl as my sister, and then let her stay in the Val Holy Land in the name of visiting me. The Holy Master immediately looked at Bailey Wenyu and said, I wonder what young Master Bailey wants. Thank you, Brother Qin. It's easy to talk about. Qin Zixuan waved his hand. After all, after collecting so many sacred stones, he must get something done. Master Bailey, can you make the decision for that girl and change her surname to Qin? Shen Shui asked slowly. Bailey Wenyu was stunned for a moment. Third senior sister's surname is Qin and her given name is Han Yan. Qin Zixuan's eyes lit up. Ha ha ha. What a coincidence. That's how it will be done. I will send a message to my father now to tell him about it to prevent the secret from being revealed. Qin Zixuan said, picked up the transmission talisman and walked aside. The Holy Master also breathed a sigh of relief. Then Mr. Bailey, please stay with us. I wonder in what capacity do you want to stay? I can be a handyman disciple. The Holy Lord was shocked and wanted Bailey Wenyu to give in. But Bailey Wen retreated too hard. The Holy Master was a little embarrassed. This is absolutely impossible. You have received the inheritance order from Master Ji, and you should inherit Master Ji's position. What's the point of letting you be a handyman disciple? I'm afraid that Master Ji will come in the middle of the night. The Holy Master said, giving Shen Shui a wink as hard as he could. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 596 Shafeng Lord. Shen Shui thought for a moment and said, Holy Lord, why not restart Qingyun Peak? Holy Lord, let this kid be the Peak Master. It's not impossible, but there is a competition between the Peak Master and the Peak Master every 1,000 years, and his strength will be beaten. Shen Shui also thought of this. There was still a few years left before the competition. No matter how hard Bailey Wenyu worked, he still couldn't be the opponent of those Peak Masters. The Holy Master frowned and had an even worse headache. It is necessary not only to give Bailey Wenyu a suitable position, but also to be the right Peak Master. The Holy Master thought about it again and again, and finally asked, Master Bailey, are you willing to inherit the last wish of Peak Master Ji and become the new Peak Master of Qingyun Peak? This junior has very little strength and shallow qualifications, so he is not qualified for the position of Peak Master. Bailey Wenyu just wanted to be content and not want to attract attention. If a person who is no more than 100 years old becomes the master of a peak, it will definitely cause an uproar. When everyone comes to investigate, they find that he only has the strength of an earth immortal, which will definitely cause another trouble. Xu Li, what do you want to do? The Holy Master would rather Bailey Wenyu be greedy at this moment. How about I accept him as my direct disciple? When Shen Shui said this, he was looking at Bailey Wenyu. Clap clap. Qin Zixuan applauded. This is a good idea, Master. You can let Master Shen be the master of Qingyun Peak and Brother Bailey be the young master. When Brother Bailey is capable, Master Shen will abdicate and let Brother Bailey be the master. Becoming the Peak Master will fulfill Master Ji's last wish. The Holy Lord and Shen Shui suddenly felt enlightened. The Holy Lord asked Bailey Wenyu for his opinion. Master Bailey, what do you think? Are you willing to become Xu Li as your teacher? Of course Bailey Wenyu would have no objection. He turned sideways and bowed to Shen Shui, saying, Master, please bow to me, my disciple. Shen Shui's eyes suddenly turned red, and he reached out to help Bailey Wenyu. Okay, from now on you will be the young master of Qingyun Peak. Remember, you must not bring discredit to Qingyun Peak. Disciples follow the instructions carefully. This is a gift from my master. I hope you will treat it well. Shen Shui handed a sword to Bailey Wenyu. The Holy Lord stood up when he saw the sword clearly. Endless Void Sword. Isn't this what was left behind when the Holy God fell? Xu Li, wouldn't it be inappropriate to give this? The Holy Master reminded. This sword was inherited from ancient times and has infinite power. It would be a waste to give it to a junior like Bailey Wenyu. Holy Lord, I didn't send him, it was the sword that chose him. Shen Shui explained. What he originally wanted to give Bailey Wenyu was not a sword, but a jade flute. Unexpectedly, when he took the jade flute from space, the Endless Void Sword jumped into his hand. The sword spirit wants to choose its master. How could he stop it? Is this true? The Holy Master seemed a little unconvinced. Really? After hearing this answer, the Holy Master sat back, looked at Qin Zixuan and said, What did your father say? My father was very happy when he heard what I said. He asked me to take her back to the Qin family. They gave her a reception banquet. In addition, considering the special nature of her appearance, my father said that he would announce to the public that he had a little daughter who was frail and sick. Has been kept in a boudoir. The Holy Lord smiled and said, Your father has always wanted a daughter, but unfortunately he gave birth to a lot of brats. Now he has just fulfilled his wish. If they were all outstanding boys like me, my father wouldn't be so troubled. Qin Zixuan touched his chin narcissistically. Just you. The Holy Master showed an expression of great disgust. Soon, the Holy Master thought of another question. That girl happens to be named Qin, so your father didn't ask more questions. No, I don't dare to mention my aunt's matter. Although Qin Zixuan said this, he still couldn't help but think of Qin Hanyan's appearance. Qin Hanyan looked like a little white flower at first glance and didn't like her aunt at all. Hey, your aunt was afraid of harming your Qin family, so she resolutely left the God realm and has been missing since then. The Holy Lord's eyes were full of admiration and regret. Admire her courage to follow the Lord of Heaven. I regret that I am not as good as a woman. After something happened to the Lord of Heaven, his first reaction was to cut ties with the Lord of Heaven to avoid being implicated. If he was given another chance, he would still make the same choice for the Holy Land of Vowels. Master, the world of gods is about to change. Jiang Chanyu of the Jiang family has returned from the lower world. It is said that he is a spiritual master and is more powerful than his great ancestor. Qin Zixuan said this through sound transmission. It's just that he changed the topic too quickly, and the Holy Master didn't react for a while. Master, we cannot allow the Jiang family and the Feng family to unite, otherwise we will never be able to turn around. Qin Zixuan rarely showed a solemn look when he transmitted the message. The Holy Master came back to his senses and sent a message. Even if Jiang Feng doesn't unite, do we still have a chance to succeed? Qin Zixuan shook his head. I have a hunch that the time has come for us to take the lead. How come you see? Qin Zixuan said mysteriously. Do you know where Brother Bailey came from? Where? Holy Lord asked curiously. He came from the forbidden area and was unscathed. I suspect that Qin Hanyan came from the holy area. Qin Zixuan said in a message. The Holy Master stared at Qin Zixuan. Why didn't you say such an important thing earlier? Is this important? Qin Zixuan only knew that the forbidden area was dangerous and didn't know anything else. The Holy Lord conveyed Qin Zixuan's words to Shen Shuli. Shen Shuli, who was talking to Bailey Wenyu about something, paused slightly when he heard the Holy Lord's words. There are restrictions left by the Holy Spirit at the entrance to the forbidden area. How could Bailey Wenyu enter the forbidden area? Wenyu, have you been to the forbidden area? Yeah, Bailey Wenyu said matter-of-factly. How did you get in? Master Ji Peak once showed me a way to the Vowel Holy Land. I followed his instructions, but I didn't expect to enter the forbidden area. Shen Shuli and the Holy Master looked at each other. Master Ji was a disciple of the Holy God. If he could get his guidance, Bailey Wenyu would really be able to enter the forbidden area. Have you encountered any strange things in the forbidden area? Asked the Holy Lord. I met a strange old man. He said a few words and then suddenly disappeared. Bailey Wenyu concealed the fact that the old man taught him the skills. Void Seal is just a name, but it's not that simple. Could it be the remnant soul of the Holy God? Shen Shuli murmured softly. Qin Zixuan walked to Bailey Wenyu and put his hand on his shoulder. Brother Bailey, you are really destined to our Vowel Holy Land. Even the Holy God favors you. The Holy Master's thoughts were interrupted by Qin Zixuan, and he glared at Qin Zixuan. The Holy Lord looked at Bailey Wenyu again. Bailey, did you bring that girl out of the forbidden area? Bailey Wenyu shook his head, nodded again, and remained silent. Brother Bailey, do you mean that her identity cannot be revealed? Qin Zixuan explained. Both the Holy Master and Shen Shuli believed that Bailey Wenyu was admitting in disguise that Qin Hanyan came out of the forbidden area. I'm sorry, I can't tell you the details. Bailey Wenyu lowered his head and said. He deliberately misled the Holy Lord and Shen Shuli. The third senior sister is a woman, so it is difficult for her to move in the divine world. He must arrange a mysterious identity for the third senior sister. As for what will happen if the Holy Master learns the truth in the future, it is not an issue that he needs to consider now. What he wants is to arrange a good identity for the third senior sister first. The Holy Master didn't know what he thought of, and looked at Shen Shuli with a serious expression. Shuli, I remember that there is a precedent for us and in our Holy Land, right? Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 597 Canonizing the Saint. The Holy Land of Taichu. Holy Lord Temple. The Holy Master looked at a gilded red post with a strange expression. The elders sitting below all looked solemn. Holy Lord, when this foul Holy Land sent us an invitation, it was definitely a weasel giving New Year's greetings to a chicken, and it was unkind. The fifth elder said. The Holy Lord raised his eyes. Do you know what is written in this post? The fifth elder said with determination. Every 1,000 years in the Holy Land of Yuan Yin, the Peak Masters have to fight against each other. Recently, the battle between their Peak Masters is about to begin. They must want to take this opportunity to reconcile with us. After all, our Taichu Holy Land has advanced again. A god. The Holy Master shook his head. It's such a small thing, I won't call you here. Holy Lord, please stop showing off. The fourth elder said. The Holy Lord raised his hand, and the invitation sticker flew into the hands of the Great Elder. The Great Elder seemed to accept the invitation. Halfway through reading it, the Great Elder's eyes widened. This, how dare they do this? The second elder who craned his neck heard this and took the invitation directly from the first elder's hand. As a result, after reading it, he said the same thing as the Great Elder. The third elder was originally sitting upright, but now seeing the surprise of the two people, he was also curious about the content of the invitation. But after the second elder read it, he just held the invitation in surprise and did not hand it to the third elder for a long time. The third elder looked tense, probably because he was used to being strict and couldn't do anything to win the post. Seeing this, the fourth elder directly raised his hand and sucked the post from the second elder's hand. The fifth elder came to the side of the fourth elder. After reading the post, both of them were shocked. The fifth elder asked, Holy Lord, has Holy Lord Yuan Yin lost his mind? The Holy Master rubbed his eyebrows with his hand. Did you read the signature on the post? The fourth elder handed the post to the third elder. The third elder read the post slowly, but when he was halfway through it, his hands seemed to shake. Seal of the Holy God. The third elder murmured. Posts from the Holy Land bear several kinds of marks. Among them, there are two that deserve the most attention. One is signed by the Holy Lord, which means this post is very important. The other is the seal of the Holy Spirit, which means that the things on the post are a foregone conclusion. After other holy places receive this post, the Holy Lord must go to celebrate. Of course, when other aristocratic families receive this post, they will also have to send family head level figures there. If you send a low-level god there, it means disrespecting the holy God of the Holy Land. Holy Master, why does the Holy Land of Vowels dare to blatantly accept female disciples? Aren't they afraid of retaliation from the King Suppression Alliance and the Biluo sect? The Great Elder asked in confusion. Great Elder, have you not finished reading? They not only accepted a female disciple, but also appointed this woman as a saint of the Holy Land, with the same rights as the Deputy Holy Master. The second elder reminded. The first elder glared at the second elder. Who is the reason why he didn't finish it? The second elder looked at the first elder and felt a little guilty. Wasn't he just curious and impatient, and couldn't hold it back for a moment? This matter is not that simple. Ning Dongsheng is not a reckless person. He dared to openly appoint a saint. He must have carefully considered it. It may be the identity of this woman that made him have to give in and appoint her as a saint. The third elder is wise. Analysis. Finally hearing some insightful words, Holy Lord Taichu cheered up and said, Third elder, what do you think the identity of that woman will be? I don't know. With the suppression of the Suppression Alliance, there will never be any stunning women in the family. As for other hidden families, they should not. The third elder hesitated to speak, hiding those families who were more or less related to Feng Qingwu. After Feng Qingwu disappeared, those families retreated bravely, retaining some of their strength. Although the current strength cannot compete with the alliance, it is enough to make the alliance unable to do anything to them. They shouldn't be stupid enough to take the initiative to provoke the alliance. The great elder said in a deep tone, saints have appeared in every holy land. If it were not for the deliberate suppression of the alliance, maybe saints would also appear in our holy land. The great elder's words made several people present change their faces at the same time. Some of the methods of the Suppression Alliance are simply outrageous. There was an eerie silence in the Holy Lord's palace. At this time, the great elder spoke again. Holy Lord, why don't we take this opportunity to explain the misunderstanding to Ning Dongsheng? The Holy Master shook his head. There is no way to explain it. Even if we explain it, we can't provide evidence. When the Vowel Holy Land came to invite him to open the secret entrance, they failed to explain it. If they tried to explain it now, it would only arouse Ning Dongsheng's anger. But if we don't explain it, our two holy places will continue to be at war with each other. Isn't that just what the alliance wants? The second elder disagreed. What the second elder said makes sense. The explanation is their business, and whether they listen or not is the Vowel Holy Land's business. The fourth elder agreed. He didn't want Taichu Holy Land to always be the scapegoat. Taichu Holy Land did not take action in order to save more people. People from the alliance have tampered with the entrance to the secret realm. Once a few gods take action, they will all be sucked into the secret realm and unable to get out. There are several holy places without the presence of the Holy Spirit. If the god is lost again, it will be easy for the alliance to destroy the Holy Land. Holy Lord, what the fourth elder said is so right. We must speak up. If we delay it any longer, it will not be good for either Holy Land. I heard that the Jiang family has brought back a particularly remarkable junior from the small world. We have to be on guard. The fifth elder said. The Holy Master felt even more troubled when he heard everyone's words. Other matters will be discussed later. You go down first and prepare a generous gift. Then you and I will go to the Vowel Holy Land. Several elders looked happy. The Holy Lord is wise. The Holy Lord seemed upset, and he actually had a headache at this moment. Hey. After all, the strength is still insufficient. That's why we have these troubles. I will be in seclusion for the next 2 years. Come and call me when the saintess canonization ceremony begins. The Holy Master said and wanted to wave away several elders. The third elder said after careful consideration, Holy Master, do you need to inform the Holy Son about this matter? For a moment, the atmosphere in the Holy Lord's hall was a little awkward. The Holy Son of the Holy Land of Taichu was canonized by them under pressure from the Alliance. The Son is not just the Son. He is also the young leader of the Alliance and the young leader of the Feng family. In a sense, the Son is more powerful than the Lord. If you want to inform me, just inform me. If you don't want to inform me, forget it. The Holy Master's voice was filled with displeasure. Of course, this displeasure is not directed at the elders. If it weren't for the overall stability of Taichu Holy Land, he would never allow the Feng family to invade Taichu Holy Land. Holy Lord, this is a critical moment. We'd better not confront the Feng family. The great elder reluctantly advised. The fifth elder took the opportunity to return the invitation to the Holy Master. The Holy Master opened the post again and read the content above. The Holy Lord fell into deep thought. What is so special about this saint in the Vowel Holy Land? Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 598 Cynicism. Why did Ning Dongsheng dare to challenge the rules of the alliance for her? Based on his understanding of Ning Dongsheng. Ning Dongsheng is a person who takes the overall situation into consideration and is a little timid. Not long ago, the Suppression Alliance announced that no woman in the God realm, no matter how outstanding her birth, strength, qualifications, etc., could have real power. By canonizing a saint under such circumstances, is Ning Dongsheng declaring war on the alliance? Why would Ning Dongsheng dare to declare war on the alliance? Could it be that the Lord of God has returned? The Holy Master couldn't help but get excited when he thought of this, but several elders were still present, so he couldn't express himself too much. Seeing that the Holy Lord was in a better mood, several elders said, Holy Lord, in fact, in addition to the matter of the Vowel Holy Land, we should also consider the appearance of the four ancient divine beasts in the immortal world. At the same time. Fang Family Meeting Hall. Everyone also has a book of gilded red invitation stickers in their hands. What do you think about the Val Holy Land's plan to canonize a saint? The head of the Fang family had a pair of narrow, bottomless eyes. Old Fengge touched his beard but said nothing. The eldest elder among the 10 elders said, I feel that it is a good time for Ning Dongxing to canonize the saint at this time. There are 4 ancient beasts in the fairy world. The Alliance and we will give priority to the ancient beasts. Even if the Alliance wants to attack them, it will not send out its core strength. After all, the loss of people on this matter is not worth the loss. After the great elder analyzed it, everyone else nodded in agreement. I think that even if we don't have the energy to deal with the Val Holy Land, we can't let them canonize the saint. Otherwise, where will the authority of the Alliance be in the future? The 6th elder's eyes were full of evil birds of prey. Basically everyone in the Fang family works in the Alliance. In a sense, the Fang family and the Alliance are one. Challenging the Alliance's authority would be a slap in the Fang family's face. When the head of the Fang family heard what the 6th elder said, his eyes were calm. What do you think, Mr. Fengge? Mr. Fengge touched his beard and slowly said, since the death of the holy god of Yuanyan Holy Land, there have only been 2 gods in their holy land. One of them is still dead in the secret realm. Now there is only one god standing in charge, and there is not much information left. How about we take advantage of this incident and take over the Val Holy Land? The great elder was full of disapproval. I don't think it's appropriate. Even if there is only one god in the holy land of Vals, they must still have the innate treasure left by the holy god in their hands. If we do it rashly, we will lose our strength. Hearing the great elder's rebuttal, old Fengge's face darkened. Even if they have innate treasures, we only need to add one god at most. Did Mr. Fengge forget that Master Jiang Jian is back? If we send one more god to deal with the holy land of Yuanyan, our strength will be weakened by 1 point, and when the time comes to fight for the ancient divine beasts, our chances of winning will be reduced by 1 point. The 5th elder said with a strange air. The great elder and the 5 elders are obviously in the same camp. The 2nd elder said calmly, the Val Holy Land must be dealt with, but we don't necessarily have to use our own strength to deal with it. What better way does the 2nd elder have? Family Master Feng said at the right moment. I remember that the young master is the holy son of the holy land of Taichu, and the holy land of Taichu and the holy land of Vowels have always been incompatible with each other. Why not let holy land of Taichu deal with holy land of Vowels? Master, the 2nd elder's proposal is really wonderful. If we handle it this way, there will suddenly be 2 less forces competing with us for the ancient beast. The 7th elder said with a smile. Master, I also agree with the 2nd elder's proposal. The 8th elder said coldly. Feng Jun sat under the head of the Feng family, quietly listening to everyone's discussion, smiling so captivatingly. The 2nd elder, 7th elder and 8th elder are all my father's people. Their proposal was just to distract him so that he would not pay attention to the affairs of the ancient beasts. The appearance of the 4 ancient beasts will not only plunge everyone in the fairy world into dire straits. It will also change the pattern of the divine world. Feng Jun's was extremely curious. How would his nominal father distribute the 4 ancient beasts? Jun's, what are you going to do about this matter? The head of the Feng family looked at Feng Jun's with majesty in his eyes. The head of the Feng family never thought of asking Feng Jun's for his opinion. He directly asked Feng Jun's to find a way to use the Taichu Holy Land to deal with the Val Holy Land. Why does the head of the family think that Taichu Holy Land will listen to me? Feng Jun's asked meaningfully. The head of the Feng family said matter-of-factly, Jun's, your identity dictates that the Holy Lord Taichu will listen to your opinions. The 2nd elder's old voice sounded, the head of the family is right. As the young master of the Feng family and the young leader of the alliance, you will inherit a big responsibility in the future. How come you can't even handle this little thing? The 2nd elder said it's easy, why don't I give up my position to you? I want to see how you can persuade Holy Master Taichu to kill Holy Master Yuanyan. Feng Jun's didn't give the 2nd elder any face. Young master, we only asked you to use Taichu Holy Land to take over Yuanyan Holy Land, and we didn't ask you to kill Yuanyan Holy Land. Why did you misinterpret the 2nd elder's meaning? The 8th elder said dissatisfied. Feng Jun's chuckled and asked sarcastically, they just canonized a saint, why do you have such a big reaction? Are you people still afraid of a saint? Suddenly, the faces of everyone present turned dark. The 2nd elder said coldly, young master, it's not that we are afraid of a saint. It's just that the behavior of the Val Holy Land is a slap in the face of the alliance. We must punish them, otherwise. Feng Jun's directly interrupted the 2nd elder, have you forgotten that we are gathered here today to discuss the matter of ancient mythical beasts? It is really ridiculous that a little saint makes you digress. Feng Jun's, Family Master Feng's face darkened, it is not a trivial matter if it concerns the alliance. I ask you to handle this matter well as the young alliance leader. He won't give women any chance to rise. No accidents are allowed. All possibilities must be nipped in the cradle. Master, why are you so nervous about a saint? Is it because you are afraid of another Feng Qingwu? So you always treat all women maliciously? As soon as Feng Jun said these words, everyone on the field was silent. Just hearing the 3 words, Feng Qingwu, everyone felt an inexplicable feeling of suffocation. The head of the Feng family stared at Feng Jun's, and something surged in his palms. Feng Jun's, do you know what you are talking about? Of course I know that after so many years, the head of the family still doesn't allow anyone to mention her name. Does it mean that you haven't gotten out of what she gave you? Boom. The head of the Feng family slapped his palm out and landed on Feng Jun's. Feng Jun's flew directly out of the meeting hall and out the door. Master, are you all right? The anxious voice of the boy came from outside the door. Puff. Feng Jun spit out a mouthful of blood, raised his head with a smile, and met the angry gaze of the Feng family master. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 599 Feng Jun's intention. Feng Jun's, I can make you the young master, or I can destroy you. Master Feng's eyes were as cold as a poisonous snake. Feng Jun's laughed disdainfully. Head of the family, you can give it a try. If you abolish me, will you still be able to hold your position as the head of the family? Everyone in the meeting hall had different expressions. Mr. Feng's cloudy eyes showed excitement. He most hopes that Feng Qingqiong and Feng Jun's will fall out, so that he can take advantage of the chaos to seize the Feng family. The great elder, the fourth elder, the fifth elder and the ninth elder sat calmly and calmly. They are all Feng Jun's people, so they naturally support all of Feng Jun's decisions. The second elder, seventh elder and eighth elder looked embarrassed. They knew very well that Feng Jun's was not afraid of leaving the Feng family. After all, Feng Jun's maternal heritage gave him the confidence to act arrogantly. If they really fall out, it may be the head of the family who suffers. They looked at each other, and the second elder took the initiative to speak and let Feng Qingqiong step down. Master, you and the young master are father and son, why did this happen? The young master is young and energetic, so it is inevitable that he will speak impulsively. Master, please don't be angry, the young master must be unintentional. Yes, the second elder is right. Head of the family, we are here today mainly to discuss the matter of the ancient beasts of the immortal world. As for the matter of the Val Holy Land, we can just send someone to deal with it. The seventh elder said with a smile. The eighth elder caught the seventh elder's look and said, Master, let bygones be bygones. Let's sit down and discuss the candidates to go to the immortal realm first. We can't let other forces take the lead. The three people's words made Feng Qingqiong's expression soften a lot. Feng Qingqiong tossed her sleeves, glanced at Feng Jun's coldly, turned around and sat back in the main seat. Feng Jun's, this is the end of it, you can take care of yourself. Really? Feng Jun's lips curled up, making his face even more handsome. Young master, the head of the family has been generous enough not to argue with you. Can you please sit back quickly? The third elder said with a stern expression. Feng Jun's wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and walked into the meeting hall again. Feng Jun's did not sit back immediately. Instead, he stood in the middle of the meeting hall, looked at Feng Qingqiong, and said slowly, I want the head of the family to answer a question. The head of the house doesn't allow me to mention Feng Qingwu's name. Does that mean you haven't overcome her yet? The fear that left you. When Feng Qingqiong heard this, she grasped the armrest tightly with her hands, and veins popped out on the back of her hands. Everyone saw Feng Qingqiong's anger. But this time Feng Qingqiong did not attack Feng Jun's. Everyone really didn't understand why Feng Jun's had to mention Feng Qingwu. The entire meeting hall was quiet for a quarter of an hour. Feng Qingqiong's voice sounded with extreme coldness. Feng Jun's, what do you want to do by mentioning her again and again? Or what does the force behind Feng Jun's want to do? Nothing, just curious, Feng Jun's said calmly. Feng Qingqiong's brows were filled with coldness as she looked down at the crimson-clad young master standing in the middle of the meeting hall. He was noble and handsome, and only the eyebrows on his face were similar to him. The remaining 9 points were exactly the same as the dead woman. It was precisely because that woman was on Feng Qingwu's side that he was cornered by Feng Qingwu. If it weren't for the help of the powerful people in the sky and the evil dragon clan, he would never have been able to defeat Feng Qingwu. Later, under the dragnet of various forces, he almost killed Feng Qingwu with his own hands. But he never thought that in such a desperate situation, Feng Qingwu would have a backup plan. In the last battle, he thought Feng Qingwu would definitely die and let down his guard, but he gave her a chance to escape. From then on, Feng Qingwu disappeared from the sight of Zhu Qiang, leaving no trace at all. Over the years, they have never stopped looking for Feng Qingwu. To this end, they also formed an alliance to eliminate the people left behind by Feng Qingwu, while also searching for traces of Feng Qingwu in various small worlds. When Feng Qingwu disappeared, Feng Jun's had just been born. In order to save Feng Jun's, that woman was willing to die under his sword. Even though Feng Jun's had never participated in the affairs between him and Feng Qingwu, he could not like his son after all. Every time he saw Feng Jun's face, he would think of that woman. If the forces behind Feng Jun's hadn't put pressure on him, he would never have let Feng Jun's become the young master of the Feng family. Feng Jun's, I don't care what you want to do, but you have to remember that you are a bloodline of the Feng family. You and the Feng family will both prosper and suffer, Feng Qingqiong warned. When Feng Jun's heard this, he looked sarcastic. I remember that Feng Qingwu also has the blood of the Feng family flowing through her body, right? In fact, he should be called Aunt Feng Qingwu. But the Feng family removed her. He has no right to call her aunt now. Young master, what do you want to do by stimulating the family master over and over again? The second elder asked with a majestic look. Feng Jun's had never been so aggressive in the past. The second elder's question also indirectly gave Feng Qingqiong a step forward. Feng Jun's words were too tricky to answer. Jun's, sit back. As the young master of the Feng family, you challenge your father's authority at every turn. It will not do you any good. The 10th elder's voice was calm, but everyone looked at him. The presence of the 10 elders is extremely low on weekdays. Everyone will subconsciously ignore him. But he is the person with the most say in the Feng family. The 10 elders do not side with anyone, only the Feng family. I heard that the 10th elder had something left by the ancient ancestor of the Feng family, but no one knew what it was. I only know that even Feng Qingqiong is afraid of that thing. Feng Jun's glanced at the 10th elder, sat back and stopped talking. Seeing this, the 10th elder spoke again. Master, don't be anxious about the matters of the Val Holy Land. They will only canonize the saint in 2 years. In 2 years, they can't make any trouble, so just ignore them. 2 years later, you can personally attend the saint's canonization ceremony and find any excuse to deal with the saint. It will be easy. This matter is not worth worrying about, Master or you. Right now, the most important thing our Feng family needs to consider is the 4 ancient beasts that have appeared in the fairy world. The strength of the 4 ancient beasts is unknown. Why do they appear in the fairy world? We have no way of knowing. However, judging from the visions transmitted back, the appearance of ancient divine beasts must be because someone in the immortal world has attained enlightenment. We don't know the strength of this person, so we must treat him with caution. After we go to the fairy world, our strength will also be suppressed. In addition, Su Xingheng changed the rules before. If we attack people in the fairy world, we will be bound by cause and effect, and our strength will be greatly reduced. In addition, the group of immortal ancestors in the immortal world are not fuel-efficient lamps. We must bring enough people with us to the immortal world this time, and we must avoid directly confronting the heavenly laws of the immortal world. After the 10 elders finished their analysis, all the elders nodded in agreement. There was a hint of displeasure in Feng Qingqiong's eyes. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 600 The enemy meets. When the 10th elder was speaking, Feng Jun's was in front of him. Does this mean that the 10th elder believes that Feng Jun's is more suitable for the position of head of the family? Feng Qingqiong calmed down her expression and did not show any displeasure. The analysis of the 10 elders is very good, so who do you think is appropriate to send to the immortal world? Feng Qingqiong met the gaze of the 10 elders. The candidate still needs to be decided by the head of the family. The 10th elder said, neither humble nor overbearing. Feng Qingqiong was slightly satisfied when he heard this, and his eyes turned to Old Fenge. Old Fenge, I remember that you went to the fairy world not long ago and brought back a woman. Who do you think you should send? Is the fairy world suitable? When did Mr. Fenge go to the immortal world? Why didn't he report it to the clan? The 7th elder asked in great surprise. Mr. Feng Jie was suddenly shocked. The matter of his going to the immortal world was obviously handled very secretly. How did Feng Qingqiong know about it? However, judging from Feng Qingqiong's appearance, he probably didn't know about Hunyuan Longshan. Elder Fenge pretended to be calm and stroked his beard. I went to the fairy world on a temporary basis, and it's not a big deal, so I didn't bother the 7th elder to record it. Mr. Fenge didn't go to the fairy world specifically for a woman, right? The 8th elder asked half jokingly, half temperingly. Old 8th, what are you talking nonsense? Mr. Fenge is so old, even if he has the intention, he is powerless. The 7th elder seemed to be scolding the 8th elder, but in fact he was secretly mocking Mr. Fenge. Old Fenge didn't look very good, but he was afraid of exposing the existence of Hunyuan dragon ginseng, so he could only grit his teeth and endure it. Mr. Feng Jie stood up and saluted Feng Qingqiong and said, Master, I think the most difficult ones to deal with in the immortal world are the Qilin and the 5-clawed golden dragon. The remaining ones are the Wen Wanjin of the Wen family, and the others are nothing to be afraid of. Did the Qilin and the 5-clawed golden dragon come from the sky? The 3rd elder looked slightly excited. Yes, I have met them face to face. Their strength is far superior to mine, so I must treat them with caution. Mr. Fenge finished speaking and sat back. Feng Qingqiong stared at Mr. Fenge deeply. If Fenge Lao went to the fairy world just for a woman, why did he meet Qilin and the 5-clawed golden dragon? Master, the Qilin and the 5-clawed golden dragon are both beasts with owners. If their owners happen to be related to the 4 ancient divine beasts, we must be extremely careful. Why don't we ask the Holy Spirit to come out and go to the fairy world with us? The 6th elder said. The 2nd elder said disapprovingly, the Holy Spirit is in retreat and is reaching his peak state. I'm afraid it would be inappropriate for us to interrupt him at this time. The Holy Spirit is the capital of the Feng family to stand proudly in the divine world. No matter what, it is not as important as the advancement of the Holy Spirit. The 8th elder agreed, our cultivation in the immortal world will be restricted, and the cultivation of Qilin and 5-clawed golden dragon will also be restricted. Let's just bring a few more gods to the immortal world. It's not worth bothering the holy god. What do you think, 10th elder? Feng Qingqiong felt that a group of people was worse than one 10th elder. They always get off topic while discussing. The 10th elder thought for a moment and said, Master, you should have received the news about the return of spiritual master Jiang Jian. Although the Feng family and the Jiang family share the same hatred within the alliance, after leaving the alliance, the 2 families will have conflicts of interest. The Jiang family's overall strength is indeed not as good as the Feng family's, but we have to be afraid of the spiritual master's ability. If we call the Holy Spirit to go to the fairy world, the Feng family will have no one to guard it. If the Jiang family takes this opportunity to attack the Feng family, it will be difficult for those left behind to deal with the power of Jiang Jian's spiritual master. Similarly, people who go to the fairy world will also encounter the Jiang family. If spiritual master Jiang Jian goes to the immortal world, it will be a difficult matter for us. However, fortunately, 4 ancient beasts appeared at once. It is impossible for the Jiang family to eat 4 ancient beasts at once. We only need to get 1 or 2. After the 10 elders analyzed it, Feng Qingqiong suddenly had the answer in her heart. Feng Qingqiong was just about to ask someone to arrange for someone to go to the fairy world. Feng Jun's asked abruptly, have you not considered the situation where the ancient divine beast has recognized its master? The strength of the ancient divine beast that recognizes its master is at least comparable to that of the holy god. Are you sure you can win it? Everyone's lips twitched. What do they need to consider about those trash in the fairy world? Once you recognize the owner, the contract will be terminated. Feng Jun's looked around, and sure enough everyone had indifferent expressions. Young master, the ancient divine beasts will not get good resources if they stay in the fairy world. We bring them back to the divine world to make them stronger. The 3rd elder explained. Well, the 3rd elder has found an excellent excuse for his shamelessness. Feng Jun said sarcastically. 3rd elder. The 3rd elder touched his nose and didn't want to speak. Feng Qingqiong coughed and said, this time we are going to the immortal realm. We have tentatively decided to take 50 people. Mr. Fenge and the 10th elders, please arrange suitable people. We will set off to the immortal realm in 3 days. After Feng Qingqiong finished speaking, she walked out without looking back. Mr. Fenge, 10th Elder, I am also going to the immortal realm. In addition, I have to bring 10 followers with me. As for my strength, you can rest assured that I will not be held back. You can arrange the remaining places as you like. Hearing Feng Jun's words, Feng Qingqiang almost couldn't help but turn around and slap Feng Jun's. But he seemed to have thought of something and finally held back. Elder Feng Ji glanced at Feng Qingqiang's hurriedly leaving figure. He thought of the beauty in his yard and stood up. 10th Elder, I still have some things to deal with. I'll thank you first. Young master, who are the people you want to bring? The 10th Elder asked calmly. Xiaobao, Xiaobei, Xiaoxiao, Xiaoke. Feng Jun said 10 names in one breath, all beginning with the character, Xiao. I need to meet these people before making a decision. The 10th Elder did not reject Feng Jun's directly. 10th Elder, follow me. Looking at the two people's leaving figures, the Great Elder murmured, they really just left like this. A teleportation array somewhere in the God realm. Master, why can't you think of going to the immortal world? What's wrong with me going to the fairy world? Other holy places have gone, why can't we go? But at least a few strong men are left to guard the other holy places. You have brought out all the ones that can be defeated in the Val Holy Land. Qin Zixuan complained. You brat, you talk too much. Just don't go. If you do, it will only hinder you. I will distract you to protect you. Ning Dongsheng glared at Qin Zixuan several times. Hey. If not, conditions do not allow. He was determined to accept a female apprentice. Master, there are only 4 ancient beasts. If we go there, we can only split one leg, and we may have to catch a lot of people. Who told you that I'm going to rob ancient? What happened to rob ancient mythical beasts? It's not like we don't have the strength. I not only want one leg, I also want a whole mythical beast. Ning Dongsheng changed the topic too quickly, making Qin Zixuan realize that something was wrong. Qin Zixuan looked in the direction of Ning Dongsheng and saw a group of people walking in the same direction as them. Obviously they were all heading towards the teleportation array. Xu Li, don't let the rest of the people wait for the teleportation array later. Ning Dongsheng stared at the person opposite him hatefully. The teleportation array here can only be activated once in 100 years. Their Val Holy Land will definitely not let people from Taichu Holy Land come up. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 601 Misunderstanding resolved. Holy Lord, what should I do? The second elder asked looking at Holy Lord Taichu. Going to the Holy Land of Taichu to the immortal realm is purely to join in the fun. There was no hope of getting the divine beast. Therefore, only 4 people from Taichu Holy Land rushed to the fairy world this time. But there were 20 people at the Val Holy Land opposite. If we really want to take action, the one who will suffer will definitely be Taichu Holy Land. Holy Master Taichu smiled with wrinkles on his face, and walked up to Ning Dongsheng without any scruples. Dongsheng, why don't we 2 holy places unite? This way we can have someone to take care of us when we go to the immortal world. The 3 elders of Taichu. Is the Holy Lord crazy? Everyone in the Val Holy Land. Are there any private transactions between the Holy Lord and Taichu that they don't know about? Obviously, except for the Holy Lord Taichu, everyone else was confused. Even Ning Dongsheng himself was confused and said coldly, Mu Ju, what tricks do you want to play? Mu Ju winked at Ning Dongsheng and said through a message, Dongsheng, I have guessed it. Don't worry, I will definitely keep her coming back a secret. Crazy, Ning Dongsheng said to the 3 dazed elders behind him, if you don't take your holy master away quickly, if you come to me again, I won't be polite. The 3 elders hurriedly went to Lamu Ju, Holy Master, please wake up. You haven't explained to others what happened at the entrance to the secret realm. It's easy to get beaten if you get involved like this. Mu Ju, however, threw away the 3 elders and rushed over to hug Ning Dongsheng. Ning Dongsheng was stiff, as if he was still thinking about the entrance to the secret realm. The others even forgot to open the wooden technique. Mu Ju hugged Ning Dongsheng and began to cry loudly. While crying, he said, Dongsheng, you and I have been friends for tens of thousands of years, why don't you understand me? The Vals and Taichu are both prosperous and destructive. How could I just watch people from the Val Holy Land die? The reason why I stayed away from others back then was entirely because there was a trap set by the Alliance at the entrance to the secret realm. As long as we opened the secret realm, none of the gods in our Holy Land would be able to come back. The more Mu Ju talked, the more he cried. This development was unexpected by everyone. Qin Zixuan touched his chin and caught a glimpse of Bailey Wenyu's confused look. He smiled and said, the old man Mu Ju had a very good relationship with his master in the past. He used to love hugging his master and crying when something happened. Later, the 2 holy places turned against each other. I haven't seen this scene in tens of thousands of years. Bailey Wenyu looked at Mu Ju who was crying and out of breath. He glanced at Ning Dongsheng who didn't know what to do, and looked envious. Mu Ju could cry in front of Ning Dongsheng regardless of his image, so he must have truly regarded Ning Dongsheng as a friend. When the 3 elders of Taichu Holy Land saw this scene, they all rubbed their foreheads. They didn't know why the Holy Lord became like this. Elder Shen, how credible is the explanation of Holy Lord Taichu? The great elder of Yuanyan Holy Land said to Shen Shuli. When the second elder of Taichu saw that everyone in the Val Holy Land looked suspicious, and saw that Mu Ju and Ning Dongsheng were too close, they were worried that Ning Dongsheng would suddenly strike the unprepared Mu Ju. So he said anxiously, what our Holy Lord said is true. Since it's true, why didn't you tell us clearly back then? Shen Shuli didn't look very good. Even if we explained back then, would you listen? In addition, given the importance you attach to Master Ji, you will definitely confront the Alliance. The Alliance was planning to attack your Val Holy Land at that time. If you went there, wouldn't you be throwing yourself into a trap? Quote. The third elder of Taichu said. Why did the Alliance attack Yuanyan Holy? This was asked by the great elder Yuanyan. It's not because the Alliance suspects that you are involved with that person. The Alliance would rather kill 1,000 people by mistake than let one go. If you really confront them, the consequences can be imagined. Taichu's fifth elder said. He said with a serious face. The faces of the people in the Vowel group were ugly. The Vowel Holy Land supported Feng Qingwu several times back then. Fortunately, the Holy Master cleared the relationship with Feng Qingwu in time and saved everyone in the Vowel Holy Land. They thought things would just go away like this. Actually, Master Ji Feng's entry into that secret realm was all designed by the Alliance. The second elder of Taichu decided to tell everything. Shen Shuli's face suddenly turned cold. What evidence do you have? The evidence is so easy to find. The Alliance is dominated by the Feng family and the Jiang family. Both families have holy gods. They can send out any holy god to destroy evil spirits. Why do evil spirits have the opportunity to escape into the secret realm? The fifth elder of Taichu said with majestic eyes. Elder Yuanyin seemed to be thinking about something. The appearance of that secret realm is also strange. The leader of Yuanyin's sword peak clenched his fists. I remembered one thing. When the evil spirit appeared, the Alliance did not immediately eliminate the evil spirit. Instead, they took this opportunity to arrest many people. All the conversations between several people entered Ning Dongsheng's ears. Guilt flashed across Ning Dongsheng's eyes. He owed Master Ji his life. The person the Alliance really wants to kill is definitely him. Ning Dongsheng pushed Niu Ju away seriously and said through a message, why did you just say that she was coming back? Niu Ju wiped the tears from the corners of his eyes and said doubtfully, didn't you just hint to me that she is coming back when you canonized the saint? Ning Dongsheng. That woman has something to do with the Forbidden Land, and she has something left by the Holy Spirit in her hand, so I canonized her as a saint. Niu Ju's face suddenly fell. Why didn't you make it clear in the invitation? Ning Dongsheng glanced at Niu Ju. Why should I explain to you? Didn't you also explain to me such an important thing about the entrance to the secret realm back then? Niu Ju knew he was in the wrong and fell into silence. At that time, the people of the Suppression Alliance were keeping a close eye on the Holy Land of Taichu. Although he could find a way to secretly send news to Ning Dongsheng, he was worried about implicating the innocent disciples of Taichu Holy Land. Holy Lord, someone is coming over. Let's go to the fairy world and talk later. Shen Shuli interrupted the two of them. When other people heard this, they all looked wary. Niu Ju's consciousness spread. Is there no one there? Tens of thousands of miles away, there is a group of people rushing here. They should be people from other holy places. Shen Shuli said seriously. Brother Bailey, let's go up quickly. Qin Zixuan immediately pulled Bailey Wenyu onto the teleportation array. Tens of thousands of miles sounds far away, but to the gods, it is no more than the time it takes to burn an incense stick. Others in the Vowel Holy Land also quickly walked onto the teleportation array. Ning Dongsheng dragged Niu Ju, who was still confused, and teleported to the teleportation array. Seeing this, the three Taichu elders immediately followed. I'll activate the teleportation array with you, Niu Ju said, raising his hand and about to cast the spell. Ning Dongsheng raised his chin slightly. No need, Xu Li can activate the teleportation array by himself. At least 3 gods are needed to activate the teleportation array. You need Elder Shen to come alone. Niu Ju swept across the people in the Vowel Holy Land. Only the Great Elder of Yuan Yin and the Master of Yujin Peak are gods. Several others are close to the cultivation level of the God Lord, but after all, they are a little worse than the God Lord. Uncle Taichu, Uncle Shen has already advanced to the half step of the Holy God. Qin Zixuan said proudly. What? The 3 Taichu elders looked at Shen Shuli in shock. 10,000 years ago, Shen Shuli only had the cultivation of the Lord God, right? Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 602 God-Eating Array. Holy Lord, the teleportation array has been tampered with, and more sacred stones are needed to activate it. Shen Shuli's serious voice sounded. How much do you need? 100 million, Shen Shuli said, and then explored the group of people in the distance. In less than a quarter of an hour, the other party will rush over. There were obviously more people there than they were, so they were the ones who suffered. 100 million, Ning Dongsheng thought he heard wrongly. The accumulation of 10,000 years in the Holy Land is less than million. Niu Ju stretched out his hand to try to activate the formation, and his face suddenly turned cold. Someone added another formation to the teleportation array. If we don't use million divine stones to activate it, the formation will drain out our divine power and we will enter the fairy world. Quote. Niu Ju didn't finish what he said, but everyone understood it. Someone must want to stop us from going to the fairy world. Let's try another formation, Elder Yuan Yin suggested. No need to change, other teleportation arrays are all like this, Qin Zixuan said while holding the transmission note. When he heard Shen Shuli said that he needed million divine stones, he contacted the Qin family urgently. The Qin family is temporarily unable to gather 100 million divine stones. However, there was news over there that in addition to the Feng family and the Jiang family, many other middle-class families were borrowing sacred stones from everywhere. Obviously all the teleportation arrays in the God realm have been manipulated. Those who manipulated the strategy were probably determined that they would not be able to collect million in a short time. When they collect million and go to the fairy world, not to mention the ancient beast's legs, they probably won't even have a hair on them. Moreover, several powerful formation masters in the God realm have been invited away by the Feng family and Jiang family. They wanted to find an array master to change the teleportation array, but it couldn't be done in a short time. This move by the Feng family and the Jiang family is really a big deal. No wonder the Lord of Heaven fell into their hands. With this despicable method, the upright Lord of Heaven has already lost half a point. The Master of Yujin Peak said through gritted teeth. Holy Lord, why don't we retreat first? There is a half-step holy god among the people coming. I am still his opponent, Shen Shuli said coldly. Damn it, the Holy Spirit has been dispatched even half a step away. Dongsheng, let's run, Mu Ju exclaimed. The three Taichu elders covered their faces. The Holy Lord always said that Ning Dongsheng was a coward, and he himself was no better. Birds of a feather flock together. What a wise saying. Ning Dongsheng asked seriously, how long will it take for them to come here? Half a quarter of an hour. How many sacred stones do you have in your hands? Ning Dongsheng asked. 30,000. 25,000. 40,000. Ellipsis. All the elders and peak masters combined only have sacred stones. Mu Ju whispered, 1,000. Yuan. Where is your Taichu Holy Land money? Ning Dongsheng looked in disbelief. I like collecting, and I spent all of it a while ago. Mu Ju seemed a little embarrassed. Ning Dongsheng rubbed his eyebrows. All the sacred stones together amounted to less than a fraction. Master, I will contribute Yuan. Qin Zixuan decided to contribute all the sacred stones given to him by Bailey Wenyu. Immediately, all the elders and peak masters looked at Qin Zixuan with burning eyes. A young master from a low-ranking family is so rich. Is it any wonder that everyone wants to be born into a noble family? Retreat, go back and gather the spread stones. After Ning Dongsheng spoke, everyone quickly teleported away. Shen Shuli and Bailey Wenyu were much ahead of the others, and the two of them stopped in one place first, waiting for the others. Bailey Wenyu looked around, considered it, and said, Master, I have 1 billion divine stones. Bailey Wenyu raised his hand and handed Shen Shuli a storage ring. Shen Shuli did not pick up the storage ring. Wenyu, do you know what million sacred stones are? A sect that has accumulated tens of thousands of years may not be able to obtain million sacred stones. Upon hearing this, Bailey Wen's beautiful fox eyes flashed with surprise. Shen Shuli's expression became extremely serious. Wenyu, these million sacred stones may cause death for you, do you know? Bailey Wenyu nodded slightly. On the teleportation array, it was out of this consideration that he did not take out the divine stone in front of others. Put the sacred stone away. We will find a way. Don't expose your wealth. Remember, Shen Shuli warned coldly. Bailey Wenyu held the storage ring in his hand and was deeply touched. Master, can you find an unmanned teleportation array? Do you know formations? I have learned some, Bailey Wenyu said honestly. He was not proficient in formations, but he came from Lingyun sect after all. He had watched Liu Kanglan play with formations before and learned a lot from them. Shen Shuli's eyes were deep and dark. Follow me. As soon as the words fell, Bailey Wenyu's eyes flashed with white light, and they appeared in front of a teleportation array. This teleportation array is much more broken than the previous one. No one will come here, you can try it with peace of mind. Shen Shuli waved his sleeves, and the entire teleportation array took on a new look, with another layer of enchantment surrounding it. Bailey Wenyu stepped forward and found that this teleportation array had also been tampered with. Bailey Wenyu squatted next to the teleportation array, carefully recalling what Liu Kanglan said, that arrays should be followed by arrays, and there must be one master and one pair of array eyes. Once you find the main formation eye, you can control the two formations, and you can also change and merge the two formations. Bailey Wenyu took out a formation disc and used the formation disc to help him quickly find the formation eye. Bailey Wenyu stared at the two formations for a long time, always feeling that something was wrong. The formation is mostly formed by the power of the stars. The main formation eye generally has at least twice as much star power as the secondary formation eye. The star power of the two formation eyes in front of them is the same. This means that they are all secondary formation eyes. So there must be another main formation eye. Bailey Wenyu changed to a more advanced formation disc, observed carefully, and finally found the hidden main formation eye. But when he saw the main formation clearly, his expression suddenly became cold. Who would have thought that the main formation hidden under the teleportation formation turned out to be the God-eating formation? Once the teleportation array is activated, it is not just as simple as draining the divine power. Master, is the relationship between our holy land and other holy lands good? Bailey Wenyu asked seriously. What happened? There is a third formation hidden below, the God-eating formation. Even if million divine stones are used to activate the formation, everyone will still be drained of the divine power during the transmission. Those with weak divine power may also have their souls damaged. Before Bailey Wenyu finished speaking, Shen Shuli realized the seriousness of the matter. He immediately sent a message to Ning Dongsheng and others. Ning Dongsheng and others rushed over quickly. The master of Xuanyan Peak was the first to speak. Elder Shen, I checked before and didn't see the eye of the God-eating array. How did you see it? Wenyu used the array disc to check it out. Upon hearing this, the peak master of Xuanyan Peak first looked at Bailey Wenyu, and then his eyes fell on Bailey Wenyu's hand. The Zhutian star disc. Peak master Xuanyan Peak flashed to Bailey Wenyu's side in an instant, looking at the formation disc with burning eyes. Although the Zhutian star disc is not an ancient formation disc, its function is equivalent to that of the ancient formation disc. The master of Xuanyan Peak asked excitedly, Master Bailey, I wonder which master made this array disc of yours. My senior brother. The master of Xuanyan Peak turned to look at Qin Zixuan with a strange expression. Master Xuan, you don't need to read, the senior brother he is talking about is definitely not me. Qin Zixuan said bluntly. Holy Master, do you have a second closed disciple? The master of Xuanyan Peak asked. Seeing that a misunderstanding had formed, Bailey Wen explained, the senior brother I am talking about is the senior brother I had before joining the Holy Land. Where is your senior brother? Peak master Xuanyan Peak asked. In the fairy world. Bailey Wenyu didn't know yet that Liu Kanglan went to the devil world, thinking that he went to the fairy world with everyone. Then what are you waiting for? Let's find a way to get to the immortal world quickly. Peak master Xuan said eagerly. Bailey Wenyu took the initiative to hand the array disc to Master Xuan. Peak master Xuan was not polite. He took the array disc with both hands and went to check the teleportation array. A quarter of an hour later, Master Xuanfeng said with a cold face, the God-eating formation is the main formation, and this formation existed tens of thousands of years ago. I suspect that something happened to that person back then, and it has something to do with this teleportation formation. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 603 Wugui Pavilion. For a moment, everyone's eyes were not only solemn, but also a little angry. That group of people really prepared every step to deal with the Lord of Heaven. There is a God-devouring array hidden under the teleportation array, and the methods are really sinister and shameless. No wonder their wise Lord of Heaven fell into the hands of Feng Qingqiong. There is turbulence in time and space between realms. There are countless dangers hidden in the turbulence of time and space. Therefore, when everyone's soul is damaged when sitting in the teleportation array, they will definitely not think that it is a problem with the teleportation array. They will only think that something in the turbulence of time and space has attacked their soul. If you sit in the teleportation array many times in a row, your soul will be severely damaged. Ning Dongsheng clenched his fists and his whole body was shaking slightly with anger. Mu Ju sighed lightly. Ning Dongsheng was still young when he followed Feng Qingwu. At that time, as long as Ning Dongsheng mentioned Feng Qingwu, his whole person instantly became radiant. Now that he learned that the person he respected died under such a despicable calculation, his heart must be filled with anger. Dongsheng, don't worry, she will come back. Mu Ju comforted softly. Bailey Wenyu didn't understand everyone's anger, his eyes were full of doubts, and he sent a message to Qin Zixuan. Brother Qin, is the person they frequently mention Feng Qingwu? Qin Zixuan approached Bailey Wenyu and said, yes, Feng Qingwu, the Lord of Heaven back then, a well-known existence in the Six Realms, with countless followers. In fact, I have never seen her. I learned about it from unofficial histories by chance. Of her deeds. Why can she only appear in unofficial history? Qin Zixuan said in an extremely angry tone. After her death, the Suppression Alliance tried to erase all traces of her existence. In short, the Alliance never does anything about human affairs. Brother Bailey, don't ask. The more we know, the better for you. No good. What else does Bailey Wenyu want to ask? Qin Zixuan shook his head at him and did not intend to speak again. The methods of the people in the Alliance are becoming more and more ruthless. Now, as long as someone mentions Feng Qingwu's name, they may kill him. Bailey Wenyu didn't have the strength to stand by him. This time when I go to the fairy world, I will definitely meet the people from the Alliance. Qin Zixuan was afraid that Bailey Wenyu would spill the beans and attract the attention of the Alliance. Everyone, do you want to spread the news that the God-eating array is hidden under the teleportation array? Shen Shuli's voice sounded. It must be spread out, and the conspiracy of the people behind it must not be allowed to succeed. Ning Dongsheng said angrily. The existence of the God-eating formation has indirectly weakened the strength of many people. Ning Dongsheng suddenly figured out something. When something happened to the Lord of Heaven, many people who were loyal to her disappeared, and it was definitely related to the God-eating array. Dongsheng, this matter cannot be said out of our mouths. Mu Ju reminded him. Holy Lord Taichu is right. The news that there is a God-eating array in the teleportation array cannot be spread from the Holy Land. Elder Yuan Yin's eyebrows relaxed a lot. Ning Dongsheng asked, who do you think is suitable to spread this news? Everyone fell into silence, fearing that after some people received the news, they would not dare to spread it out for fear of the threat from the Alliance. What's even more fearful is that their information may reach the hands of Alliance lackeys. The main reason why alliances frighten countless people is that you don't know how many alliances are hidden around you. It is no exaggeration to say that there is probably an undercover agent from the Alliance among this group of people at this moment. Master, I have a way to spread the news. Qin Zixuan sent a message to Ning Dongsheng. Ning Dongsheng glanced at Qin Zixuan without moving his expression and motioned for him to speak. Qin Zixuan sent a message and asked, Master, do you remember Wugui Pavilion? Ning Dongsheng's expression became cautious and he sent a message, do you know how to contact Wugui Pavilion? Wugui Pavilion has existed for much longer than the Alliance. It is a place that specializes in selling information. All the news coming from Wugui Pavilion is not false. But Wugui Pavilion is just like its name, Wugui has nowhere to go. Even if all the forces in the God realm take action, they have never found anyone in Wugui Pavilion. This also caused Wugui Pavilion to become an extremely mysterious existence. It's so mysterious that few people can connect with it. Qin Zixuan rarely became serious and said, Master, I can pass the news about the God-eating formation to Wugui Pavilion and let them spread it. Ning Dongsheng looked at Qin Zixuan and suddenly felt that he underestimated this apprentice. Maybe Qin Zixuan's dandy appearance is to cover up something. A glimmer of light flashed in Ning Dongsheng's eyes, and he said through a message, cooperate with me later. Qin Zixuan smiled and nodded. Everyone, we can't delay going to the immortal realm. Let's find a way to collect the Godstone first. As for the news about the God-eating formation, Mu Ju and I still need to discuss it again. Ning Dongsheng said with a solemn expression. Holy Master, how long will it take to collect the 1,000,000 sacred stones? The third elder of Taichu asked Mu Ju. Mu Ju touched his nose and took out a token sadly. Second elder, take the token and sell part of my collection. The second elder reached for the token but didn't take it. Mu Ju held the other end of the wooden sign tightly, looking extremely reluctant to give up. Holy Lord, let go. The second elder was slightly speechless. Second elder, you must find a good seller for them. Mu Ju tightened his grip on the token, with no intention of letting go of the token. Holy Master, if you don't take action, I will just pick out the ones you like and sell them. No, no, no. Mu Ju immediately let go and watched eagerly as the second elder put away the token. The second elder of Taichu saluted everyone, made a farewell gesture and left. Seeing this, the remaining second elder and fourth elder also disappeared instantly. You should also go back to the Holy Land to collect the sacred stones. Ning Dongsheng waved to everyone in the Vowel Holy Land. Soon, the elders and peak masters of the Vowel Holy Land said goodbye and left one by one. Only Ning Dongsheng, Shen Shuli, Qin Zixuan, Bailey Wenyu, Xuanyan Peak Master, Mu Ju and Great Elder Yuanyan were left on the field. Ning Dongsheng and Mu Ju are holy masters and should stay. Xuanyan Feng stayed to check the teleportation array. Bailey Wenyu and Qin Zixuan stayed because their strength was not suitable for acting alone. Shen Shuli was half a step into the strength of the Holy Spirit, leaving behind enough to protect those present. Only the Great Elder should not stay here. Ning Dongsheng's eyes fell on the Great Elder. The Great Elder of the Vowel Holy Land looked the same. Holy Lord, why don't we secretly send the news about the existence of the God-eating array to other holy lands and let them spread it? Great Elder, to be honest, I don't intend to spread the news about the God-eating formation. After all, other holy places have nothing to do with me. Besides, if one less person goes to the fairy world, there will be one less person competing with us for the divine beasts. Ning Dongsheng said seriously. The Great Elder looked at Ning Dongsheng in shock. Holy Lord, if this happens, other holy places will definitely suffer. Isn't this just what the Alliance wants? Ning Dongsheng said firmly. There is no shortage of formation mages in other holy places. It will be a matter of time before you discover the God-eating formation. You go and collect the divine stones first. The Great Elder wanted to speak, but seemed to feel some pressure, so he chose to bow and leave. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 604 Li Wenyu chooses to continue to suffer. With the departure of the Great Elder, Ning Dongsheng's expression suddenly turned cold. He looked at the place where the Great Elder left with a bit of scrutiny. Master, someone's foxtail is finally exposed. It's really hidden deep enough. Qin Zixuan's joking voice sounded. It may not be him, Ning Dongsheng said coldly. Ning Dongsheng did not intend to say more about the Great Elder. He raised his hand, placed his palm on Shen Shuli's shoulder, and moved his fingers. Shu Li, escort Zixuan back to Qin's house to get the sacred stone. Go back quickly. Shen Shuli's eyes darkened. Okay. Qin Zixuan said with a bitter look on his face, Master, can't someone else go back with me? Change someone. Who? Ning Dongsheng asked angrily. Qin Zixuan looked around carefully, looked frustrated, and said resignedly, Uncle Shen, let's go. Shen Shuli picked up Qin Zixuan by the collar, and the two disappeared. Dongsheng, how to deal with the God-eating array? Mu Ju asked. Wait a minute. Ning Dongsheng's eyes fell on Bailey Wenyu and the master of Xuanyan Peak. Master Xuanfeng said with a serious expression, Sect Master, this God-eating formation is hidden under 2 layers of formations, and its composition complements the teleportation formation. No more than 3 formation masters in the God realm can discover its existence. If Wenyu hadn't taken out the star disk, I might never have been able to see that there was a God-eating array hidden under the teleportation array. The teleportation formation and the illusionary God formation together consume at most 100,000 divine stones. The one that requires more divine stones is the God-eating formation. If you don't put in enough million divine stones and forcefully activate the teleportation array, after the teleportation array is activated, the God-eating array will immediately begin to consume the teleported person's divine power. This will cause the person being transported to instantly lose resistance when passing through the turbulence of time and space, and will undoubtedly die. Of course, this is a case of one person sitting in the teleportation array. If a group of people sit in the teleportation array, the God-eating array will first absorb the divine power of the strongest person, and then go down in sequence. Similarly, when the God-eating array damages the soul, it only targets the strongest person. Peak Master Xuan told everything he knew. Is there a way to destroy the God-eating array? Ning Dongsheng looked at the teleportation array, his eyes filled with ice. Who came up with such a despicable method? Peak Master Xuan looked confused. With my current strength, I cannot destroy the God-eating array alone. If we really want to use the teleportation array, I'm afraid someone will need to sacrifice. Ning Dongsheng narrowed his eyes slightly and did not answer this sentence. Ning Dongsheng asked coldly, you just said that there are no more than 3 formation masters in the God realm who can set up the God-devouring formation. Did you mean now, or did you mean when that person was there? When Master Xuan heard this question, he was stunned for a moment and quickly understood what Ning Dongsheng meant. Peak Master Xuan cautiously set up the barrier. When that person was there were quite a few formation masters who could detect the existence of the God-eating array. However, after she disappeared, the Suppression Alliance killed many people, and almost all of the outstanding formation masters were killed. Absolutely. Humph, Ning Dongsheng sneered. Sure enough, as he guessed, a traitor appeared beside the Lord of Heaven. The person who can use the God-eating formation to plot against the Lord of Heaven must be someone close to her, and someone she trusts. When he comes back from the fairy world, he must investigate the matter about the traitor. Did those people really think that after the Lord of Heaven disappeared, her followers would disappear? Dongsheng, if that person is involved, you should not show up to avoid being targeted by the Alliance again. I will find a way to spread the news about the God-eating array. Mu Ju calmed Ning Dongsheng's emotions. Ning Dongsheng not only admires the Lord of Heaven, but also feels more guilty. After so many years of hair brewing, the guilt will only get heavier and heavier. Mu Ju was really afraid that Ning Dongsheng would do something to offend the Alliance due to guilt. Ning Dongsheng shook his head at Mu Ju. I have my own discretion on this matter, so you don't have to worry about it. Ning Dongsheng and Mu Ju looked at each other and did not notice anything strange about Peak Master Xuan. Peak Master Xuan's face was full of melancholy. Holy Master, if we go to the immortal world, I can integrate the illusionary God array into the teleportation array, so that everyone can spend less time. Bailey Wenyu stood aside, looking a little hesitant. He actually had a way to change the God-eating formation into an auxiliary formation and the teleportation formation into a main formation. In this way, the influence of the God-eating array can be eliminated. But Bailey Wenyu always felt that something was wrong with Peak Master Xuan. Where exactly did he say it? So Bailey Wenyu decided to sit still and wait for Shen Shuli to come back before making any plans. For the time being, he only believed in Shen Shuli. Wenyu, come and assist me. This array is yours after all. Peak Master Xuan's voice interrupted Bailey Wenyu's contemplation. At the same time, Qin Zixuan carefully looked at Shen Shuli's face. Uncle Shen, I didn't mean to take you wandering, I was looking for something. I know, the Holy Lord told me. When did Master tell you? Qin Zixuan was a little surprised. Such a short time was not enough to transmit the message. Okay. Shen Shuli glanced at Qin Zixuan lightly. Qin Zixuan was stunned for a moment. I don't ask, I'm just curious. The streets of God Realm were as deserted as ever. Like the two of them, they didn't use teleportation techniques and only rarely walked with their feet. Occasionally, a few shopkeepers would stick their heads out and look at Qin Zixuan and Shen Shuli curiously. Qin Zixuan always greets everyone with a smile. At this time, a young master in scarlet clothes suddenly appeared and blocked Qin Zixuan's way. Shen Shuli raised his hand and pulled Qin Zixuan behind him. Seeing that Feng Jun's had no one to protect him, Qin Zixuan said arrogantly, Uncle Shen, today is really unlucky. You can encounter dirty things wherever you go on the street. Feng Jun's raised his eyebrows slightly, his eyes were deep, and the nobility around him was natural. Senior Shen and Mr. Qin, follow me. After Feng Jun's finished transmitting the message, he instantly disappeared in front of the two of them. Shen Shuli grabbed Qin Zixuan and chased him according to the aura left by Feng Jun's. It's actually an attic. After Shen Shuli and Qin Zixuan entered the attic, people outside cannot see the existence of the attic. Qin Zixuan looked around. Uncle Shen, what are we doing here? Shen Shuli remained silent. An attendant came out and said, follow me, you two. The young master is waiting for you. Half a quarter of an hour later, the two followed the attendant into a room. Feng Jun sat at the table, with 2 other cups of tea already placed beside the table. Qin Zixuan suddenly thought of something, pointed at Feng Jun's, and said with horrified eyes, you. How could you be from Wugui Pavilion? Feng Jun's ignored Qin Zixuan and nodded slightly to Shen Shuli. Senior Shen, please take a seat. Qin Zixuan, it's a little embarrassing, but who told me to be thick-skinned? Qin Zixuan waited for Shen Shuli to sit down, then sat down minding his own business. You two must be here because of the God-eating array, right? Feng Jun's asked proactively. Feng Jun's, why don't you test us? You haven't explained your identity yet. Qin Zixuan asked. Does my identity matter? Of course it's important. As a young master of the Feng family and a young master of the Alliance, what good can you do by looking for us? Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 605 The Forbidden Land of Vowels. The two identities Mr. Qin mentioned only exist for convenience. Feng Jun said calmly. Qin Zixuan snorted coldly, obviously not believing Feng Jun's words. Qin Zixuan looked sideways at Feng Jun's. Humph. Except for the Lord of Heaven, none of you Feng family members have a word of truth in your mouth. When Feng Jun's heard this, he was not angry, but laughed. Feng Jun's appearance was very beautiful, exquisite and picturesque. Sitting there, he looked like a orchid tree, perfect and impeccable. Now when she smiles, it adds a bit of enchanting beauty. Qin Zixuan was fascinated by it for a moment and even had some doubts. If Feng Jun's was a woman, his heartbeat would speed up uncontrollably. Thinking of this, Qin Zixuan snorted again. A man who is more beautiful than a woman is really jealous. If only he were half as good looking as Feng Jun's. He also wants to wear crimson clothes and show off in the market. Qin Zixuan glared at Feng Jun's inexplicably. Why are you laughing? I scold you Feng family, but you seem to be very happy. I am indeed very happy. Feng Jun's voice was clear and mellow. If I could, I wouldn't want the blood of the Feng family, but it's a pity that I can't decide my own origin. You enjoy the convenience brought by the Feng family and at the same time you despise the Feng family. You are not a good person either. Qin Zixuan said with disdain. I never said I was a good person. Impossible, Wugui Pavilion will not want bad people. Qin Zixuan immediately denied it. Wugui Pavilion will never cover up the filthiness of the family. Every message it sends can ruthlessly tear open the fig leaf of the superior. This also caused countless forces to gnash their teeth in hatred towards Wugui Pavilion. Except of course the Lord of Heaven. The Lord of Heaven once praised Wugui Pavilion lavishly. She was even willing to accept the trial of Wugui Pavilion. Does Mr. Qin really think that people can only be divided into good and bad? Feng Jun Zifeng asked calmly. That's not true, but you are definitely not a good person. No matter how well you, the Feng family, package it, it can't change the fact that you are so bad that you ooze pus. It doesn't matter how Mr. Qin thinks it's okay, I don't care. Qin Zixuan. It's like a punch on cotton. What exactly does Feng Jun's want to do? Qin Zixuan originally wanted to provoke Feng Jun's to reveal his true colors, but he didn't realize that he was the one who wanted to be defeated first. Zixuan, sit down. Shen Shuli's strict voice came. Uncle Shen. Qin Zixuan called softly. Shen Shuli looked at Feng Jun's. Since Mr. Feng revealed his identity in front of us, he must have a purpose. What do you want to do? Shen Shuli's aura was completely different from Qin Zixuan's, and he gave people a strong sense of oppression as soon as he opened his mouth. Feng Jun's put away his smile and said, when the Vowel Holy Land was preparing to canonize the saint, it should have already thought about confronting the Alliance. How will you deal with the conflict with the Alliance? This is our Vowel Holy Land's business, none of your business. Qin Zixuan said quietly. Shen Shuli remained silent, obviously agreeing with Qin Zixuan's words. Feng Jun spoke again. I know that the Holy Land of Vowels has a solid foundation and I am not afraid of the Alliance's targeting, but I don't mind telling Senior Shen directly that your trump cards have long been sold to the Alliance. Dark color flashed across Shen Shuli's eyes, and there was no wave on his face. Qin Zixuan stood up immediately. You said there are traitors in our holy land of vowels. How is this possible? When Qin Zixuan said this, the elder's face suddenly flashed across his face. After discovering the God-eating formation today, the Great Elder has been asking Master to spread the news. Could it be that the Great Elder was someone installed by the Alliance? Except for those who were hiding, all those who followed God were killed by the Alliance. Why do you think the Alliance will easily let go of the Holy Land of Vowels? Feng Jun's asked softly. Is there anything the Alliance wants in the Vowel Holy Land? Shen Shuli said coldly. There is something in the Vowel Forbidden Land. Not only the Alliance wants it, but the Feng family and the Jiang family also want it. I have not found out what that thing is, but for that thing, the ancestor of the Jiang family did not hesitate to waste his lifespan and had to figure it out himself. Feng Jun said with a serious expression. Qin Zixuan's eyes were full of doubts. Then are there any traitors from the Alliance in our Holy Land? Shen Shuli and Feng Jun's glanced at Qin Zixuan at the same time, and then looked at each other in tacit understanding. This guy obviously missed the point. Shen Shuli's eyes were majestic. Young Master Feng told me so much, but you still didn't tell me your purpose. Feng Jun took out a jade slip from the space and handed it to Shen Shuli. Shen Shuli opened the jade slip, and when he saw it halfway, his breath suddenly turned cold. The further he looked down, the more obvious his anger became. Qin Zixuan cautiously moved closer to take a look. Snapped. Shen Shuli closed the jade slip and said, do you remember that everything in this is true? Feng Jun shook his head. Wugui Pavilion has been investigating this matter over the years. All the clues point to the Emperor of the Immortal Realm, Su Exingheng. So whether it is true or not, we can only confirm it by going to the Immortal Realm this time. Qin Zixuan stared at the jade slip with great curiosity, wanting to ask Shen Shuli for it, but he didn't dare to ask. He could only choose to stare at Feng Jun's with burning eyes. Young Master Feng, what took you so long to investigate? Qin Zixuan said with a smile on his face. Fully demonstrate one's ability to bend and stretch. Young Master Feng told me these things. What do you need me to do? Shen Shuli asked seriously. This time when we go to the Immortal Realm to fight for the 4 ancient divine beasts, the various forces in the Immortal Realm will definitely conflict. In addition, the Immortal Realm's forces will take action. The Immortal Realm will definitely be in chaos at that time. I need Senior Shen to take this opportunity to go to the Immortal Realm and return to the ruins. Return to the ruins of the fairy world. Yes, the source of the Immortal River is at the return of the Immortal Realm, but it is very dangerous there. Seniors need to bring this. Feng Jun's handed Shen Shuli some golden talismans. It is strikingly identical to the talisman painted by Ning Shiyu. How do you know that the source of the Immortal River is in Gahu? Shen Shuli's eyes were cold. The source of the Immortal River in the Immortal World is the foundation of the entire Immortal World. As long as the source of the Immortal River is captured, the entire Immortal World can be controlled. Why didn't Feng Jun send his own people to the source of the Immortal River? Wugui Pavilion naturally has its own methods. Feng Jun stood up and said to Shen Shuli, Senior Shen, exploring the source of the Immortal River is related to the safety of the entire upper world. We can only rest assured if we entrust it to you. Wugui Pavilion has found many people over the years. Those who have strength are not pure in mind. Most of those who care about the common people lack strength. Therefore, the matter of exploring the source of the Immortal River was put off again and again. At this moment, Wugui Pavilion couldn't wait to hear the news that Shen Shuli had been promoted to the half-step holy god. Fortunately, Shen Shuli delivered it to his door. Uncle Shen, Qin Zixuan called in a low voice. Qin Zixuan knew very well that Shen Shuli had a heavy sense of responsibility, especially when it involved the entire upper world, and he would not refuse. But he was still worried that Feng Jun's was digging a hole for Shen Shuli. Shen Shuli glanced at Qin Zixuan lightly, and then said, in what capacity does young Master Feng entrust this matter? Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 606 The Young Master of Wholesale. Young Master Wugui Pavilion. Feng Jun's met Shen Shuli's scrutinizing eyes. Shen Shuli's expression was calm and calm. Qin Zixuan was stunned. Did you get your identity as Young Master Wholesale? A young master of the Feng family. A young master of the Alliance. A young master of Wugui Pavilion. Qin Zixuan couldn't explain his mood at this moment. Jun's has never admitted that he is the young master of the Feng family. I have always only recognized myself as the young master of Wugui Pavilion. What I want to do is different from the Feng family and the Alliance. Feng Jun said solemnly. Shen Shuli raised his hand to help Feng Jun's. Master Feng, please give me a token that can prove your identity. Feng Jun's took out a black token. This is the token of the young master of Wugui Pavilion. Senior Shen can use this token to call all the people in Wugui Pavilion in the Immortal World. Shen Shuli accepted it politely. Thank you very much. Qin Zixuan looked at the token with envy and wanted to touch it. Order from the young master of Wugui Pavilion. This thing is much more effective than the Alliance young master's order. Feng Jun's, can you also give me a token? It doesn't have to be as powerful as Uncle Shen, as long as you can summon some people from Wugui Pavilion. Qin Zixuan approached Feng Jun's and smiled mischievously. Isn't Mr. Qin already there? What do I have? How come I don't know? How do you think Mr. Qin got in touch with Wugui Pavilion? Feng Jun smiled meaningfully. What? Qin Zixuan really didn't understand. Strangely enough, when Wugui Pavilion took the initiative to contact him, he was more shocked than anyone else. At that time, he thought he was the chosen one. That's why he was selected by Wugui Pavilion. It later turned out that wasn't the case at all. Master Qin, you can take out your discipleship order and have a look. Feng Jun said solemnly. Qin Zixuan took out the disciple order and saw nothing unusual. Shen Shuli took Qin Zixuan's discipleship order and found that there was a very special mark under the order, which did not belong to the Vowel Holy Land. The disciple Ling Neng was manipulated, which meant that the forces of Wugui Pavilion had penetrated into the Holy Land. Shen Shuli said coldly, Wugui's hand is stretched too far. When things got to this point, Fang Jun's obviously didn't mind revealing more. It's not that Wugui Pavilion has a long hand, but that the Holy Land of Vowels is a part of Wugui Pavilion. Qin Zixuan was shocked and said, how is this possible? My master doesn't know this at all. Of course he won't know this. He is not an orthodox holy master. Fang Jun said in a surprising way. Stop slandering my master. My master can't do anything to usurp someone else's position. Qin Zixuan looked at Fang Jun's with anger in his eyes. Fang Jun's eyes were deep and dark, don't get me wrong. I only said that he is not the orthodox holy master, and I did not say that his position was usurped. Some records in your holy land have been forcibly erased. The original orthodox holy master should be Qin Keqing. Holy Master Ning was appointed temporarily and had no chance to accept the inheritance belonging to the Holy Master. That's why Holy Master Ning has always had a hard time dealing with matters in the Holy Land these years. Holy Lord Ning has paid a lot to protect the Holy Land over the years, and he also has to prevent the Alliance's calculations. He is always on tenterhooks, so his cultivation is not improving at all. Fang Jun's had some respect for Ning Dongsheng. Aunt, Qin Zixuan murmured in a low voice. When he was young, his aunt was extremely talented and was the most popular in the Holy Land of Vowels. My aunt was indeed stronger than my master at that time. Master was also influenced by his aunt to follow the Lord of God. Later, my aunt was seriously injured and was hunted by the Alliance. She resolutely severed ties with the Qin family and the Holy Land, and there has been no news from her since. Yuanyan, are there people from your Wugui Pavilion? Shen Shuli thought more comprehensively. Qin Keqing disappeared, but Wugui Pavilion still knew the situation of the Vowel Holy Land very well. Obviously, there are still people from Wugui Pavilion in the Holy Land. And they had just discovered the God-eating formation and came to Wugui Pavilion, so they knew their purpose of coming. Someone must have reported the news to Wugui Pavilion. As expected of Senior Shen, he can even guess this, but I can't tell who that person is. Don't worry, as long as the Holy Land of Vowels does not join the Alliance, Wugui Pavilion will not attack you. Is Wugui Pavilion on the side of the Lord of Heaven? Qin Zixuan heard something. Yes, Wugui Pavilion was founded by the Lord of Heaven, your aunt, and my maternal grandfather's family. It is the sharpest knife in the hands of the Lord of Heaven. Fang Jun's revealed a hint of pride in his tone. Snapped. Qin Zixuan slammed the table angrily. In that case, why didn't Wugui Pavilion rescue the Lord of Heaven back then? And why did they allow the Lord of Heaven's subordinates to be killed by the Alliance? Fang Jun's curled his lips slightly. The Lord of Heaven naturally has his own reasons for doing things. For the rest, we just have to follow orders. Qin Zixuan was confused when he heard this. How could the Lord of Heaven allow her men to be killed? Did the Lord of Heaven deliberately allow those conspiracies to succeed? But why? Shen Shuli touched the young master's order in his hand, and a smile suddenly appeared on his serious face. Don't worry, young Master Fang, I will definitely handle the matter of returning to the ruins. Uncle Shen, why are you talking about Gehu again? Weren't we going to? Hey, I haven't asked Master Shen clearly yet, so why did he leave? Qin Zixuan howled. Fang Jun stood up and said, Master Qin, I will spread the news about the God-eating formation. Wait a minute, Fang Jun's, I still want to ask about my aunt. After Qin Zixuan finished shouting, he had already left the attic. After they came out, the attic disappeared. Shen Shuli looked at the attic that had disappeared and understood. Uncle Shen, why did you tear me out before I asked you clearly? Qin Zixuan was about to cry but had no tears. You already know what you need to know, go back first. Shen Shuli finished speaking. Qin Zixuan suddenly felt cold all over, and raised his eyes to meet Shen Shuli's extremely cold gaze. Qin Zixuan covered his mouth and said, I understand, no one can say anything about what happened today, not even the ants on the roadside. Only then did Shen Shuli grab Qin Zixuan's collar. After burning a stick of incense, they appeared in front of Ning Dongsheng and others. Qin Zixuan felt the coldness coming from Shen Shuli and trembled all over. Master, we didn't get any sacred stones when we returned to Qin's house. Ning Dongsheng nodded slightly. Don't worry, if you sell those new Ju collections, it will be enough for million. New Ju. Dongsheng, let's try to get half of it together. Why do we only need to come out of Taichu Holy Land? What is the external image of the Holy Land of Taichu these years? Ning Dongsheng asked rhetorically. Well, poor, Mu Ju blushed. Yes, so Uncle Mu, if you gather million this time, you can change the image of your Holy Land in one go and let outsiders know that the Holy Land of Taichu is rich and wealthy. Qin Zixuan said with a smile. Mu Ju fell into silence, thinking about Qin Zixuan's words. Qin Zixuan and Ning Dongsheng looked at each other and smiled, hiding their merit and fame. Bailey, when you took this time to send a message to Shen Shuli, Master, I can try to change the God-eating formation without spending so many divine stones. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 607, Peak Master Xuan with extremely low sense of presence. When Shen Shuli heard Bailey Wenyu's message, his eyes fell on Peak Master Xuan instead. Master Xuanfeng's presence in the Vowel Holy Land is very low. He discovered something was wrong with the teleportation array, and the first person he thought of was not Master Xuanfeng, who was good at formations. If people like Peak Master Xuan were planted in the Holy Land by other forces, they might never notice. It was probably because Shen Shuli's gaze was too direct. Peak Master Xuan finally raised his head and met Shen Shuli's searching look. Peak Master Xuan's expression remained unchanged. Elder Shen, do you want to ask about the formation? No, Master Xuanfeng, why did you choose to join the Vowel Holy Land in the first place? Shen Shuli asked with deep eyes. After leaving Fang Jun's, Shen Shuli now looked suspicious to everyone. Peak Master Xuan was stunned for a moment when he heard Shen Shuli's question. Then he seemed to have thought of something and showed a grateful expression. Back then, I came from a bad background, and no other Holy Land wanted me. Only the old Holy Master saw me as pitiful, and took me back, accepted me as his disciple, and taught me formations. Are you a disciple of the old Holy Lord? Shen Shuli was slightly surprised. There are indeed many disciples under the old Holy Master. The one with the most outstanding qualifications is undoubtedly Qin Keqing. Qin Keqing's light was too strong, so the other disciples of the old Holy Master had no sense of existence at all. I'm just an outer disciple of the old Holy Master. Elder Shen doesn't know it's normal. Peak Master Xuan could hear any emotion in his words. From the outer disciples to the Peak Master Xuan is a capable person. The old Holy Master did not miss the mark at the beginning. This matter of the teleportation formation will cause more trouble to Peak Master Xuan. Shen Shuli looked back and had a rough guess in his mind. Shen Shuli walked up to Ning Dongxing and said, Holy Lord, I have to leave for a while. You guys stay here with Master Xuanfeng. Okay, Ning Dongxing nodded. Shen Shuli left with Bailey Wenyu. After half an hour, the two came to a more secluded place. Shen Shuli's consciousness spread, and after confirming that there was no one else around, he expanded the area. Immediately, a rumbling sound sounded, and a teleportation array appeared in front of the two people. Shen Shuli found the teleportation array through the order of the young master of Wugui Pavilion. Bailey Wenyue's movement of this teleportation array will not attract the attention of other forces. When Yue takes action, if you need my help, just ask, Shen Shuli said. Thank you, Master. Bailey Wenyu actually took out the ancient array disc and walked towards the teleportation array. No return to the pavilion. Young Master, as you expected, Mr. Fengge secretly mobilized all the forces he could mobilize to find the missing woman. Have you found out the woman's detailed identity? There is news from the immortal world that she ascended to the immortal world from the land abandoned by the gods. As soon as she entered the immortal realm, she was chased by the heavenly soldiers. She was later rescued by the goddess Qingqiong. As a result, Fang Jilao went to the Qingqiong temple to give her to the immortal world. Brought back to the divine realm. A place abandoned by gods. Fang Jun's had a hint of interest in his brows. He remembered that the land abandoned by God was the place where Su Exingheng cultivated his power. Ordinary cultivators in a place abandoned by gods will not have the chance to ascend anyway. And Qin Hanyan will be chased by heavenly soldiers. He is obviously not from Su Exingheng, let alone from the upper world. So why was Qin Hanyan able to complete his ascension? Fang Jun's thought for a moment and motioned for the other party to continue. Xiao said respectfully, Young Master, Bailey Wenyu and Qin Hanyan seem to come from the same place, and we can't investigate any of their upper realm backgrounds. Hearing this name, a dark light flashed in Fang Jun's eyes. Bailey Wenyu discovered his existence on the first day he broke into Fang's house. The boy Bailey Wenyu replaced was his hidden clue buried next to Fang Qingqiong. The secret agent would send him a message every 6 months. But not long ago, when the appointed time came, the boy did not send any news. After several tests, Xiaobao determined that the boy had been replaced. The replacement wears Qian Huan. Chan Huan belongs to the Jiang family. Fang Jun's initially suspected that Bailey Wenyu was from the Jiang family. But slowly he discovered that Bailey Wenyu seemed to be particularly concerned about the affairs of Fengge Lao. He even went outside Fengge old home to inquire about information at every turn. But apart from Fengge Lao's matters, Bailey Wenyu didn't care at all. From this, he determined that Bailey Wenyu was not from the Jiang family. Later, strange phenomena appeared in the fairy world, and Mr. Fengge was forced to leave the yard. Bailey Wenyu couldn't wait to rush in and brought out Qin Hanyan. On the way, he heard Bailey Wenyu calling the woman third senior sister. Bailey Wenyu had no idea that with his little tricks, it was impossible to take Qin Hanyan out of the Fang family. However, Fang Jun's was very curious about Bailey Wenyu's identity. So he helped clear the obstacles and allowed Bailey Wenyu to leave the Fang family safely. What Ling Feng Jun's didn't expect was that Bailey Wenyu went to the Holy Land of Vowels. When he received the news again, Bailey Wenyu became Shen Shuli's apprentice, and Qin Hanyan was canonized as a saint. What happened in the middle, he didn't know. All I know is that Bailey Wenyu seems to be involved with Master Ji. There are many mysteries surrounding Bailey Wenyu. Fang Jun's looked at Xiao and asked, why did Bailey Wenyu fly directly into the God realm? What is his relationship with Master Ji? Xiao seemed a little embarrassed. Young Master, ever since Su Exingheng sealed the way for monks to fly into the God realm, no one from the lower world has ever flown into the God realm again. There is no connecting passage. If you want to fly into the God realm, you can only use the 10,000 Realms teleportation array. But the 10,000 Realms teleportation array is extremely rare. Only the top forces can possess it. Bailey Wenyu can't get the 10,000 Realms teleportation array at all. Bailey Wenyu seemed to have flown into the God realm out of thin air. After several investigations, we couldn't find anything specific. We even turned on numerology and it came back blank. As for him and Master Ji, the only connection is that Master Ji also ascended from the land abandoned by the gods. We speculate that Bailey Wenyu may have obtained the inheritance of Master Ji from the lower realm. He will directly ascend to the God realm, and it may also be related to this inheritance. After finishing the novel, Xiao felt slightly guilty. The young master never liked such ambiguous answers. But there was nothing they could do. They could find out too little about Bailey Wenyu. Fang Jun's eyes grew colder. Bailey Wen cannot be more than 100 years old. Ji Fang calculated his age and found that he is at least 100,000 years old. Is it possible that his inheritance will not be found within 100,000 years? If it is said that the inheritance of the ancient power can last for 100,000 years, it may be explained. But Master Ji is a tribulation-transcending cultivator. Even if he sets up countless layers of restrictions when he leaves his legacy, he still won't be able to leave it until 100,000 years later. Besides, those who go to the land abandoned by gods to survive the tribulation are all people with background. Peak Master Ji's little tricks can guard against this group of people. Xiao Xiao bent down to salute, lowered his head and said, "Young master, please forgive me." "Get up." Fang Jun's was about to let Xiao Xiao leave, when the transmission talisman in his space lit up. Fang Jun's took out the transmission talisman and checked the message. "Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore." Chapter 608 Divine Seal. Fang Jun's eyes became sharp after reading the content of the transmission notes. He stared at Xiao Xiao and asked coldly, "During your investigation, did you notice that Bailey when you had a divine seal descended from the divine realm?" Divine seal. How could a person from the lower world have a divine seal? Xiao Xiao opened his mouth wide, looking extremely shocked. To view the divine seal is to open the eye of heaven. They wouldn't go so far as to find a strong man with clairvoyance just to investigate Bailey Wenyu. Have you forgotten the commandments of Wugui Pavilion? Treat everyone equally, let alone look down on everyone. Fang Jun's crushed the transmission talisman in his hand. Plop. Xiao Xiao knelt down and said, "This subordinate is not doing his job well, please punish me, master." "You can ignore such an important matter, Xiao Xiao. If this continues, I will doubt your leadership ability." Fang Jun's voice was full of oppression. If it weren't for the reliable hidden clues of vowels, Bailey Wenyu would have been able to observe that there was a divine seal on Bailey Wenyu's body. He was afraid that it would take a long time before he would know the news that Bailey Wenyu had the divine seal. People who can possess the divine seal are rare. The divine seal is heaven's recognition of cultivators. Those who possess the divine seal will have an unimpeded path to practice. It also means that this person's future cultivation will be at least the holy god level. The most important point is that the divine seal is one of the necessary conditions for entering heaven. Of course, the divine seal can be poached. Therefore, those who possess the divine seal must belong to Wugui Pavilion and cannot fall into other forces. Qin Zixuan is also one of the few divine sealers. It's just that Qin Zixuan's divine seal was hidden by them in a special way to prevent the Alliance from discovering it. "Young master, I will send someone to deal with the divine seal on Bailey Wenyu," Xiao Xiao said. "If you go at this time, you will only alert the enemy. I will handle the matter of the divine seal." "It's the young master." Fang Jun's looked at Xiao Xiao. "You continue to investigate Bailey Wenyu's matter. In addition, Qin Hanyan also needs to check. By the way, check whether she is related to Qin Keqing." Xiao Xiao was surprised again. "Young master, do you suspect that Qin Hanyan and Qin Keqing are related?" "Yes." Fang Jun's waved his hand and motioned for Xiao Xiao to go down. After Xiao Xiao left, Fang Jun's took out the transmission talisman and told Shen Shuli how to hide the divine seal. Shen Shuli is Bailey Wenyu's master, and he also has the strength to give him a hidden divine seal. The ancestors of the Jiang family and Fang Qingqiong must not be allowed to discover Bailey Wenyu's divine seal. The reason why the ancestors of the Jiang family and Fang Qingqiong were able to contact the powerful powers in the sky was through the use of divine seals. While Fang Jun's was thinking, the transmission talisman lit up. Shen Shuli only said 2 words, "Thank you very much." Right now. A man in black appeared in front of Fang Jun's. When the man in black saw Fang Jun's, he immediately knelt down on one knee and said, "Master." When Fang Jun saw the disturbed person below, his eyes narrowed slightly and his expression became dangerous. "Why did you leave the fairy world without permission?" The man in black said respectfully, "Master, please forgive me, something extremely important has happened and I must report it personally." After the man in black finished speaking, he carefully set up several layers of barriers and spoke again, "Master, the Lord of Heaven and her contracted beast have appeared in the fairy world." Fang Jun's expression suddenly changed. Could it be fake again? The news came from Jingge of Tianling Palace. He also sent an image stone. The man in black presented the black stone. "This is the highest grade image stone." Fang Jun's thought he took the image stone calmly, but when he saw the scene inside the image stone, he couldn't help but tremble all over. The majestic big cat in the picture is the contracted beast of the Lord of Heaven. The big cat stood quietly next to a girl in green. The girl's blue robe was not stained by any dust, and the corners of her skirt were blown by the breeze. Faced with the siege of many heavenly soldiers, her chin was slightly raised, and there was no wave between her picturesque eyebrows. Those eyes, which were as transparent as glass, were clear and bright, with a hint of murderous intent hidden in them. The girl in the picture looks very calm at this time. Her unique dignity and aura are revealed unconsciously in her movements. This kind of temperament and heritage emanates from the bones. When Fang Jun saw this, he tried his best to suppress his emotions and asked, "And Jingge said she is the Lord of Heaven?" "Yes, Master, and Jingge said that although her appearance has changed, she is % the Lord of God." Respect could be heard in the tone of the man in black. "Besides the big cat, is there any other evidence that can prove that she is the Lord of Heaven?" Fang Jun's eyes were dark. "The person in the picture looks very similar to the Lord of Heaven, but there is a problem. The time agreed between the Lord of Heaven and Wugui Pavilion has not yet arrived." "Why did she show up early?" Su Exingheng had previously created a Wenyun that was % similar in appearance to the Lord of Heaven. It is also possible to create a woman with the same temperament as the Lord of Heaven. This point, he had to guard against. After all, Su Exingheng had always wanted to do things in the name of the Lord of Heaven. There is a secret guard next to Wen Wanjin who was a former follower of the Lord of Heaven. He has been secretly helping Fang Qingran since Fang Qingran appeared. There is also a colorful mysterious bracelet on Fang Qingran's wrist. Fang Qingran. Colorful mysterious bracelet. Fang Jun's looked at the image again. The moment Fang Qingran raised her wrist, a corner of the bracelet was revealed. It was a bit blurry and it was not completely clear that it was a colorful mysterious bracelet. She also ascended from the land abandoned by the gods. Feng Jun's asked. Yes. After hearing the secret guard's answer, Feng Jun's instantly had the answer in his heart. The ascension of Qin Hanyan and Bailey Wenyu is definitely related to Feng Qinggran. Immediately activate the chess pieces in the land abandoned by the gods and send everything about Feng Qinggran to me. Feng Jun's took out the transmission talisman and sent a message. The inheritance left by my mother said that the true Lord of God will definitely return. If this Feng Qinggran is the true Lord of Heaven, it's time for him to take the people from Wugui Pavilion to see her. Master, and Jingge still has some news for you, and it's all in this jade slip. The man in black handed the jade slip to Feng Jun's after he saw that he had finished processing it. Feng Jun's opened the jade slip and his eyes widened. Did she really find the source of the immortal river, or was she tricking Su Exingheng? I don't know. After the man in black answered seriously, he realized that Feng Jun's was actually talking to himself. Feng Jun spoke again. Is she hiding her strength in front of Su Exingheng? Or does she really have no strength at all? The man in black was silent. After a while, Feng Jun spoke up again. The mother of decay appeared on Su Exingheng, and then suddenly disappeared. It must have been pulled into the domain. I don't know the situation in the domain, but if there is auspiciousness in the sky, it must be okay. The man in black lowered his head. It was the first time for him to see such a vivid master. Did Njingge tell you the final battle situation, and how to deal with the mother of decay? Feng Jun's expression became serious. The news of the jade slips only caused auspicious signs to appear in the sky. As for Feng Qinggran, there was no explanation, and there was no explanation of the whereabouts of the mother of decay. When I entered the turbulence of time and space, auspicious signs had already descended on the fairy world. I don't know the specific situation, but if such a situation occurs, the mother of decay must have been defeated. The man in black analyzed carefully. Feng Jun stood up and said, go back to the fairy world first and protect Feng Qinggran. The man in black immediately responded, yes. He is a dead warrior who belongs to Feng Jun's alone. Completely obey Feng Jun's. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 611, Hundreds of Millions Obtained. The Holy Land of Origin Array mage carefully inspected it and found only an illusory god array hidden under the teleportation array, but nothing else was found. He walked back to Tang Jian and whispered, Holy Lord, this teleportation array is no different from the previous one. Tang Jian nodded and glanced sideways at Zhao Xiaodong. Zhao Xiaodong immediately understood and looked at Ning Dongsheng. Holy Lord Ning, your Holy Land wants to fool us, so you have to find a better reason at least, right? Of course Ning Dongsheng would ignore Zhao Xiaodong. Tang Jian deliberately ignored Qin Zixuan to show his identity. He also asked Zhao Xiaodong to talk to him to humiliate him. It's just that Tang Jian has overlooked that he also has a disciple. His apprentice is several times better than Zhao Xiaodong. It's no exaggeration that Qin Zixuan can defeat 10 Zhao Xiaodongs by himself. Qin Zixuan folded his arms and said, if you formation masters can check it out, can I offer you $1,000,000 per person? Qin Zixuan and Ning Dongsheng's eyes met. He told Ning Dongsheng to rest assured that he would definitely kill a piece of meat from the Holy Land of Origin. Just to be on the safe side, it's best to call Master Shen here, lest the Holy Land of Origin cheat on you after getting the news. And they're even more afraid that the Holy Land of Origin will take advantage of them. Tang Jian is a very suspicious person. Qin Zixuan persisted in saying that there was a problem with the formation, so even if the formation master did not check out the problem, he still did not let anyone enter the teleportation formation. Tang Jian finally looked at Qin Zixuan squarely. Master Qin said there is something wrong with the teleportation array, is there any evidence? Of course. Qin Zixuan reached out to Master Xuan. Uncle Xuan, can you borrow the star disk? When Master Xuan handed the star disk to Qin Zixuan, the formation master next to Tang Jian stared straight at the star disk. The star disk is as important to the array master as the sword in the hands of a swordsman. Qin Zixuan shook the star disk and walked to the teleportation array. Using this, you can find abnormalities in the teleportation array. The fifth elder can come and take a look. This time, before Tang Jian could say anything, the fifth elder took the initiative and walked over. The fifth elder came to Qin Zixuan and reached out to take the star plate. Qin Zixuan avoided the fifth elder's hand. Hey, don't touch it. I just hold it like this for you to look at. Pay attention to the formation eyes above. Qin Zixuan had seen Bailey Wenyu and Peak Master Xuan's operations before and remembered them immediately. The direct line of the Qin family has an extremely special inheritance. Any direct descendant of the Qin family will have a chance of developing photographic memory and extremely high comprehension. Coincidentally, Qin Zixuan has both. So he can remember many details that others cannot. At this moment, he really looked a bit like a formation master when operating the formation. The fifth elder stared at the array plate carefully and soon discovered that the teleportation array was not the main array. There is an extremely dangerous formation hidden under the teleportation formation. The face of the fifth elder changed suddenly. If they went to the fairy world in such a formation, they would probably be wiped out. What others in the Holy Land of Origin noticed were the 5 elders and the array. Zhao Xiaodong stared at Qin Zixuan with great jealousy. Qin Zixuan is very talented among the children of this generation of aristocratic families, if the Qin family had not been implicated by Qin Keqing. If the alliance hadn't been suppressing the Qin family, Qin Zixuan will definitely be able to worship at the Holy Land of Origin. No one noticed the viciousness in Zhao Xiaodong's eyes. The fifth elder said to Tang Jian solemnly, Holy Master, there is a very dangerous formation hidden under this teleportation formation. I forgot to remind you that almost all teleportation arrays in the God realm are like this. Qin Zixuan said quietly. Tang Jian's eyes were cold. What is the formation below? I can't tell. The fifth elder said matter-of-factly. I can see that as long as you give me the divine stone, I am willing to tell you more details. Qin Zixuan spoke without needing an answer. As long as his goal is achieved, the process doesn't matter. Qin Zixuan, can you stop looking for presents? My master doesn't even want to talk to you. Zhao Shaofeng had a bit of sinister look in his eyes. I want to talk to your master. After all, he is my potential god of wealth. As long as he is willing to pay me the divine stone, I will definitely reveal all the secrets of the teleportation array. Qin Zixuan kept smiling. 200 million per person is a huge wealth to today's holy land of vowels. But for the holy land of origin, it can't hurt the foundation. It's just that Tang Jian obviously doesn't want to give the sacred stone to the vowel holy land. Tang Jian looked at Master Xuanfeng and sent a message. Master Xuanfeng, our holy land of origin has a unique book of formations left over from ancient times. I wonder if you are interested. Come to holy land of origin and you will get a monthly salary of yuan. Think about it. ? Quote. Although Ning Dongsheng and Mu Ju didn't hear Tang Jian's message, they knew with their toes that Tang Jian was poaching. This is the favorite thing to do in the holy land of origin. In recent years, the holy land of Yuanyan and Taichu has declined, and the holy land of origin has been poaching many of their people. If Fang Jun's hadn't become the young master of Taichu along the way, Taichu is probably as miserable as Val now. Thank you Holy Master Tang for your kindness, Xuan cannot agree. Peak Master Xuan refused directly. Everyone present also suddenly understood. Qin Zixuan's eyes flashed slightly. Tang Jian was willing to dig out Uncle Xuan, which meant that Tang Jian believed what he said. Qin Zixuan had a clear mind and decided to continue the offensive. Tang Shengzhu, do you think the time you have spent here is enough for you to go to the immortal world to grab an ancient divine beast's leg? The Fang family and the Jiang family probably have arrived in the immortal world by now. Sure enough, Tang Jian's expression changed slightly when he heard the ancient beast. Qin Zixuan saw that Tang Jian was shaken and continued to attack. Holy Master Tang, 200 million per person, only 60 small targets. You can come back to the holy land of origin by working hard for hundreds of years, so why are you wasting your time here with us? Besides, there are only 4 ancient mythical beasts. If you go to the fairy world a little later, you may not be able to grab even a single Suzaku feather. The value of an ancient divine beast is far more than 6 billion. With the ancient divine beasts, the status of your holy land of origin can be raised to a higher level. How many divine stones will you need by then? Qin Zixuan's words touched Tang Jian's heart. Tang Jian looked at Qin Zixuan and said, tell me the secret of the teleportation array, and I will give you 6 billion divine stones. Now it was Qin Zixuan's turn to be stunned. It seems there are less. Regret is regret. However, Qin Zixuan was afraid that he would not have enough time, so he opened his mouth and said, you give me the divine stone first, and then I will say, anyway, we don't have as many people as you, so we can't escape. Tang Jian only hesitated for a moment and threw a storage ring into his hand. Then Tang Jian gave a gesture to everyone in the holy land of origin where Qin Zixuan and others could not see it. When Zhao Shaodong saw Tang Jian's actions, a sinister smile appeared on his lips. But Qin Zixuan didn't see it at all. After checking the sacred stone in the storage ring, he was so excited that he glanced sideways at Ning Dongsheng. When will Master Shen come? Ning Dongsheng took out the transmission talisman again and wanted to inform Shen Shuli about the situation here. The talisman was instantly destroyed by a force. Tang Jian exuded frightening coercion. Before I hear the secret of the teleportation array, please ask Holy Master Ning not to use the teleportation talismans. Tang Jian was afraid that others would know the secret of the teleportation array before him, so he went to the fairy world first. Ning Dongsheng really didn't use the transmission talisman again. Anyway, he had told Shen Shuli before that people from the holy land of origin were here, and Shen Shuli would be here soon. But Ning Dongsheng forgot. He told Shen Shuli that the holy land of origin was coming. So Shen Shuli took it for granted that they had not encountered anyone from the holy land of origin. Shen Shuli was taking advantage of this time to teach Bailey Wenyu how to practice. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 612 The Abyss of Evil Spirits. After hearing Qin Zixuan's words, everyone in the holy land of origin changed their faces. The God-eating formation is a formation specifically designed to destroy divine souls. And the soul is crucial to every god. If they really take this teleportation array to go to the fairy world, they may really be wiped out. Tang Jian's eyes flashed with a dangerous light. Master Qin, how do you prove that what is hidden underneath is the God-eating array? Qin Zixuan said with a smile, this is simple, you can ask your formation master to check out the God-devouring formation, do 3 consecutive rounds, and kun 6 breaks. Qin Zixuan spoke very seriously, and everyone pricked up their ears to listen to him. Mu Ju touched Ning Dongsheng at this moment and said through a message, isn't your apprentice a sword cultivator? When did you learn the formation? Ning Dongsheng shook his head and was also very confused. Qin Zixuan had never been exposed to formations. Where did he learn these theories? Although what Qin Zixuan said was very similar, Ning Dongsheng always felt that Qin Zixuan was deliberately bluffing. Qin Zixuan talked about the formation theory for half a quarter of an hour before asking the 5th elder of the origin with an incomprehensible look, you can find out the God-eating formation by checking it in the way I said. Do you understand? The 5th elder of origin was frozen on the spot. Everything Qin Zixuan said was correct, but does this have anything to do with the God-eating array? The 5th elder of origin just wanted to speak. Qin Zixuan said to Master Xuanfeng, Uncle Xuan, I remember that you checked out the God-eating array in this way. Am I right? Peak Master Xuan nodded cooperatively. Everything Qin Zixuan said was correct. But without the help of the star disk and Bailey Wenyu's reminder, it would be impossible for him to see the God-eating array. But of course these Xuan Peak Masters will not tell them. When the 5th elder of origin heard what Master Xuan said, he felt like he was riding a tiger. And now Tang Jian is staring at him. If he says that he didn't understand, Tang Jian will definitely doubt his strength. Then his position as the 5th elder may not be preserved. The fifth elder of origin could only bite the bullet and said, "What Master Qin is talking about is indeed the method of checking the God-eating array, but this teleportation array is extremely complex, and I need to check it in detail." The fifth elder of origin dodged and landed next to the teleportation array. Tang Jian looked at Qin Zixuan coldly, with murderous thoughts in his eyes. Ning Dongsheng's apprentice was a swordsman, so he would not be afraid. But Ning Dongsheng's apprentice must not be an array master. From ancient times to the present, the three types of formation masters, alchemists, and talisman masters are very rare and have high status. If an excellent formation mage appears within a force, this formation mage will definitely rise with this power. Tang Jian asked aloud, "Master Qin, does he have a way to break the God-eating formation?" Qin Zixuan looked embarrassed and said, yes, but. Tang Jian unceremoniously threw Qin Zixuan a storage bag. Qin Zixuan took it and opened it. It turned out to be million divine stones. Qin Zixuan pretended to be careless and put away the storage bag. "Holy Master Tang is too polite. I actually don't want the sacred stone, but since you gave it to me, I won't refuse." However, Tang Jian showed a kind face. "Young Master Qin, you are welcome. There is not much else in our holy land of origin, but there are many sacred stones. My apprentice Zhao Xiaodong can receive 1 million sacred stones in a month." Zhao Xiaodong's eyes widened and he stared at Tang Jian in confusion. "I only get 1,000 yuan a month, how can I get 1 million yuan? Everyone else in the holy land of origin is a human being." He instantly understood that Tang Jian wanted to win over Qin Zixuan. 1 million. Qin Zixuan glanced at Ning Dongsheng lightly. "Master, I don't want 1 million a month, I only want 10,000 a month, okay." Ning Dongsheng glared at Qin Zixuan. "You brat, I am short of food or clothing for you. Why do you need 10,000 divine stones a month?" Qin Zixuan touched his nose and looked at Tang Jian again. "Holy Master Tang, the God-eating array is connected with the teleportation array, and it is also the main array and cannot be destroyed. If you want to take the teleportation array to reach the fairy world safely, you have to sacrifice a strong man. The God-eating array will prioritize targeting the strongest ones above. You can let the strong person go to the teleportation array first. When activating the teleportation array, let this strong person use blood as a guide to sacrifice to the God-eating array, so that the array will not harm other people. Of course, the most important thing is to make this strong man willing to sacrifice, so that nothing goes wrong. If the person making the sacrifice has many distracting thoughts, then the God-eating array may have an effect on everyone." The reason why Qin Zixuan dared to tell Tang Jian about this method was because whether Tang Jian adopted it or not, the people in the origin Holy Land would probably not be united. Tang Jian is going to the immortal world to fight for the ancient mythical beast. Except for Zhao Xiaodong, the rest of the people he brought with him were all the backbone of the Holy Land of origin. It would be inappropriate for Tang Jian to push anyone out. But for the sake of the ancient beast, Tang Jian would definitely choose to sacrifice one person. While Tang Jian was thinking, Qin Zixuan winked at Ning Dongsheng and the others, meaning to take this opportunity to slip away. But when Qin Zixuan and others were about to say goodbye and leave, Zhao Xiaodong shouted loudly, "Master, they want to escape." Tang Jian suddenly woke up and raised his hand to set up a barrier. The barrier stopped Ning Dongsheng, Qin Zixuan, and Peak Master Xuan from leaving. Mu Ju had already traveled 100 miles away. When his consciousness spread, he realized that Ning Dongsheng and the others had not followed him. Mu Ju wanted to go back, but found that Tang Jian had sent someone to chase him. He instantly realized that he needed to move reinforcements. Mu Ju took out the talisman to transmit messages to the people in the Holy Land of Taichu. He also wanted to transmit messages to the people in the Holy Land of Vowels, but he could not find the talisman belonging to the Holy Land of Vowels. Mu Ju could only choose to go directly to the Vowel Holy Land to find someone. The people from the Origin Holy Land chased him to the entrance of the Yuanyin Holy Land. When he saw Mu Ju entering the Holy Land, he had no choice but to go back to find Tang Jian. Within the boundary, Medue went to the Vowel Holy Land. Yes. Tang Jian's face was dark and he glanced coldly at Ning Dongsheng. Ever since Peak Master Ji and others were sealed into the evil spirit abyss, Taichu and Yuanyin had completely broken apart. Now that Ning Dongsheng and Mu Ju are reconciled, does it mean that they know the plan back then? "Master, please leave Qin Zixuan to me," Zhao Xiaodong said to Tang Jian. Tang Jian's thoughts were disrupted and his face was slightly unhappy, but he did not lose his temper with Zhao Xiaodong. Tang Jian stared at Qin Zixuan. "Master Qin, I wonder if you are interested in coming to my Holy Land of origin." Qin Zixuan asked, "What status will I have after going to the Holy Land of origin? Can I be higher than Zhao Xiaodong?" Qin Zixuan did not refuse directly. He understood that if he refused sternly, he would fall into the hands of Zhao Xiaodong, and his end would be tragic. "Master." Zhao Xiaodong looked at Tang Jian with some confusion. Qin Zixuan is Qin Keqing's nephew. Why does Master dare to accept the Qin family into the Holy Land? Isn't Master afraid that the Alliance will target them because of this? Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 613 The Great Seal of Isolation in Ancient Times. Of course Tang Jian would not answer Zhao Xiaodong's doubts. Tang Jian asked Qin Zixuan, "What do you want?" Qin Zixuan's eyes turned quickly. "Well, I don't want anything, just give me the position of Deputy Holy Master, or give me the position of Peak Master, of course if you do both." Boom. Before Qin Zixuan finished speaking, a strong wind blew him away. Qin Zixuan fell to the ground. Ning Dongsheng hurriedly went to check on Qin Zixuan's condition. When Ning Dongsheng reached out to help Qin Zixuan suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. Qin Zixuan forced a smile. "Master, really, how come you can't even protect your own apprentice?" Ning Dongsheng instantly felt less guilty and went to pull Qin Zixuan. "You brat, how long have you been? Are you still in the mood to joke?" Tang Jian winked at the three elders next to him. The third elder understood what he was saying, got up and headed towards Ning Dongsheng. Qin Zixuan didn't have time to remind Ning Dongsheng to be careful behind his back. Peak Master Xuan took the lead and blocked the way of the three elders. Wait a minute, I have a way to minimize the impact of the God-eating array on you. The third elder looked at Tang Jian. Tang Jian didn't ask the third elder to come back, nor did he ask the third elder to stop. Tang Jian asked Peak Master Xuan, how long does it take to change the formation? An hour. I only give you half an hour. If you can improve, we can consider keeping you alive, otherwise. You all stay here. Tang Jian's voice was full of chill. Peak Master Xuan thought for a moment and nodded in agreement, okay. Tang Jian said to the fifth elder of origin, you change it the way he said. If he dares to lie, he will be dealt with by you. Yes, the fifth elder of origin couldn't wait to walk to the teleportation array. Peak Master Xuan also ducked to the side of the teleportation array. The fifth elder of origin smiled and said, Master Xuanfeng lend me the star disc, otherwise I'm not sure I can change the formation according to the way you said. Peak Master Xuan had a reluctant expression on his face, but his eyes were calm. Peak Master Xuan had his back to Ning Dongsheng and Qin Zixuan, so they only felt Master Xuan Peak's humiliated emotion and could not see Master Xuan Peak's eyes. Only Qin Zixuan noticed something was wrong with the expression of the fifth elder of origin. But Qin Zixuan was seriously injured at the moment and had no intention of thinking so much. In addition, Zhao Xiaodong was staring at him with a face filled with resentment, so Qin Zixuan chose to sit up to heal his injuries. After Mu Ju broke into the Vowel Holy Land, it immediately alerted the four elders who were still in the Holy Land. The fourth elder led Mu Ju to a hall. The Holy Lord really faced off against the Holy Lord Tang from the origin. Yes, there are 5 gods in the Holy Land of origin. I am no match for them, so I came to Elder Shen to save people. The fourth elder's eyes flickered and he stood up. Holy Master Mu, please wait here while I go to find Elder Shen. Mu Ju can sit still, I'll go with you. The fourth elder stopped Mu Ju and said, Holy Lord Mu, Elder Shen is in a forbidden area. Outsiders are not allowed to approach the forbidden area. Please understand. Mu Ju could only sit back down. The fourth elder turned around and walked out, closing the door. He turned to the 2 disciples guarding the door and said, activate the isolation formation. Don't let anyone come in and disturb Holy Master Mu. Yes, the disciple obeyed and activated the formation and watched the 4 elders leave. Mu Ju couldn't sit still in the hall, and finally couldn't help but want to go to Ning Dongsheng first. But when he wanted to open the door, he found that the door could not be opened. Mu Ju's expression changed slightly and he immediately slapped the door. The door was unscathed. A seal appeared on the door. Mu Ju murmured, why does the ancient seal of isolation appear here? When the misunderstanding between him and the Vowel Holy Land was resolved, the fourth elder was also present. Why did the fourth elder want to lock him up? Could it be that the fourth elder wanted to stop him from saving Ning Dongsheng? There was an anxious look on Mu Ju's face. Since the fourth elder had stopped him, he would definitely not inform Shen Shuli. Mu Ju immediately took out the transmission talisman and wanted to notify the people in his holy land, but found that he could not transmit the sound at all. Only then did he remember that the ancient seal of isolation could only be opened from the outside. And the people locked inside cannot get in touch with the outside world. The 2 disciples outside the door were the 2 people outside the Holy Lord's temple before. They have been reduced to servant disciples. Why do you think Holy Lord Taichu came to our holy land alone? A slightly younger disciple asked in confusion. What else can we do? He must know that the Holy Lord has left the Holy Land and is deliberately looking for trouble. Or can the fourth elder allow us to lock people up? The disciple on the other side said matter-of-factly. As the disciple opposite said, he seemed to remember something, and asked the young disciple mysteriously, do you think if we release him, will he cause trouble in the Holy Land? Hearing what the other party said, the young disciple looked round and lowered his voice, do you want to die? If the fourth elder finds out that we are doing this, we will probably die. Resentment flashed through the disciple's eyes. What are you afraid of? This Holy Lord Taichu is powerful and will definitely cause chaos in Yuan Yin. Let's just leave Yuan Yin while taking advantage of the chaos. Now that the Holy Land is empty, Holy Lord Taichu might be able to take it all at once. Lower vowel. The young disciple seemed a little scared. Then where will we go after leaving the Holy Land? The disciple looked a little more cautious and said through the message, let's go to the Alliance to report to the Holy Land of Vowels, saying that the newly canonized saint is involved with Qin Keqing, so the Alliance will definitely take action against Yuan Yin. The young disciple was extremely shocked. If we go to the Alliance to talk nonsense like this, what if we are exposed? The disciple sneered, don't be afraid. I heard from the fourth elder that the new saint was sent to the Qin family and is involved with the Qin family. Let's just say that the new saint is related to Qin Keqing. If Qin Keqing is involved, the Alliance will definitely treat Yuan Yin take action. The young disciple was still a little hesitant because a so-called skinny camel was bigger than a horse. Thousands of years ago, the Holy Land of Vowels was still the first Holy Land. Even if it is in decline now, it cannot be destroyed so easily. I saw the young disciple thinking. The disciple opposite became slightly impatient, but he knew that if the two went to the Alliance to report, they would definitely gain more trust. The disciple on the other side continued to persuade, if you don't follow me, do you think you can escape when the Alliance attacks the Holy Land? You should know the Alliance's methods. They would rather kill 10,000 by mistake than let one go. The young disciple felt as if he was riding a tiger. Then we can't go over like this. We must take some things or tokens from the Holy Land to go over. The eyes of the disciple opposite him lit up. It has to be you. What do you think is suitable? The young disciple said slightly nervously, Qin Zixuan is from the Qin family. Let's go to his yard to get something that belongs to the Qin family, and then say it belongs to the saint. This will increase credibility. Okay, let's do it. The disciple opposite raised his hand and gave a thumbs up. In fact, his smile did not reach his eyes. he became wary of young disciples. People who seem harmless should be more careful. Qin Zixuan was in a hurry when he left the Holy Land and did not clean up the yard. In this way, the two of them found an extremely hidden thing that he had hidden in his yard. One of them held the thing in his hand and was very excited. If we hand this thing over to the Suppression Alliance, the vowels will no longer exist. The young man is a little worried. We may also be silenced. After all, the Alliance does not even allow her name to be mentioned by anyone in the God realm. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 614 The Patriarch of the Jiang Family. Spirit World. The four vowel elders stopped at one place. In front of him were steps extending upward. At the end of the steps is a towering palace. The palace's glazed green tiles and cornices give people the feeling of reaching for the stars and embracing the moon. The fourth elder Yuan Yin looked at the palace greedily, showing a longing expression. Everyone in the God realm knows that the Jiang family chose this position to be in heaven. All the children of the Jiang family who come out of this place have outstanding qualifications and strong luck. The fourth elder Val admired it for a while, then slowly took out the transmission talisman. At this time, a boy suddenly appeared in front of the fourth elder. The boy looked arrogant. Our ancestors have been waiting for you for a long time, come with me. Surprise flashed in the eyes of the fourth elder Yuan Yin. In the past, the person who contacted him was the elder of the Jiang family. How could he become the ancestor now? While the fourth elder was stunned, the boy had already turned around and walked up. The fourth elder did not dare to delay, so he quickly followed the young man and asked insinuatingly, the ancestor of the Jiang family has been in retreat, why did he suddenly want to see me? The boy seemed not to want to pay attention to the fourth elder and chose to remain silent. The fourth elder Yuan Yin was not angry. He walked forward quickly and handed the boy a storage bag. Little brother, this is a small gesture to thank you for leading the way. The boy took the storage bag, weighed it, and found that there were only 1,000 sacred stones. He felt a little disgusted, and actually returned the things directly to the fourth elder. The Jiang family is famous in the divine world for its destiny deduction. Occasionally, a spiritual master appears who follows his words. Countless gods eagerly came forward to establish good relations with the Jiang family and wanted the blessing of the spiritual master. They, the servants of the Jiang family, naturally became the targets of those gods. The higher the status of a god, the more he believes in fate. Those gods would have at least divine stones at the disposal. This was the first time he received 1,000 divine stones. The boy said, Ancestor specially asked me to come down to pick you up. The fourth elder quickly understood that the young man disliked young master Qian Shenxi. The fourth elder's face was full of smiles. This sacred stone is just a thank you gift. There is another sacred jade here that I forgot to hand to you. One piece of divine jade can be worth 10,000 divine stones. The boy accepted it happily this time. My ancestor came out of seclusion specifically to ask you to come in. Just say whatever I ask you, and you must not hide anything. Thank you for reminding me, little brother. The fourth elder bowed his head and said. The two quickly arrived at the entrance of the palace. The boy handed the fourth elder a breath-sealing charm and motioned for him to stick it on. After affixing the breath-sealing talisman, all divine power will disappear. The fourth elder did not hesitate to put on the talisman. The two of them entered the palace, and the servant led the fourth elder to the courtyard of the ancestor of the Jiang family. Right now. A steady voice sounded from behind the two of them, Jinyong, who is this? The fourth elder turned around and saw a tall young man holding a leopard cub in his arms. The young man has a handsome face and exudes a calm and unhurried demeanor. When the young man heard this voice, his attitude instantly became respectful. Master Chanyu, this is the fourth elder of Yuan Yin. By the way, the ancestor is waiting for you inside. Please hurry in. Okay, the young man nodded. The fourth elder and the young man watched the young man walk in. It was not until his figure disappeared that the young man straightened up. Who is that? The fourth elder asked curiously. He didn't know if it was his own illusion. The young man's eyes seemed to be able to see through everything, making all secrets inescapable. That's the one Mr. Jiang loves most, our young master Jiang Chanyu. The young man said proudly. Jiang Chanyu seems to have a high status. But I've never heard of such a person in the Jiang family. The fourth elder was confused. The young man spoke again, you can go in by yourself. Master Chanyu comes to see my ancestor. You should feel better. Inside the house. The ancestor of the Jiang family was looking at the hexagrams with a serious expression. When Jiang Chanyu walked in, a smile immediately appeared on the face of the ancestor of the Jiang family. Chanyu, you're here. Ancestor, do our Jiang family cooperate with the Vowel Holy Land? Jiang Chanyu asked curiously. If anyone else asked this question, the ancestor of the Jiang family would definitely ignore it. But this person was replaced by Jiang Chanyu, and the ancestor of the Jiang family did not intend to hide it. He is the Jiang family's secret agent buried in Yuan Yin. Yuan Yin recently canonized a saint and seems to be planning to go against the alliance. Moreover, this saint came from the land abandoned by the gods, so I want to ask him to ask some questions. What's the name of that saint? The ancestor of the Jiang family raised his head and asked Jiang Chanyu to sit down. Qin Hanyin, this woman's numerology is very strange. Logically speaking, she should die in the land abandoned by the gods, but for some unknown reason, not only did she not die, she also ascended into the divine world. Quote. There were waves in Jiang Chanyu's eyes. Miss Feng's third senior sister seemed to be named Qin Hanyin. Didn't Miss Feng ascend to the fairy world? Why did Qin Hanyin appear in the god realm? Ancestor, you can't easily deduce the life experience of a person who flew up from the lower world. Jiang Chanyu asked tentatively. No, the ancestor of the Jiang family did not notice anything unusual about Jiang Chanyu. I can't deduce what happened after she ascended, so I need something close to her body to deduce. It stands to reason that she is a saint from a holy land. It wasn't worth his while. But when he heard her surname was Qin, the ancestor of the Jiang family couldn't help but think of Qin Keqing. Coupled with her strange numerology, he had to suspect that she was involved with Qin Keqing. Jiang Chanyu's eyes flashed slightly and he changed the subject. Ancestor, an ancient beast appears in the immortal world, won't you go? Your uncle and the others have gone with them. I want to stay in the Jiang family. After all, the Feng family is not a fuel-efficient lamp. If I leave, they may take the opportunity to attack the palace. This position of the Jiang family has been coveted by the Feng family for a long time. Moreover, in Feng Qingqiong's eyes, it was because he took away this position that the Feng family had a deviant Feng Qingwu. After the ancestor of the Jiang family finished speaking, he looked at Jiang Chanyu curiously. What, you want to go to the fairy world? Jiang Chanyu nodded seriously. I want to see the 4 ancient beasts, and I'm also curious about what the fairy world is like. The ancestor of the Jiang family suddenly thought of something and sighed. Chanyu, you are so smart, maybe you have already guessed who your father is. Ah. The sudden appearance of the group of men in black in the land abandoned by the gods reminded him. The ancestor of the Jiang family looked solemn. Chanyu, he is not a good father. I don't want you to recognize him. The Jiang family cannot control his ambition. What our Jiang family has done is something that defies heaven. We are destined to act in a low-key manner and not be in too high a position. Once we become too noble, we will surely suffer the backlash from heaven. Not only will our longevity be seriously damaged, our deduction talent may also disappear. And his ambition is to reach the top of the road. If we cooperate with him, we will definitely attract the attention of Da Dao. By then, our Jiang family will be in danger. The ancestor of the Jiang family chose to hide from God. The ancestors of the Jiang family chose to sit down instead of going to heaven, just because they were afraid of attracting Da Dao's attention. The fact that the Feng family can overwhelm the Jiang family in the divine world is also because God has the power of the Feng family. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 615 The Truth of Cultivation. Ancestor, I don't want to recognize him, I just want to see the scenery of the fairy world. Jiang Chanyu said seriously. The ancestor of the Jiang family had a look of helplessness on his eyebrows and did not believe Jiang Chanyu's words. Chanyu, if you want to go to the fairy world, go ahead, but remember not to recognize relatives randomly. Once you recognize some relationships, his karma will be connected to you. Su Exingheng did too many evil things. Once Chanyu recognizes him, it will definitely damage Chanyu's moral character and be detrimental to Chanyu's luck. Su Exingheng's ambition is obvious. Su Exingheng raised a woman who looked exactly like Feng Qingwu in the fairy world. I'm afraid he wants to use that woman to impersonate Feng Qingwu. If he hadn't been hiding for Su Exingheng all these years, the Suppression Alliance would have gone to the immortal realm long ago. Feng Qingqiong wouldn't even let anyone mention his name. Su Exingheng dared to cultivate a substitute regardless of life or death. Ancestor, there is one more thing I don't understand. Why do some people in the immortal world say that my mother is Wen Yun? As soon as Jiang Chanyu said these words, the expression of the ancestor of the Jiang family suddenly changed and he became a little more majestic. Who did you listen to? When I was in the land abandoned by the gods, I met a group of secret guards sent by the Queen of Heaven. They wanted to kill me. They also told me that my mother's name is Wen Yun. You are of Jiang family blood, there is no way you are involved with a mermaid. If you don't believe me, just go to the fairy world and check it out yourself. After the ancestor of the Jiang family finished speaking, he raised his hands and 2 secret guards appeared. The ancestor of the Jiang family looked at the 2 secret guards and said, Jiangan, Jiang Yi, you 2 follow Qian Yu to the god realm. You must protect his safety. Yes. From now on, you will follow Qian Yu. The ancestor of the Jiang family means that they do not need to come back to his side anymore. From now on, their master will be Jiang Qian Yu. Ancestor, if you give them to me, what will you do? These 2 people are the strongest around the ancestor of the Jiang family, and have saved the ancestor many times. Chanyu, I will never leave the Jiang family again. From now on, you will be responsible for the Jiang family's affairs. The ancestor of the Jiang family said. Ancestor, shouldn't he be uncle? Jiang Chanyu was very puzzled. Chanyu, you are a spiritual master and the hope of everyone in the Jiang family. If a deducer is only 1 in a million, then a spiritual master is eternity hard to find. The ancestor of the Jiang family said seriously. His realm is no longer suitable for staying in the god realm. Once he walks out of the Jiang family's boundary, both Tiandao and Dao Dao will notice him. At that time, the moral authority will be lowered, and he will have no way to avoid it. Feng Qingwu closes the sky. His escape route was cut off. God is not just God, but also a medium to a higher realm. It is also where other invaders enter this plane. That's why Feng Qingwu closed the sky before his death. Of course, Feng Qingwu sealed the sky, not to cut off his way to another realm, but to protect the ordinary people in the 3,000 small worlds. Feng Qingwu saw clearly the faces of the powerful people in the upper world. She was afraid that after she left, Jichang would not care about outsiders, nor would they care about the creatures in the 3,000 small worlds. I am even more afraid that Zhu Qiang will only try the best to plunder resources and look for the possibility of flying outside the territory. Although the ancestor of the Jiang family did not agree with Feng Qingwu's approach, he had no way to stop it. It was also impossible to break the restriction left by Feng Qingwu. He had previously calculated that the person who could break God's restriction was related to Jiang Chanyu. So after Jiang Chanyu was born, he made an exchange with Su Exingheng and asked Jiang Chanyu to have a surname of Jiang instead of Su. For this reason, he lent several gods to Su Exingheng to help Su Exingheng. Naturally, he would not tell Jiang Chanyu these things. And it was even more impossible for Su Exingheng to say it. Ancestor, is Master Yanling really the darling of Tao? Jiang Chanyu couldn't help but think of his state every time he used up his power of speaking. The verbal spell may seem very powerful, but it will cause great damage after using it. Jiang Chanyu didn't like this kind of power very much. Such power is a constraint for him, a sense of responsibility that he cannot shake off. An obscure dark light flashed across the turbid eyes of the ancestor of the Jiang family. Qian Yu, Yan Lingxi is indeed the darling of heaven, because Yan Lingxi can always borrow the power of heaven no matter where he is, but... The ancestor of the Jiang family raised his hand to set up a barrier and said seriously, once a person relies on a certain power, he will also be trapped by a certain power. If you borrow the power of heaven, then you cannot disobey or exceed it. Once you transcend the power of heaven, take control, and heaven will obliterate you. Jiang Chanyu's eyes flashed slightly. What kind of power will be obliterated by heaven? The ancestor of the Jiang family thought for a moment and decided to tell Jiang Chanyu the cruel truth. The monks in the lower realm start their cultivation by introducing qi into the body and go through 9 levels of ascension. Actually, there are very few monks who can ascend from the lower world. The lives of people in the lower world are all written. There is absolutely no possibility of transcending the way of heaven in their lives. These are all written in numerology. No matter how hard they practice, they cannot transcend. This is a way for the powerful powers in the upper realm to control the monks in the lower realm to prevent them from competing for resources with themselves. Of course, there will occasionally be a few special monks who appear in the lower world. They get some kind of opportunity by accident, and then they're very lucky and ascend to the upper world. There are 6 realms in the upper realm, but there are only 4 paths of immortality, gods, demons, and Buddhas that can be cultivated by those who ascend in the lower realm. These 4 paths of cultivation cannot transcend the way of heaven alone. Practitioners who ascend from the lower realm to the upper realm are destined to be unable to break through certain barriers. They can only practice one way. Even if there is a lucky person who can cultivate both immortality and God, he still can't find the way. Thus, the way for those in the lower world to transcend the way of heaven is cut off. However, the path of cultivation for us cultivators in the upper realm is to pursue transcendence from the constraints of heaven. Because when we are trapped in the Tao, we need to follow cause and effect, and it is impossible to do whatever we want and do as we please. The powerful powers in the upper realm have been exploring ways to break through the constraints of heaven. While we seek breakthroughs, Heavenly Tao will also be afraid that its supreme status will be threatened, so anyone who finds a way to break through Heavenly Tao will be obliterated by Heavenly Tao. The journey to break through the shackles is extremely difficult and dangerous, and you will die if you are not careful. Throughout the ages, only one person has achieved the true transcendence of heaven. That person has 5 color spiritual roots, which were created by the saints of the prehistoric times. Only this kind of spiritual roots can have the chance to transcend the constraints of heaven. Because the 5 color spiritual roots can cultivate together with the 5 elements, and at the same time, the 5 elements will derive various Tao roots, which are all-encompassing, there will be no obstacles in any path of cultivation. Of course, the 5 color spiritual root has a fatal drawback, that is, the 5 color spiritual root cannot draw qi into the body. Strictly speaking, its cultivation method has been destroyed by heaven. So Chanyu, you don't have to worry about being obliterated by the Tao of heaven, because all living beings in this world, no matter where they go to practice, are under the control of the Tao. As long as you are still under its control, you are of value to it, and the law of heaven will not kill you. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 616, The Chess Piece of Heaven, updated. Chanyu, you and I seem to be able to deduce God's will and change some people's numerology. In fact, we are all pawns of heaven, used by it to control the strong. What we calculated is just what heaven wants to calculate. The reason why you say Dharma Sui is because heaven wants to use you to achieve a certain purpose, so it gives you the power to say Dharma Sui. Besides, the cultivation of people like us is worse than that of ordinary monks. Our strength is controlled by heaven. It will not make us too strong and beyond its control, nor will it make us too weak and unable to fulfill heaven's will. So don't use the power of words and spirits lightly. You must use the power of words and spirits only when you receive the thoughts of heaven. The ancestor of the Jiang family sighed deeply after finishing speaking. He originally wanted to tell Jiang Chanyu these things later. But there are some things he won't say now. When Jiang Chanyu goes to the fairy world and meets Su Exingheng, he may be deceived by Su Exingheng. The ancestor of the Jiang family taught me too many things. Jiang Chanyu didn't know which one to think about first. It was obvious that the ancestor of the Jiang family had told him so much, as if to hint that he should not try to escape the shackles of heaven. Ancestor, who is the person who broke through the shackles of heaven? It's not appropriate for you to know this person. You are a spiritual master. Once you leave this palace, heaven will pay special attention to you. Once you mention his name and be noticed by heaven, it may anger heaven. The ancestor of the Jiang family did not dare to do so without permission. Mention that person's name. Some even don't want to mention that person's name. People in the upper world are struggling to find a way to break through the shackles, but they never thought that the first people to transcend the shackles of the Great Road would be the people in the lower world. This is undoubtedly a slap in the face of people from the upper world. It is precisely because of this that the upper world suppresses the lower level monks. Because they suppressed the lower realm monks too much, Fang Qingwu appeared to support the ordinary monks. Ancestor, is the person with the 5 color spiritual root Fang Qingwu? No. Fortunately, Fang Qingwu does not have 5 color spiritual roots, and does not transcend the constraints of heaven. Otherwise, there would be no way they could plot against Fang Qingwu. The ancestor of the Jiang family waved to Jiang Chanyu, as if he didn't want to say any more. Chanyu, when are you going to the fairy world? I want to meet the 4th elder with my ancestor, Jiang Chanyu said. After hearing this, the ancestor of the Jiang family opened the barrier. The 4th elder immediately stooped and walked in. I've met my ancestor, I've met young master Jiang. The ancestor of the Jiang family went straight to the point. Are you prepared for what I ask you to prepare? Yes. The 4th elder immediately took out a lock of hair and prepared to hand it to the ancestor of the Jiang family. Jiang Chanyu stood up first, took the hair, and sent it to the ancestor. The ancestor signaled Jiang Chanyu to put the things on the table, looked at the fourth elder and asked, "How is Bailey Wenyu in your holy land doing now?" The fourth elder thought for a moment and said, "He became the master of Shen Shuli and became the young peak master of King Yun Peak. This time he went to the immortal world, and the holy master also took him with him." Shen Shuli, half-step holy god. The ancestor of the Jiang family glanced at the hexagram and frowned slightly. Something was wrong. Strangeness. After Bailey Wenyu entered the Holy Land, he should have entered the Holy Land by mistake and was expelled later. Then he will come to Jiang's house to find him. But things went off track and Bailey Wenyu became Shen Shuli's apprentice. The ancestor of the Jiang family touched the thing in his hand and couldn't figure out what went wrong. If Bailey Wen doesn't come to Jiang's house, he won't be able to take away the divine seal, and the rest of the plan won't be implemented. The ancestor of the Jiang family glanced at the fourth elder. "Do you know the process or reasons why Shen Shuli accepted Bailey Wenyu as his disciple?" Back to ancestor, "We only received the news of the canonization, and we don't know anything about the rest. Ning Dongsheng has managed the Holy Land these years as he pleases. And never consider convincing others when doing things. Go back, and when you are sitting in the teleportation array, stick this talisman on Bailey Wenyu." The ancestor of the Jiang family flicked his sleeves, and a purple talisman fell into the hands of the fourth elder. The fourth elder held the talisman and hesitated. "This talisman will not be noticed by Shen Shuli," the ancestor of the Jiang family explained. "Yes, then I'll take my leave." The fourth elder bowed and exited. It wasn't until he walked out of the courtyard that the fourth elder felt relieved. The ancestor of the Jiang family seemed to have done nothing, but the pressure he exerted on him made the fourth elder almost breathless. After the fourth elder left, Jiang Chanyu walked up to the ancestor of the Jiang family and said with concern, "Ancestor, you have only been deducing Bailey Wenyu's matter for half a year. Qin Hanyan's matter can be left to others to reason. The longer the interval between deducing such actions, the better. No matter how strong you are, you can only push once in 10 years. Okay." The ancestor of the Jiang family agreed with a smile. "Ancestor, I will come back from the fairy world as soon as possible." Jiang Chanyu stood up and left with the leopard cub in his arms. The ancestor of the Jiang family watched Jiang Chanyu leave, then waved, and a secret guard appeared. "Go and check Qin Hanyan's appearance and personality." The dark guard took the order to leave. The ancestor of the Jiang family looked at a strand of hair on the table, flicked his sleeves, and the hair disappeared. Jiang Chanyu thought that the replacement movements were very subtle, but his skills were still too shallow. "Hey, it's rare to fall in love with a woman. If this woman is really good, then we can deduce her affairs after she is brought into the Jiang family," the ancestor of the Jiang family murmured. At the same time, Bailey Wenyu stopped practicing and said, "Master, did something happen to the Holy Lord and the others? Why haven't they come over yet?" Shen Shuli's spiritual consciousness spread, and there was no trace within a radius of thousands of miles. "You are practicing here, and as a teacher, go and see if they're still in the teleportation formation just now." After Shen Shuli finished speaking, the person had left. The half-step virtual god's teleportation speed is astonishingly fast. It was thousands of miles away in the blink of an eye. As soon as Shen Shuli approached the teleportation array, he felt the aura of Ning Dongsheng and others. It's just that their situation isn't that good. Tang Jian didn't seem to notice Shen Shuli's arrival. He stared at the fifth elder and asked, "Half an hour is up. Has the teleportation array been modified?" The fifth elder of origin broke out in cold sweat. "Holy Lord, the method he said is simply not feasible." The fifth elder of origin did not dare to admit that the formation was too complicated and that he was not strong enough, so he could only shirk responsibility. "Fifth elder, we still have a few steps to go." Boom. Master Xuanfeng was mid-sentence when he was slapped away by the fifth elder. Tang Jian looked away and said coldly to the third elder, "Let's do it." The third elder immediately launched an attack on Ning Dongsheng. Zhao Xiaodong, who was beside Tang Jian, didn't wait for Tang Jian's instructions and couldn't wait to head towards Qin Zixuan, who was recovering from his injuries. However, the two people's movements were frozen in midair at the same time. Then, the two people appeared on the teleportation array. The third elder and Zhao Xiaodong stood on the teleportation array and looked at each other. They didn't know what happened. "Who is it? Come out." Tang Jian was keenly aware that someone entered the barrier quietly. "The person who sent you away." "I only heard a dull voice, but I couldn't see anyone." Tang Jian and others instantly entered a state of alert, but they all felt a flash of white light in front of their eyes, and then they all stood on the teleportation array. When Tang Jian wanted to leave the teleportation array, a layer of barrier blocked their way. "The teleportation array has been activated at this time." Tang Jian reacted very quickly and took out million sacred stones and put them into the card slot of the formation. Tang Jian thought of the god-devouring formation under the teleportation formation, which required the sacrifice of a strong man. Tang Jian's eyes fell on the third elder and he already had an idea in his mind. "Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore." Chapter 617. The third elder felt Tang Jian's gaze and thought of the god-eating formation in his mind. But the third elder was not too panicked. Qin Zixuan made it very clear that the god-eating array would attack the strongest first. Among him and Tang Jian was stronger. Tang Jian met the third elder's gaze with fierce eyes. The third elder saw Tang Jian raise his palm to use his divine power and slap him hard. In an instant, Tang Jian's realm fell, from the peak of the divine to the sixth level of the divine. Tang Jian's move stunned everyone in the Holy Land of Origin. Zhao Xiaodong's face turned pale with fright. "Master, how are you?" Tang Jian stared at the third elder and took out a black token. "Third elder, in the name of the Holy Lord, I order you to sacrifice and protect the others on the teleportation array." Of course the third elder is unwilling. Sacrifice to the god-eating formation means that his name will disappear from the Book of Life and Death, and he will completely lose the chance of reincarnation. Others remained silent when they heard Tang Jian's words. After all, they knew in their hearts that if the third elder did not sacrifice, everyone would suffer. But this time, it was too late to set up the teleportation array, so the only choice was to let the third elder sacrifice himself. Holy Lord, if we resist the influence of the god-devouring formation together, everyone's soul will only be slightly injured. Why do you have to sacrifice me? The third elder had a look of anger in his eyes. In our realm, even a slight injury to the soul is fatal, and how difficult it is to repair the injury to the soul. The third elder should know that the injury suffered by Feng Lao's soul 100,000 years ago has not been completely repaired until now. Quote. As Tang Jian spoke, the token in his hand glowed faintly red. It's just that everyone was very nervous at the moment and had no intention of paying attention to the token. Tang Jian, you are so cruel. Just for this, you want to sacrifice me. The aura around the third elder began to surge, and the terrifying pressure spread within the small barrier. Fortunately, the gods on the teleportation array were able to resist the pressure of the three elders. However, the few people below the deity's cultivation were unable to withstand the terrifying coercion exuded by the three elders. Puff. Zhao Xiaodong next to Tang Jian vomited blood directly. If Zhao Xiaodong hadn't supported Tang Jian, he wouldn't even have the strength to stand at this moment. Zhao Xiaodong felt like his internal organs were about to be crushed. Third elder, what do you want to do? A peak leader asked nervously. Ha ha ha, what are you doing? Since I am going to die, then everyone should stop living. The third elder's eyes gradually became scarlet, and his divine power spread, and he was about to take action. Tang Jian took advantage of this and raised the token, and a red light shot out, covering the third elder. The third elder paused, his scarlet eyes gradually calmed down, and then became dull. Afterwards, Tang Jian muttered something softly, but no one else could hear him clearly. Zhao Xiaodong beside him could hear it clearly. Origin control, I am willing to sacrifice my soul. After hearing these words, Zhao Xiaodong no longer cared about the pain on his body. He only felt like falling into an ice cellar, and extreme fear spread to the bottom of his heart. Zhao Xiaodong recalled that when he first entered the Holy Land, he swore allegiance to the Holy Land and recited these words. And at that time, Tang Jian specifically asked for a piece of his soul breath, saying that he wanted to make it into a soul lamp. With the soul lamp around, if a person's soul is scattered outside, he can still find a way to gather his soul. However, the soul lamp has advantages as well as disadvantages. If the person who controls the soul lamp is too powerful, he can easily decide the life or death of the owner of the soul lamp. And now Tang Jian is controlling the third elder through the soul lamp. A dagger suddenly appeared in the third elder's hand. He used the dagger to separate his wrists without hesitation, and blood spurted out. Many people were stained with the third elder's blood. When everyone saw this scene, they were all chilled. The blood from the third elder's wrist slowly dripped into the teleportation array. The third elder's blood flowed very quickly, and a small part of the blood merged with the blood that Zhao Xiaodong had spit out before. Click. There was a gaping hole in the ground beneath the third elder's feet. The entire teleportation array emitted a dazzling light, and then the teleportation array began to vibrate. What? Everyone in the Holy Land of Origin only heard a strange scream. Then the teleportation array starts. They had a vague feeling that the sound did not come from the third elder. It's just that at this moment, everyone can't protect themselves, so they have no intention to find out who made the scream. After everyone broke through the turbulence of time and space between realms, they opened their eyes again, and the third elder was nowhere to be seen. No one in the Holy Land of Origin spoke. Several elders looked at each other with wary eyes. It was the third elder who was sacrificed when we came here, and someone else must be sacrificed when we go back, and that person can only be one of them. Tang Jian's mood did not change much. Great Elder, go and find out where this is. The Great Elder nodded in agreement and disappeared. Zhao Xiaodong, who was standing behind Tang Jian, had his head lowered and was extremely quiet. Zhao Xiaodong's eyes were filled with piercing hatred, and the expression on his face was even more sinister. Holy Lord, something is wrong here. The immortal world should be full of immortal energy. The impression of immortal energy is ethereal, but the atmosphere here always gives me a feeling of disgust. The second elder said with a solemn expression. As soon as the third elder said this, the others stepped out of their suspicion and felt the surrounding atmosphere. They subconsciously reject the atmosphere here. Gods come from immortals, so they cannot reject the spirit of immortals. What disgusts them is nothing more than demonic and evil spirits. How could there be demonic and evil spirits in the fairy world? The face of the fifth elder of the Holy Land of Origin changed slightly, and a bad premonition arose in his heart. He quickly pinched the star disk hidden in his sleeve. He took this from Master Xuan. The star disk was extremely tempting to the formation master. After he took it away, he never thought of returning it to Master Xuanfeng. Just take the teleportation array where it sits. The star disk seemed to have experienced energy fluctuations when the teleportation array was activated. The fifth elder doesn't look very good. He was worried that the existence of the star disk had changed the trajectory of the teleportation array. The fifth elder looked around. This place was desolate and probably not a good place. While the fifth elder was thinking, he saw Tang Jian take out a jade stone to test his qualifications. Everyone felt Tang Jian's figure flash, and a ball of mist appeared in his hand. Tang Jian moved the jade stone and sent the mist into it. A faint blush appears in the middle of the translucent jade. It's demonic energy. Could it be that this is the demon world? A peak leader asked with an embarrassed look. Since ancient times, gods and demons have been at odds with each other. If they enter the territory of the demon world, wouldn't they be throwing themselves into a trap? Holy Lord, what should we do? Tang Jian said calmly, calm down first. When the Great Elder comes back, you all hide your breath for the time being. Don't alert the demon ancestors first. We will find a way to leave the demon world quietly. Ordinary demons and immortals are no match for them. As long as they hide well, the demons won't find them. After Tang Jian finished sealing his breath, he remembered Zhao Xiaodong's strength and worried that he could not seal his divine power well, so he wanted to help him. But when he was about to raise his hand, he found that Zhao Xiaodong had sealed his breath perfectly. Master, what's wrong? Zhao Xiaodong shouted respectfully. It's nothing. This is the demon world. Be careful not to let the demonic energy erode your soul. Tang Jian narrowed his eyes slightly and examined Zhao Xiaodong. Zhao Xiaodong has been silent since entering this place, which is very abnormal. Zhao Xiaodong showed gratitude on his face. Thank you, Master. I will protect myself, but you should also be careful. The more well-behaved and obedient Zhao Xiaodong was, the weirder Tang Jian felt. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 618. Tang Jian did not expose Zhao Xiaodong directly. Tang Jian thought that he had attacked the third elder and scared Zhao Xiaodong, causing Zhao Xiaodong to be afraid of him. He decided to ignore Zhao Xiaodong and wait until he returned to the God realm. But Tang Jian didn't know that this decision would lead to his death in the devil world. Tang Jian turned around and discussed with several elders what should be done next. Zhao Xiaodong's eyes were turbid for his age. He glanced coldly at Tang Jian a few times. The murderous intent in his eyes kept spreading, but was suppressed by him again. Inside the Mochong Palace, a gentle and elegant man opened his eyes. He got up and left the fairy pond and walked outside. Brother Lu, a breakthrough is imminent, why don't you continue practicing? Lu Kanglan looked at the oncoming Tang Chongshu and said warmly, I feel a familiar aura appearing in the demon realm. I'm worried that someone from the Lingyun sect is coming to the demon realm to look for me. His self-made star disc is only in the hands of the Lingyun sect. But just now when he was about to break through, he noticed the familiar power of the stars. Lu Kanglan felt a little uneasy immediately, so he stopped his breakthrough and wanted to check the source of the aura first. That's a coincidence. A group of outsiders have come to the demon world. I was about to go take a look. Brother Lu, please come with me. A meaningful smile appeared on Tang Chongshu's handsome face. The demon realm order is in the hands of Tang Chongshu. Tang Chongshu knew that the group of people who came were from the God realm. People from the Lingyun sect should not fly into the God realm, and it seems that something interesting is happening again. After a moment, the two of them stood on the sky and looked down. Brother Tang, who are they? Lu Kanglan did not try to find the star disk. After all, if he used his strength rashly, he would alarm the group of people below. God, the lofty God in the eyes of the world. Tang Chongshu's words were full of ridicule. God, could it be that they want to attack the demon world? Lu Kanglan had only seen gods from descriptions in ancient books. In his memory, the grievances between gods and demons were as deep as the water and fire between humans and demons. As a mortal enemy, God would definitely not come to the demon world for no reason. Tang Chongshu chuckled, I hope they come to attack the demon world, so that I can tear up the peace treaty and freely enter and exit all walks of life. He was a little tired of being in the devil world. And since the last confrontation with the demon ancestors, they have completely let go of the demon world and no longer interfere in the affairs of the demon world. If the demon ancestors could hear this, someone will definitely jump out and yell, then we want to take care of it. You kid changed the grimoire. They also hold the demon realm order to trap us inside. If we want to get out, we have to reply to you. Now among the demon ancestors, only Chong Wang can come and go freely. Lu Kanglan was a little helpless and did not follow Tang Chongshu's words. Lu Kanglan asked warmly, Brother Tang, are you going to deal with them? Tang Chongshu showed a meaningful smile, I will keep all the good things and send the people back to the God realm, but I am afraid that I will need Brother Lu's help in this matter. Tang Chongshu was not stupid enough to confront God directly. He does not have the profound knowledge of those demon ancestors. If he faces God directly, he will lose miserably. If you want to deal with gods, you must exploit their weaknesses. It happened that Lu Kanglan was good at formations. As long as he used formations to control their souls, half of the god's strength would be lost. It is easy to deal with a god who cannot use his divine power. Lu Kanglan was shocked after hearing what Tang Chongshu said. The supreme god in his mind is so vulnerable. Brother Lu, don't believe it. Gods are really not that scary. They can be easily defeated. Tang Chongshu spoke with certainty. But he forgot to tell Lu Kanglan that his soul is immortal, so he is not afraid of gods and Buddhas. Lu Kanglan looked at Tang Chongshu's confident and calm look and tentatively spread his consciousness. Who? As soon as Lu Kanglan's consciousness reached out, Tang Jian was keenly aware of it. Lu Kanglan, who stood above the sky, turned pale, and a trace of blood spilled from the corner of his mouth. A hole opened in the sea of consciousness. Lu Kanglan immediately sat cross-legged and stabilized his breathing. The aura that burst out in just a moment was so terrifying. Tang Chongji actually said that they were not strong. So what does it mean to be strong? He has been cultivating hard for so long, and has always been the pride of heaven in the eyes of others, but now he can't even reach the edge of the so-called strong. Lu Kanglan wanted to heal his wounds, but somehow he became upset. Tang Chongju saw Lu Kanglan was injured and noticed his change in mood. Apology flashed in his eyes. Brother Lu, their gods are the most sensitive to spiritual consciousness. Lu Kanglan stopped healing his wounds and asked extremely seriously, Brother Tang, are they not strong? Then what kind of people are strong? Well, they can be considered strong. Of course, it was impossible for Tang Chongju to tell Lu Kanglan that only powerful beings could be called strong. Lu Kanglan only has the strength of Xuan Shen at the moment, and he still has a long way to cultivate. Knowing the difference in strength too early may affect your character. Tang Chongju handed Lu Kanglan a soul-repairing elixir. Brother Lu, follow me safely later and don't show any breath. They will not be able to hurt you again. Lu Kanglan took the elixir, and the crack in the sea of consciousness healed directly. Fortunately, Tang Jian did not dare to make a heavy move in order to hide his aura. Otherwise, Liu Kanglan might not be able to wake up well at this moment. It's not easy to arrange the 9 heavens star array under their noses. Liu Kanglan was still frightened by what just happened. To arrange the formation, you must use your spiritual consciousness. God's soul is already powerful, and there are formation mages below. His little tricks cannot deceive the gods below. Brother Liu just arranges the arrangements. I will let them not pay attention to the formation. After Tang Chongzhu finished speaking, he saw a slightly panicked person return to Tang Jian. The man didn't know what he said to Tang Jian, which caused his expression to change suddenly. Tang Jian immediately said, "The goal for a group of us together is too big. Let's find a place to avoid the devil first, and wait until I find a way out to contact you." An elder asked, "Holy Lord, I heard that the demon ancestors of the demon world are everywhere. What should we do if we alarm the demon ancestors? When you encounter the demon ancestor, try not to do anything to save your life." Tang Jian knew very well that they had entered the demon world by mistake. If they took action here, it would affect the contract between gods and demons. "Xiaodong, come with me." "Master, I don't think they should be dispersed." Zhao Xiaodong refuted Tang Jian's words for the first time. Tang Jian was stunned for a moment, and before he could react, an evil voice sounded in the air, "Holy Lord, your disciple is right. If you were scattered, wouldn't it be easier to be killed?" Everyone looked up at Tang Chongzhu. Tang Jian immediately saw through Tang Chongzhu's cultivation and relaxed when he saw that his strength was not as good as his own. Tang Jian said to Tang Chongzhu, "Little brother, we just entered the demon world by mistake. Let's leave now." Tang Chongzhu smiled and said, "Leave. You've already come, why don't you stay a little longer?" Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 621 Arriving in the Immortal Realm. Fairyland.